Vice. All the ones in the bottles are like ranch with smoke or chipotle. And I'm like, no, it's not what I want. Like, I just want I want it to taste like ranch, but I want it to be hot.
You should try the ghost pepper.
I'll have to
ranch
try
at
that.
Wendy's.
Not a big Wendy's guy.
Highly recommend.
Although those new Frosties, those look good.
What do they got now?
They have like mix in, like they look like a sundae, like it's like a vanilla and there's like a chocolate or a strawberry
They've
swirl.
been doing a lot of extra stuff with the Frosties.
I saw the commercial the other day and I was like, yo.
That the orange creamsicle one they did a couple months back, fire.
Yep.
It's gone. But they've been doing like a 1 month run. Maybe they're like trying to test things out. I don't know. So, what's up? If anybody is here, how are you?
I think my favorite ranch I've ever had is Thirsty Moose in Merrimack.
Thirsty Moose has fire ranch.
It's almost like you can feel like strands in it. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just mad good ranch.
Okay. Here for it.
But they have delivery fees and everything, so it's always like, I'll just get like a medium cheese pizza or bacon pizza with ranch. And it's like $38, not before tip.
Bruh.
Yeah.
You know what Thirsty Moose has? It's really good. They're garlic nuts.
Yep.
Oh,
garlic nuts is pretty good.
I could live off of those things.
Stuff. Cool. Speaking of wonderful foods, do a little off-track stuff.
Hold on, I'm still posting all of our things and stuff.
Yeah, but people can pop on.
You know, Kyle, let's shake things up. You off track first.
I like that.
Because I feel like you always just kind of add on at the end. You're like, let's just hurry
Well,
it up.
because we go too long and then you're in a rush. So you're like, yeah, I existed this weekend. Moving on. So how about, I like this. You go first.
That's a change.
So, Kyle, what did you get up to this long weekend?
I don't know how to handle this now.
Well, handle it.
Usually you guys go on for 4 hours and I'm like, yeah, what's up?
Usually it's like this.
We don't tell you should do that. You just do it on your own.
What did I do this weekend?
That's what we're asking.
Did a lot of stuff like around here. Pretty exciting. Got my my lawn tractor.
I saw that.
Pretty stoked about that. Got myself a deer. So, I'm going to be insufferable.
You already are. I love how you asked me what I had and then went the complete opposite direction.
I was searching Marketplace and stuff and like seeing what was out there for used stuff. And I found this dude that basically buys them and flips them, fixes them, whatever. Like that's his job. He's got his own little business. So it's an 05 deer with a brand new everything. Brand new Briggs 19 horsepower in it, new trans. The deck he rebuilt.
Yeah, you said everything. I saw your post saying like everything was new.
It's new, yeah. So it's an old frame with new everything. He's like, the only thing it doesn't have is headlights. He's like, I didn't put the headlight harness in.
You know how many times I've
usually
used
the old frames. That's the first thing to do. Is
you know how many times I've used my lawnmower's headlights?
Well,
Never.
it's got the it has the new cowl on it, so the new nose on it with the new headlights. The only thing he didn't get was the new adapter for the actual headlight harness. He's like, it's like a $60 part, and like I didn't feel like it was necessary. It's like, how many times am I going to mow the lawn in the dark? So I don't really care.
It's
so I'm pretty stoked about
so
that
there's
thing.
a good possibility.
That's the thing. Yeah,
like 4:30 in the morning, you're like, you know what? That grass is asking to be cut.
Kyle is my mother, who my mom was a clean freak.
Yeah,
and she worked early in the morning, and she used to vacuum at 4 a.m. We lived in an apartment. There were people below us.
Usually about 7.
There were people below us. She would vacuum before she went into work at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, even when I was like 10, I'd be like, Mom, if I lived underneath us, I'd kill you.
Yeah, that's fair. I am that person though, so I don't.
I could see Kyle outside at 9 p.m. like, gotta get done.
Got people coming over at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Got to make sure it's crispy.
By candlelight.
Yeah.
10 p.m. tomorrow.
The in-laws are coming.
The in-laws
one if by grass, two if by sea.
Your aunt and uncle are going to be here tomorrow afternoon, so clean your room and close your door.
Yeah, but I'm pretty stoked.
I can do either one, Mom.
Hey,
Why do I need to do both?
Yo, congrats, Kevin. Strike over, or did you find a new job?
Get back to work.
Yeah, did you find a new job? Are you done freeloading? Or
their strike is over.
The strike's over. That's sick. Awesome.
They came to an agreement, so back to work on Thursday. Drinking at noon today. I saw that.
Attaboy. I missed that.
So yeah, got my new tractor. Pretty stoked on that thing. Had to cut the grass when it was wet because it was like Dan and I were talking like 10 feet long, and didn't have much of a choice. So she did great. This weekend did a whole bunch of stuff around the yard, and the wife did a raised garden bed out there. Went to some plant place in Connecticut, basically by Thompson.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, it was pretty far. Right by the Thompson Speedway. 10 minutes away, not even. But place that she's been talking about for a long time, so took her down there, and she was all stoked. It was like 4 massive greenhouses. Place was actually super sick. There's a lemon tree in there that was imported from Italy and planted there in 1900.
Holy shit.
The tree is 125 years in that building.
Who knows how long?
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
It was like, please don't pick the fruit. I see the sign. I'm like, well, I don't see any fruit. And I look up. There is a lemon, no bullshit, the size of a fucking volleyball.
Jesus.
I'm dead serious.
I didn't realize.
I would go there every day and stand under the tree and
waiting
sue
for
them.
And wait for them to fall.
For that 15-pound lemon to land on my
It's
head.
funny when you don't like. Obviously, we go into Yankee Candle all the time, and there's like Sicilian lemon, and my brain never equates Italy with lemons until when we went there in Rome. There's like a chain of stores that's nothing but lemon stuff.
Yeah,
you can get limoncello. You can get lemon. They sell like lemon sorbet. The stores are bright yellow, and it's like the most delicious lemonade I've ever tasted. The best, like everything. It was so good.
My my mother-in-law is from Sicily, and always has.
Yeah, we went to we found out at your wedding that we went to the town she was from.
Yeah,
that was cool. That was cool. Steph and her, my Steph and your Steph's mom were like all about it. The rehearsal dinner, they were talking about it.
So we drove down to that plant place, which was cool. Worth the trip. You know, she wanted to do it, so you go. Stopped in Providence on the way back. Went to Wally's Weenies.
Oh,
new spot on Capitol Hill. The original one was in Newport.
Oh, you and John were talking about that.
They just opened this new one Friday. So we went on Saturday, which was dope. It was like an old restaurant that they turned into the new weenie place. So they like redid the neon sign from that place and had it hung up inside.
Ooh.
Very like 50s vibe in there. It's place is dope. Highly recommend it.
I was going to say, Tammy and I have been trying to go to the one in Newport.
Go to the new one.
So that one?
Yeah. It's on Capitol Hill in Providence.
Well, Newport's a hike anyway.
Highly recommend it. It's really good. I got the spicy kraut, which was spicy sauerkraut and Dijon mustard. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Wife got
oh, sorry.
Wife got the chili
Damn
cheese,
krauts.
and we both got a side of fries. Plenty.
Yeah, really they have like a giant espresso martini.
Ooh. Yeah, that's not for me.
Morning blocker.
Oh. They got Miller High Lifes, $5.
That's expensive.
That's
but
expensive.
on Capitol Hill,
true.
Looking at the State House, where all the fancy restaurants are, they're only charging $5 at.
I could bring you to
a restaurant.
I could bring you to McGarvey's in Manchester, and you could get a pitcher of High Life for $6.
Yeah, I know, but
You think
where
it's that
it
expensive?
is,
It's
where
always
it
been
is,
$6.
that's
$6.
cheap. Where it is, that's cheap.
Yeah, that was where I learned that I do like High Life, but it does not like me.
Oh, I love
They-
High
well,
Life.
no,
does
they-
it like get to your stomach?
The next morning, it is
Yeah,
goo.
I got it.
It is goo.
Gotcha.
That's all
But at McGarvey's, that was the bar we used to go to all the time. It was $6 High Life or $6 PBR. Started with High Life, realized that was the common denominator to me sitting on the toilet for 4 hours the next day. So I switched to PBR, and that's when I learned I love PBR.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. It does sit pretty heavy. I get that.
It's not even that. It just doesn't agree with me the next day because you've gone from just a hangover to a hangover and bubble guts, and it's like, this isn't fun.
Obviously, Sunday, lots of motorsports. Oh, Sunday morning went to Salem.
Like
Salem, the town.
Mass?
Yeah.
Why?
Wife wanted to go to Salem when it's not Halloween time to
True.
like bang through all the shops and stuff.
It is a cool town if it's not Halloween.
Yeah, I mean it's like Halloween every day there.
It's not as bad though.
No,
when
but
it's-
that was the best time to go because we bounced around a whole bunch of the shops in the morning. Got breakfast and shot up there like early, and it was sick. Like bang through all the shops in like 2 hours, and then we were back in time for Indy. Obviously, watched both races.
I have not been there in a long time, but when I was a kid, we went like middle of the summer or something, and it was like it was busy, but it was no busier than just going anywhere. Not like Halloween where you have to park 6 miles away. And
Yeah, it was like any normal town that has a bunch of shops.
Yeah.
You know, there's still plenty of people there, but you're not, shoulder to shoulder with
You
everybody
could
dressed
not-
up. And
You could not. There's no amount of money in the world that could make me go to Salem, Massachusetts, anywhere around
Yeah.
Halloween. You could not pay me enough.
yeah, so
I've
anyone,
only ever been there twice, and both times were on Halloween.
Ugh.
yeah, anyone listening, I'm sure you've heard of Salem if you've watched any scary
Anything,
movie ever.
anything.
It's where the Hocus Pocus house is.
Yes.
Ask your girlfriends.
Then make sure you go to Plymouth and check out the Rock. It's a
Yeah,
banger.
don't do that.
No, you should. It's a banger. I love how that's a New England
think I've-
inside joke.
I don't think I've ever been there. To
Oh, I've
Plymouth.
been a couple times. I think
Maybe on
school
a field
vacations,
trip?
or
Yeah.
school
Yeah.
field trips. And I know I've gone as an adult. And Cars and Copters one year.
Yeah,
Me and Steph were like, "Oh, Plymouth is right there." We went over, and I was like,
that
"That's
was
right."
Plymouth.
I was like, "That's right. That sucks," and we left.
That was the first time I stabbed myself with an EpiPen.
That was
Cars and Copters.
my buddy. I think it was the second Cars and Copters. My buddy, who's a pilot, flew in. He like
that's cool.
rented a plane and flew a little.
What a
Cessna in,
douche.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "No, it was he like borrowed it." He's just like, I don't
He
know- I don't
stole
think
a
you- I
helicopter?
don't think you know him. No, it was a plane. But then we're walking around the show and he just looks at us. He's like, "You want to go for a ride?" I was like, "Yes."
Nice.
So me, him, and Steph went in this little, it was actually kind of terrifying because you don't realize, like, we're used to flying on a big plane.
Yeah.
Everything seems to work really good. And then you get in a tin can that's really loud and it's like the three of us are crammed in it. And we're like,
You're like, this is legal?
this is fun. And we went up like, I don't know, 1,000 feet, looked at the show from above, did a loop and came back and landed. I was like, yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, you like
That's
it's
awesome.
your arm and the plane leans.
Yeah.
You're like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. So yeah, it was a good weekend. Anything else I have to report? Went to Top Golf with our friends Nate and Hannah.
What was up with the wedding they went to? Was it like a Lord of the Rings
yes, it
themed
was.
wedding? That's
Lord of the
awesome.
Rings theme. It was his brothers.
That's cool.
I'd love to go to that. Just
yeah.
make fun of all those nerds.
If
dude.
you're a listener of all of the shows, you will know Nate as the guy that fell off a cliff.
Yeah, if you listen to Topics, Nate
boy.
L almost died. That was one of the
Yeah,
best
his story
stories
is
I've ever
nuts.
heard.
Yeah.
And I've heard it before, but hearing him tell it on
180 feet?
Topics. Yeah,
I wanna say
180
That's
feet.
like-
180.
He was on Topics. I was like, I feel like this should be like a Joe Rogan episode
Oh, it
or
should be,
something.
100%.
Like, this should be like a big deal.
Yeah, he was backcountry of Utah. Was this
Yes.
before he lived there, or did he live
I thought
there?
it was
That's when he
Colorado.
moved
Was
there.
it Utah?
No, it was Utah when he
Utah?
moved there. And yeah, backcountry snowboarding. And was it caught in an avalanche, or did he just go over a cliff on his own?
No, I think he slipped.
The snow went out. I don't know if it made a full avalanche after
Yeah,
that,
the
but
snow
yeah,
slid out and
avalanche
he-
in theory, yes.
just rode it over a 180-foot cliff. I mean, when I met him was the COVID Loudon race. And that was...
At minimum, it was a snow slide.
Yeah. I met him in the COVID Loudon race. And how far removed was that?
Not very.
Not very. I mean, he could barely move. Like
6
he
months.
was walking with a cane. He was couldn't bend his leg.
Yeah.
Like he
It
was
happened-
a mess
It happened he woke up
during COVID.
when COVID shut down.
Gotcha.
So he was out cold for 3 weeks, I think.
So that might have happened when we were in around when we were in Utah because
Yeah.
we went to Utah.
It was basically like 6 months removed when he was at Loudon
Yeah,
with
and-
us
and
for the race.
I felt like we were all
but you and I hung out with the first time.
yeah. I felt bad because like we're like offered him chairs and he's like I can't bend that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the year we parked along the trees.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the best spot.
Such a good year.
that was the
Yeah.
best.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were there
I
that
was
one
there.
too.
Yeah, me, Ryan. Yep.
Yeah, he had a trash bag full of
we
beer.
Met Rybo.
Yeah, that was
No,
my
it
ice
was
bag.
the ice bag.
The ice bag
Ice
full
bag.
of
I
beer.
feel
Ice
like your
bag
group
here.
was a little bigger back then. I feel like there were a couple other strays.
There
in
were
there.
some strays.
Corey
Corey
SI was
Corey
there.
SI
Oh
was
yeah,
there.
that's true. We had some of the revival guys.
Chuck
my
was
buddy
there.
George and
Corey
his
and
girlfriend.
Chuck
were
was there.
there.
Yep. Chuck came, and then we saw the guys with the trash bag, and that was when Steve had the ice bag, and we're like, "Bro, you got one upped by homie with the contractor bag full of fucking
Yeah,
beers."
but I got
Was
in.
that-
He didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he didn't get
yeah.
it.
Was that the year we met Doug's buddies right next to us?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
joined
One
us
of the
as
one of
well.
the Grand Maisons.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
Because
I
I think
only
you
had-
were fresh in the mullet game at that
I
point.
was very fresh.
I was
and
only
he was fresh in the mullet game.
I was only 2 cars deep for that one.
That was when I learned how slow you drive because we met at the
Yeah,
rest
'cause
stop.
Did we
got off.
have Hathaway
No.
No,
or
no,
Stairs or
there
any
yet.
of them? None of
No.
them.
Just Corey.
Yeah, that was the year. That was when
I
I,
think
learned
Corey and Chuck.
that
Chuck-
you drive the
Chuck
speed
was
limit
there too,
because you had the
Because
F-150
they
with the
were-
grill in the back.
Right.
Chuck was all for Brad Kozlowski.
Yes,
Right.
because he liked the Polish name.
Yeah.
And then-
And Corey was all on the monster train.
Yep.
Kurt Busch
Yep.
at the time.
And
Oh,
then
probably KFB.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
we got on the highway and I like went up to my normal
Oh,
cruising
Kurt.
speed and I looked behind me and I was
Kurt.
like,
Kurt.
Kyle's
Flippin'
gone.
Bush.
I was like, "You good, bro?" You're like, "I drive the speed limit." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Unless you're in the Cabrio, the Cabrio just does something to you.
It does, yeah.
you
I
drive
drove
like an
a
animal
psycho.
in that thing.
Oh yeah, he does.
He was in his your 24 valve when we were ripping down the highway.
My
and
12 valve.
Yeah, 12 valve. And I just go boiling past
Well,
him in the
yeah.
Cabrio.
Remember the night?
I'm like, hold on.
Remember the night we both brought our Cabrios to the old studio? I think
Oh,
it was
yeah.
pre him.
Yep.
And we were ripping home, and you were like, we were taking videos of each other out the window, and I looked down, we're doing like 100. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. Boy, I don't know. That thing just does something to me. You're right.
Tan's
But,
car's like, please stop.
Dude, my car
I
was,
was owned by an
screaming.
86-year-old woman before this.
Like I tell people
my
all the time.
Cabrio gets the snot beaten out of it everywhere it
Yeah.
goes.
Mine kind of used to, but the problem is I get on the highway and it's getting the snot beat. Driving on the highway at an acceptable speed is
Yeah.
beating the snot out of it.
Right. But yeah, I had a good weekend other than that. So
Is that pancakes? Sorry, somebody just
nice.
requested it.
Yeah, that's the new thing now.
Fucking
The-
commercial's
that
so
commercial's
good.
awesome. We'll talk about it. But Daniel,
Yes.
what do you got?
A little bit of the normal, a little bit of the not. Last week didn't do much. The weather was awful last week. Like it was, I think Thursday or Friday. What was it like? The high was 45
Dude, it was cold.
and raining. I was like, what was this? March? Saturday we had to, I think I brought it up last week. We had to bring my mother-in-law to the airport. Relatively smooth. Logan's not bad at certain times. Wasn't that bad getting in and out. And the wife was like, we made plans before that. We ended up taking a little afternoon stroll around the north end.
Nice.
Well, because obviously we live down there. We used to go to Bova's all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but we never like explored any of the food down there. And then going to Italy, that's like the next closest thing we're gonna get. And she's been craving like a Neapolitan pizza. Like she's been making them at home, but it's just not the same.
That's not the same.
Not the same. So we went walking around. Again, it's a Saturday, so it's packed. Like we ended up parking. We used our secret parking spot over by the courthouse, so that's way over by the garden.
Yeah.
But there's always parking spots there on the street. So we park there, walk over, and it's like every restaurant has a line out the door, and it's like we're so not eating. She goes, "Well, there's always halftime," and I'm like, "Yes, halftime. Thank God, we could just go get pizza at halftime and leave."
Yeah. What time was this at?
Like, well, we dropped her mom off, I think at 3, so it was like 4 o'clock.
Okay.
So the place she found, a place called Quattro.
Oh yeah. Know it well.
We walk over there and there is no line and there's seats everywhere. We're like, fuck yeah. We walk in, sit down, and I did the dad thing because it was 10 minutes after we got there, the line started forming, and I was like, got here just in time.
Yep.
Did the dad thing.
Cafe Quattro is great. There's another one, or was one right outside my college.
Yeah, had some. The pizza was good. I got the Quattro Formaggio, which is the 4 cheese. This is coming from me. Too much fucking cheese. It was a brick.
Yeah.
It was delicious. It was delicious, but I had like 3 slices and I wanted to die. It was too much. Went next door, grabbed some gelato from a little place right there. I didn't know everything in the North End is owned by like one company. They have little signs up everywhere that say like, these are all the things we own. And it's like, oh, everything is owned by them. Great.
Yeah, there's like 5 companies that own pretty much.
Yeah, went over to Bova's, got our normal pastry order, although I hate that Bova's people know about it now. Used to be able to walk in there whenever you wanted because all the tourists went to Mike's and Modern. Now they're at Mike's and Modern
and
Bova's. Like there's a line outside and then you get in and it like snakes through the inside. And I'm like, God, this was so much better when no one knew about it because you could just walk in there and get whatever you wanted. So that was actually a lot of fun. Just, in and out, quick little 2-hour, get some food, walk around. It was a nice day. And then Sunday, loaded up, headed up to the lake. Sunday was not, actually we played golf Sunday morning before we went to the lake. And then, we went up there and it was, again, first time we're actually there. Like we went and dumped the boat last weekend, but so we had to cut the grass and I mounted a new TV. If you need a new TV, just go buy one. They're $230. I was shocked.
Dude, I need to get rid of my TV. It's only a couple years old, and every fucking app on it is slow as balls.
So the TV we had at camp was the 43-inch plasma that we bought when we moved to Boston 15 years ago.
Oh, it's a plasma.
It was like an $800 TV back then. Like I think her parents bought it for us for something, like a gift for moving, getting away from them, me getting away from them. And last year, so the floor of the lake house is a cement floor, so it sweats. I think I mentioned this last week. Yeah. And there was a point last year where the TV, it was like wet behind it and it just didn't work. It didn't want to turn on. So we're like, all right, this thing's getting pretty old. Steph, we were talking about getting a new TV, and then we look and it's like, they're so inexpensive. Like we got an Insignia 55-inch 4K OLED fucking smart TV. It's a Fire TV for $230.
Yeah, that's what, like the Best Buy home brand.
Yeah, the thing's
Insignia.
this.
That's what that is.
Yeah,
Insignia. Yeah.
The thing's this thin. It weighs
our chat monitor. Is the Insignia.
It weighs like 2 pounds. We got a mount on Amazon for $30 instead of buying the $150 one at Best Buy. So ended up hanging that. It went well. So nice to watch. The race looked awesome on it, crystal clear. Nice having all the apps. Like normally we have an Apple TV up there.
That TV inside or outside?
It's inside.
Inside. Okay.
Inside. Yeah. Normally we have to have the Apple TV hooked up to get all the apps, and I go in and when I'm setting it up and it's like NBC, Fox Sports, it's a Fire TV, so Prime Video is already on there. Like all the apps are just on the TV. I was like, this is so much nicer. There's less bullshit.
Yep.
So hung out on Sunday night again. It got cold up there. It got down in the 40s. Got up yesterday, the Monday morning, and it was still not great. A little breezy, a little chilly, but it was nice in the sun. Said, fuck it, we're gonna head out on the lake. And we hung out for a couple hours. Unfortunately, the water was 50 degrees, so I was not. And I told you last week it was like 67. So that shows you how quick it can swing. I dipped.
So that's at least a good sign for this week because it's supposed to be nice all week. So it should swing.
Hopefully,
back up.
it swings back. I dipped a toe in and was like, absolutely not. It was like ice water. So we didn't hang out too long because eventually someone had to pee. And normally, when you're at the sandbar, you just go in the lake. But like while you're swimming around. Not yesterday. If you jumped in, you were just going to have hypothermia instantly. So hung out there, came home, and then back to the awful grind today. It's so hard to be like 12 hours ago I was enjoying life, and now I'm not.
I am shocked you worked today.
Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't I?
I feel like every day that you're on the boat, you're like, I need a day to detox after being on the boat.
I only had like 5 beers yesterday. I a chill day. Didn't
Yeah.
really
Oh, I
drink-
wasn't even
didn't-
attributing it to drinking.
Oh, you said
I think it's
detox.
just like the
The
boat,
sun
the
cooks
commercial
you
with
and
the
stuff,
boat
yeah.
guy.
Oh yeah,
Like work me, parts my hair on the left side, boat me.
yeah.
The wind parts my hair. I feel like that's Dan, and it takes like a day for his hair to get back to
Oh,
normal.
dude, I sat
For his-
after getting
his
off the
soul
boat.
to
I was just-
transition
that
back
picture
to
I
real
sent you
life.
guys. That picture I sent you guys in the group chat with Weston yesterday. Like I was just sitting there, just relaxing, like
Yeah.
not thinking.
That's the point. That's
Steph and my sister-in-law and her boyfriend, they were like playing card games behind me. They were playing Phase 10. They're like, "Why don't you come play with us?" I'm like, I don't want to think for like
Yeah.
a half an hour.
We playing some cards this weekend.
Yeah, we could. We got all that
I'll
shit up
ruin
there.
some friendships.
We got Uno.
You're a big
I'll
card
bring
guy.
Monopoly Go, and we'll burn some bridges real quick.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Someone's
super,
flipping a
it's
table.
super quick to
We're gonna
learn.
be watching the race,
It
man.
takes like 30 minutes. Yeah,
True.
but we're gonna be there all day
Yeah, true.
before big old W gets there.
Well, yeah, depending on when you guys come up, we'll talk afterwards. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Come on,
that's
first
pretty
thing
much
in the
it.
morning if we can,
It
yeah.
was unfortunate because the lake was dead. Like I think a lot of people were like, we're not bothering with the weather. We had one nice day.
Yeah.
In reality, so there was a few boats kicking around. I did see the dude that bought the Corvette boat. It's got C4 taillights in the back of it, and it's like
Yeah.
it looks like a ski boat.
Nice. Yeah.
Looks like a ski boat. When it's not underway, there's literally this much of the boat showing out of the water. It's one of those really low.
Yeah.
And I think it has an LT1 in it. And it
Yeah,
says
the
Corvette on the
trailers-
side of it.
The trailer is cooler than the boat.
Yeah, it says.
It's got 4 saw blades in the trailer.
yes.
Hell yeah.
And it's like a red paint match trailer with molded fenders and shit.
And
They're
it's,
super
nice.
cool.
it's red. It's like a candy apple red with gold Corvette in that like C4
Yep.
look like font on the side. And then, yeah, the back of the boat, there's C4 taillights in it. I didn't realize that was him. I saw it from a distance and he was ripping around. I was like, oh, that thing looks fun. I get home last night. I look on the lake has like a Facebook group, like a community Facebook group. And the guy was like, yeah, finally got the boat out today. I was like, that was the Corvette boat. I was like, I got to
That's
see that
sick.
thing up close because it's cool as fuck.
That's
So,
cool.
Yeah.
I'll
that's
race
nice.
him in my boat next weekend, dude.
What?
Speaking of,
what did you get
we'll
up
line
to this
'em up.
weekend, Norm?
So, much like Dan, I spent the weekend on the boat.
What kind of boat would that be, Norm?
My 2025 pontoon year.
Little tuggy.
Yeah,
little tug job.
I worked on
Pompooner.
The
my
tug job.
little tugger nuts all weekend, dude.
I'm getting you a sticker that says the tug job
No, I'm gonna make stickers that say pontoon year on it, dude.
or rub and tug.
And I'll make you some stickers that say pontoon.
Yeah, I want those.
I feel like I'm gonna make you stickers. You're like, I can't stick these to the boat. I'm not allowed. Or like,
it's
I
my
don't.
boat.
I don't want to devalue my boat.
No, I don't give a fuck. I want it in the Days of Thunder font, a copper sticker that just says either the pontoon or pontoon. I know exactly where I'm putting.
Copper? I don't think I have that option.
Well, because the boat's like tan and our registration stickers are copper, like copper with a black with a
okay,
black
yeah.
outline. So I want it to
Makes
match.
But yeah, worked on the pontoon this weekend. Went out.
And what is that? If
Pom-
Yeah,
if
explain.
people
So,
haven't heard it
Because
before.
you told us about this last year, and then you
Pontoon year.
never.
I bought it at the end of last year. It is a step 2 tuggy sandbox.
Have you ever seen a little tugboat
They're
sandbox?
about 5 feet long, 4 feet wide, and it's a blue sandbox with a white top and a little yellow click 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 steering wheel. And they're for children. You fill it with sand, and children play in it and make tugboat noises and pretend they're Gilligan's Island. I don't know,
And that's exactly what you're going to be doing.
but
Norm is gonna make it actually work.
The cool thing to do is you buy them. You fill them up with foam, you stick an outboard on the back of it, and then you go ripping around your lake, blasting a little Einstein's theme song. So I bought mine at the end of last year. I have, I think, 5 friends that also bought some. None of them have done anything with
I
them
was gonna say,
either.
this seems to be a common theme with you. First, it was the moped. 5 of your friends bought
Yeah.
mopeds.
Bro, it's like
You need better friends.
I
Yeah.
like am so jealous of those like people on YouTube or you see them on Instagram and like we all bought lawnmowers. Now we just raced our lawnmowers or like
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna build a go-kart track behind my buddy's house and do this or like we all bought mopeds or scooters or shopping carts and whoever can make the coolest shopping cart.
Remember the old group chat? We were all going to get all the airsoft stuff and
Yeah, play at
have
your
like
house.
have like war at my house with airsoft guns. Never happened.
Dan, I think, mapped out his property and goes, "This is not safe.
Yeah, this isn't going to
We're
work.
gonna kill some windows if we do this."
Yeah.
But like 4 or 5 of my buddies bought them. One of my buddies bought a pirate ship bed that I have no idea
Nice.
how he intends on turning into a boat. But I'm like, Tyler, just buy a cheap jet ski, cut the top off a jet ski, glue your pirate ship onto it, and just drive around a jet ski. That's,
Yeah,
the,
that's
only,
probably the better
that's
option.
that's
the
the
move.
only way. But I finally started working on mine because our buddy Weston, W, on the old Discord, he's an avid listener, good buddy of ours. We hung out with him last year at Charlotte. He came up earlier in the year, and he works for the NHRA
Yes.
Toyota racing team. So he's coming up to Epping next weekend.
Yep.
And we
This weekend.
This weekend now. Yep. And we convinced him to stay a couple days extra,
It
hang
didn't
out.
take much. He asked me if there was anything to do. He's like, if I stay a couple extra days, would you guys want to do anything? And I'm like, brother.
Yep.
And
We owe
he's
you.
going to hang out, enjoy the sights and sounds of our lovely state of New
Literally,
Hampshire
we
up
do
here.
owe him because he is the one that kept us. I mean, we went from going to the Roval on Sunday thinking like, yeah, we'll have a couple beers in the parking lot. No, we had a full-blown tailgate almost as good as we have at home because he emptied out. He brought like wrought iron chairs from his porch.
His
Like,
dad's porch. He
his
stole
dad's
them
porch.
from his
Yeah,
dad.
stole them from his dad.
He emptied his dad's garage into his truck and just showed up at the track.
We had, everything we could have ever wanted, and
the man.
we thought like, oh, we're not at home, so we're gonna have like a lame. We'll have styrofoam cooler tailgate, and then we show up and he's got the work set up. Your face, you were like, what the
Yeah, he
fuck?
brought a grill. He brought cornhole
Oh,
boards.
He was like,
He's
look for
the
the
man.
loosest fast flag, and I remember we came around the corner, and you were like, oh my god.
Yeah. It was insane.
Giant smile on his face. W is the nicest guy ever. We love him. But he's coming up
Big
next
dude.
this weekend for the NHRAs, and he's staying an extra day or two. And Dan has given us an open invite to go to his lake house for like a year and a half.
Longer than
probably 2 years.
It's like 5.
Probably 5 for me. Probably 3 for Kyle.
As long as we've been doing
Yep.
this show.
I think it's as long as you've known Dan.
Yep.
It's been like, hey, I have a lake house if you didn't know.
if anyone wants to come up at any time,
Come up. It's just me and the family. I could use some male support up there.
help.
And,
Yeah.
help.
Dan has been crying for help for 4 years from us.
He got
And we're finally giving
his
it to him.
sister-in-law's boyfriend now hangs out, so he's got a little bit of masculine energy up there, but
still
it's,
not that much.
it's on the fringe.
Still
Yeah.
not
But
that much.
he's got us 3 or 4. I don't know if Scumbag's coming up.
What?
Are you coming up to the lake this
you're not coming
weekend?
this weekend.
No, I'm not sure. We don't have anything planned for this weekend, so I can let you know.
Yeah, if we can
but-
squeeze Scumbag
Well,
up there.
we're going Sunday, staying into Monday, so you'd have to.
I mean, we might just me and Tammy could just do it just Sunday.
True, because you also probably
Yeah.
won't have a place to sleep Monday night or
Yeah.
Sunday night.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Dude, sleep on the boat, dude.
On
Sun in the
Sleep
sky
outside.
above you.
No,
but
'cause
yeah.
we got Clyde, so we had to deal with him.
Yeah,
but
true.
Yeah, we can always
Yeah,
just
we'll see how he
We'll
comes
figure it
along
out.
with
We'll
the
figure
2
it out. We'll
land
talk.
cows.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
But a group of us are all going to go up to Dan's Lake House Sunday night, Monday, and I figured now's a better time than any if I'm going to be motivated enough to build my little mini boat. Then now would be the time.
He's
So-
like me. He works the best under pressure. Deadline's tomorrow. Bang it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. And much like Dan, I assume I way overestimated my ability to build things.
Yep, same. Happens all
Like
the
I
time.
I could build a car, rebuild an engine, frickin' you want me to make you some frickin' programming on the computer? I could probably do that. Give me some wood tools and some fucking drills, and apparently I'm an idiot. Also, certified not a scientist.
Not a spray foamer.
Nope. Spray foamer I can handle.
Oh,
Although the math there is not great either.
buckets of foam is your
Yeah,
problem.
mixing foam, which fucking there's no instructions that come with that stuff from China. But so I bought an engine, the best engine Amazon can buy.
Is it
on
new?
Friday night? No, it's used from some guy up in Concord. Super nice dude.
Was that a 3.5 horse? That's gonna
Yeah.
be. I see a lot of people build those things. They put little electric trolling motors on the
Bro,
back.
so
3.5's gonna
it's
rip.
the
That thing's
perfect
gonna rip
size.
if it doesn't sink the boat.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Amazon one is just like it's much smaller.
It
Like I
looks
was looking at
compact,
little
yeah.
Mercury's, Johnson's, Hondas, like all the normal like
Boat
little
motors.
John boat motors you'd see out there,
Yeah.
and they're all fucking hefty.
Yep.
Right.
Like the spine that goes down to the propeller, like giant cast aluminum, like everything on them looks heavy.
Put it on the boat.
This
Put the boat in the
thing-
water. So they go,
This engine maybe weighs 15 pounds.
oh, that okay. That's cool then.
Like I literally could pick it up with one hand and just walk around with it.
Yeah.
Super short, built-in gas tank, which was crucial for
oh,
me.
that's sick.
Yeah.
A little 1 gallon or a half gallon little gas tank.
So he needs to bring gas cans with him because
Takes 50 to 1 apparently, which is like I think obscenely rich for oil, but that's I guess normal weed whacker gas.
Yeah.
yeah.
So good news, my dad has like a whole tank of that in the shed.
yoink.
He's like, "Hey, that tank's 50 to 1." I was like, "It's gone now, bud.
That's mine.
That's in the back of my truck."
Have we tested its buoyancy yet?
No, so the foam debacle,
We were getting pictures of this all weekend.
I bought, I could have taken way more, but I was in a bad mood. I still have foam all over my hands. I bought a gallon of like mix and pour expanding foam, thinking a gallon's a fucking lot. It says
That is
it
a lot.
expands to 30 times. So theoretically, I'm holding 30 gallons of expanding foam in my hand. If my math is mathing on that one, it isn't. So I bought that a while ago. And I think where it all went wrong is this stuff is made. If you've ever watched anyone on YouTube build stuff out of resin or any of the mixing stuff, like they do like the custom tables with the inlays and
Yeah.
the pours and stuff like that, it's always temperature is always their biggest problem. Oh, it was too cold. The AC went out. It got too hot. It bubbled. It was too cold. It never hardened. I feel like that was my issue.
It's a chemical reaction that
Exactly.
you're dealing with.
And,
so, yeah.
It's like spray painting when it's 30 degrees out.
Yeah,
It ain't going to work.
I'm
Exactly.
thinking it's expanding foam. I'm not pouring like resin that needs to harden. Like it's expanding foam. Pour it, chemically reaction. It goes up. I wasn't really thinking temperature was going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But it was like 57 on Saturday when I started doing it. And it 2, maybe 3 times expanded. I poured half a gallon in. First of all, there's no instructions on how much water to add for the activator. It says 1 to 5%.
That's a pretty big range.
Half a teaspoon of water for half a gallon of stuff.
Jesus.
I'm like, and that's it? So we're mixing it. Nothing's happened. Mixing it. Nothing's happened. Mixing it. Finally, it starts to like change color. We're like, it must be working. Pour it in.
Yeah.
Nothing fucking happens. I got the boat half filled up with
You
pool
got
noodles.
and you got the foam board too, or the
The
insulation.
foam board's for the bottom.
Yep.
That lifts it. But it's full of pool noodles. I bought like 5 or 6 pool noodles, which those aren't cheap either, apparently. Those are like $7 a pop.
Should have gone to like Five Below.
No, I went to Brown's in
Tree.
Merrimack.
Huh.
That's like lower than Xylos.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they used to own Xylos. But it just isn't reacting like I thought. Let it sit for a couple hours. It expanded pretty good. I was like, oh, tight. Okay. So that did like a third of the boat. So I was like, tomorrow it's supposed to be almost 20 degrees warmer. It's supposed to be like low 70s tomorrow. Ended up not really being barely 70. But I was like, it'll work even better. I'll take the can. It was in my truck, or it was in my shop, and then in the shed. So the can was cold when I mixed it.
That
So
might have
it's
been one of your biggest problems.
I'll
is
bring
you should have
that
let it acclimate.
inside. So the can will be inside overnight. I'll do it tomorrow. The boat, I waited until noon. So the boat was in the sun all day, all morning. The can was room temp, so 70.
As it should be.
Yep. Yep.
And so I did it, mixed it. I added a little less water because I was like, I feel like too much water will make it too runny.
Yep.
Like I felt like that was kind of the problem, was the inside still felt wet. Like the outside kind of got hard, but the inside still felt wet.
Had
So
that
I was
problem.
like, maybe it's too much water. Maybe I added too much water to it.
Yeah.
So I added a little less water. I think I did a tablespoon. I think the day before I did like 2 tablespoons. I did a tablespoon of water for half a gallon. Yeah, not a lot of water. And mixed it, poured it in, fucking did nothing. Didn't even expand a fucking inch.
Oh.
Like, nothing. So I was like, are you like it?
Yeah, now you're just weighing
I
it
was
down.
sitting there waiting to watch it like blow out the top.
That's
like
what
a
you
fucking
expect.
like nuclear reaction.
I've had that with spray foam.
like a volcano at
Yeah.
science fair.
I've had that with
but
spray
no,
foam at
you
work.
like just like a giant mushroom cloud of
Yeah.
shit and just
Yeah.
like giant circles sticking out of the entire crevice.
Because I've literally done that at work where they're like, oh, we have to spray foam that crevice. And I just overdo it, walk away, come back 10 minutes later. And it's like, oh no, we have a mess.
like the professional guns people use, you watch them do
Yeah.
insulation,
Yeah.
they just go and 6 inches deep. Like
Yeah.
that's what I thought this was going to do. It didn't do anything.
That sucks.
So I'm like, fuck. So I was like, I had to go to, where'd I go? Home Depot for something. And I was like, I'm just going to buy cans of expanding foam.
Yep.
Which that stuff sucks.
It's
and
so much worse.
And it only sprays like half an inch wide because it's made to put in a door frame
Yep.
or window frame, and it's for doors and cracks, is what it
Yep.
says on it. So it comes out of the tube tiny. So I was like, that's gonna look like shit. It's not gonna fill in good. But I'm like, I can't. The mixing stuff didn't work, and you want to fill it not so it makes it more buoyant, because that's not the purpose. It's so you can't get it full of water.
Yep.
The whole point is I could seal off that cavity, which the entire inside's hollow. You seal that cavity off, and it's equally as buoyant as it is if you fill it with foam, because it's trapped air inside.
Right.
It's like a empty jug in the water. It just floats because it's full of air, sealed. But worst case scenario, that fills with water. Now you have a giant fucking anchor.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you
then
fill
it goes from buoyant to angry.
I got a
fill
funny
it
feeling
real
we're going to be
fast.
fishing this thing out
You
the water.
fill it with
yeah.
foam so it doesn't inevitably fill up with water and sink the bitch. So,
Hopefully the foam's waterproof.
yeah, well, that's the whole point of it. So hopefully it is.
Okay.
I'm worried about-
Remind me to bring a rope.
I'm
So we
worried
can tow
about
this thing
the
back.
foam that went to the bottom, the pour-in stuff.
That didn't
I have
do anything.
no idea what the bottom looks like.
Yeah.
Right.
That being said, I filled most of it up with pool noodles and shit like that. So hopefully it's at least something.
Yep.
It's still super light to pick up. And I ended up filling the rest of it. I bought 5 cans of expanding foam, which at $6-7 a pop.
Yep, that adds up.
That's $35 real quick. I bought that shit. They call it the big gap filler.
Yep.
Which never done that in my life, but I'll try it on this shit.
I don't even know what that means.
Yep. I'm more of a cracks and nooks and crannies kind of guy.
More like I'll clean out the lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it tight up in here, all right? But
what's that stuff that they give you in the little squeeze bottle? Graphite.
Graphite. Yep.
That's what you feel.
What do you use that for?
When you cleaning out locks, like where you put the key in.
I use that stuff too. Cheat at Pinewood Derby. Ka-chow. But so I bought 5 cans of the expanding foam.
Cheated up.
Turns out wasn't enough. Went to Lowe's and bought 6 more cans of expanding foam. Barely enough.
Jesus.
So a gallon of pour and mix expanding foam that doesn't do either. And then 11 cans of expanding foam, 5 pool noodles, 2 2x10s.
We are fishing this thing out the bottom of the lake.
Because
I can feel it.
I use the 2x10s to
There's
build
way
up.
too many different types of materials.
Thankfully,
There's
thankfully
2
from
different brands of expanding foam because my dad had 2 random cans kicking around. So we just fucking sent those
And
in
foam
too.
board.
But
And
those
wood.
were like hella old.
thankfully from where my dock is for a while, like in the time it's going to take this to sink, it's only about 3 or 4 feet deep.
Oh, okay. So
We don't hit the
you'll
deep
see the
part
top
for
of
a
the
way.
the
We
roof.
don't hit the deep part for a little bit. Like he'll have time to sink that bitch before it gets to like
Yeah,
8, 10
okay.
feet deep.
I don't think it'll sink of natural causes, but it's whether it holds up a full-blown human.
is the question.
Whether it holds up me or worst case scenario, Kyle.
Are you going to be able
Like,
to test
if
this
it-
before
Like
next
we
weekend?
might just need to put Kyle in it first.
Will you be able to test it?
Oh, yeah. Sacrifice me.
Are we going to be able to
Sacrifice
test
me
it
to
before
Loch
next
Ness.
weekend? Or are we testing
Yeah, I'm
it
building
at the
it
house?
next to a swimming pool.
Oh, true. I forgot you had a pool.
I
Hell
can't
yeah.
put it in with the motor. My dad
No,
said I can't do
That's
that.
fine.
I think I'm
But
going to
it's-
come up
it-
just to watch this happen.
As soon as
For our listeners that are still with us on the live chat or whatever, I feel like we're losing everybody because we're just rambling. There will be videos of the maiden voyage.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, for sure.
expanding foam was in last night. It started to rain, so we had to stick it in the shed. So it's not getting the correct airflow. So I didn't get a chance to trim and clean it up
Yeah.
last night because I wanted to fully cure.
Yeah.
But I cut the bottom already. It's getting 4 inches of
That's a lot.
foam board on the bottom of it
Okay.
that I cut it to shape, but once it's on, it's got to be glued, screwed, and
Tattooed.
shaped. And then
Got
I'm
it.
painting the whole bottom of it with flex paint.
I was gonna say
You can make a boat out of that.
Yeah. If it can hold a screen door, it can hold my fucking sandbox. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So the whole bottom's getting flex painted.
Karapley get Roman candles and have a pirate battle between Ponpoon and Ponpoonier.
So yeah, as soon as the paint is dry on the bottom, it's going in the swimming pool,
Smart.
and it's just gonna do laps around the swimming pool until Saturday or Sunday when I
Sunday.
take it out, put the motor on it, stick it in the back of my truck. But yeah.
Nothing can go wrong.
That'll be actually good.
I
I hope you realize. So that was something else I did this weekend. Was I replaced the 2 front speakers on the Ponpoon because they were like some dual 5 1/4s.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be 6 1/2s, and I've just dealt with it for the last couple of years. They annoyed the crap out of me, so I bought some 6 1/2s. Put them in this weekend. They sound great. But I hope you guys understand that the second Norm puts that thing in the water, the Pirates of the Caribbean theme is going on. Full
Well, Maiden Voyage, there's 3 songs
With
that
Kyle on the bow like George Washington. Oh, we gotta get you. I have a flag at the lake. You're standing on the front.
I'll wear the American flag sport coat.
Hell yeah.
So there's 3 songs
You ever seen that thing?
will
I have the
be
stripes and the stars.
that will be rotated while this is in the water. Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack, obviously, that's just a banger.
What are you bringing, like a speaker?
Fantastic
I'm gonna have
Voyage
to
by
find
Coolio.
one. No, the one. My mom wanted me to name it the Minnow because that was
That's pretty
Gilligan's
good.
That's
Island
pretty
boat.
good. Yep.
And then the third song is obviously Little Einsteins
Freebird.
because the
Flirting
Little
with disaster.
Einsteins. Little Einsteins is like the OG video.
Took me a second.
Like
yeah,
the
that
first
was
time
the OG.
any of us saw this,
Right.
it was a big dude, way bigger than me, in one with like a tiny little life vest on and just blasting. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket
Piece of
ship.
shit.
Yeah. And he's just fucking putzing around on one of those little trolling motors.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this thing with the 3.5 horse gets the freaking bow out of the water,
It-
is what I'm saying.
It will when it's sinking.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Just
be
going
standing
down.
on the very back of it.
That gif you sent
Just
is
doing
going to be
wheelies.
him.
Yeah.
The guy sinking in the canoe with the.
I don't think it'll sink.
I think
Fingers crossed.
it'll be all right.
And with the amount of money I have invested in this thing, I can't afford it for it to sink.
Well, I mean, you'll be able to test it in the pool
because I'm hemorrhaged. Yeah, but not with all the weight on it.
But
put yourself on
like
it
I said,
and carry some stuff with you.
like I said, in front of my house,
All right, I'll grab my mom's dog and we'll jump on.
in front of
yeah, there you go.
in front of my house, it's only 2 to 3 feet deep, so we can test it without like.
I'll just
complete
go in
loss,
it.
without
Like, if
complete
you really want me
loss.
to go first based on weight, like I'll do it.
No, I'm not that worried.
I
About
could
it.
swim
I
just
think it's gonna be
fine.
fine. To be
Yeah,
honest.
we can test it before we bring it out to the deep water.
Although I promise you, if you put me on it first, I'm not going to help bail. I'm going down with the ship, just
My
saluting
problem
to
is
the depths.
My biggest concern is I don't think it's gonna sink. It could definitely tip.
That's what I'm more worried about.
I
is
have
it
no idea
tipping.
how stable it's gonna be.
That's
My
the
worry
concern.
is if it stalls, pulling it.
Have you fired this motor up yet?
Yeah, it runs like a top.
Oh, okay.
And it's loud as hell out of the water.
Is it-
Sounds sick as fuck.
Did you run cooling through it, or
It sucks water through it.
did you do that while you had it running?
I ran it for 13 seconds.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
I'm not just sitting there fucking.
That's what I was worried about.
He's got his little 3 horsepower with the earmuffs on it with the hose. It's
That's
triple
what-
the water.
That's what mine does. Yeah, I got that. That's the greatest thing
but
ever.
the thing's this
Yeah.
big, and he's got the full hose hookup.
That's the greatest tool
like he's
ever.
slowing
Because
down a big block.
when we were growing up, when Steph's dad had their bass boat, every winter he didn't have the little earmuffs thing.
Yeah.
He would take an old trash can, fill it with water, and then put the motor in the in
Yeah,
the
that's what
trash can.
I used to do with because we had the little dinghy, the little Zodiac,
Yeah.
the inflatable and stuff. That's what I always did with the
and
small
then
motors.
we found out about the
Full
earmuff
blown.
things, and those are like the greatest invention ever.
Oh, they're great, absolutely wonderful. But that's awesome. What'd you get into this weekend, Mrs. Scumbag?
Saturday, I went down to Seekonk.
Saturday.
Oh, how was that?
It was actually really good. We got
I was
there.
disappointed you didn't post more videos of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I was just too busy enjoying it.
Oh, yeah. I
Um,
completely believe that.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Uh,
I kind of want to live this vicariously through Steve.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. We got there. It rained for like 5 minutes. We just stayed in the truck, and then we got out. Not a single drop of rain after that.
Was there
It
real,
worked out perfect.
Was there like actual racing going on, or was it just like the?
No, it
That was
just
all the
like-
bullshit stuff.
yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if there was also
'Cause
like
we
we had
were-
street stocks too.
We were going
No.
back and forth about it, and like weather-wise and whatever. It was like I don't know if we're gonna go, and wife wasn't too thrilled about it. But then after we went to the weenie place, and it's monsooning the whole way up at like 3, and he was
Yep.
going down for 5. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
not going.
Yeah.
And it,
No, it was actually
it
pretty
went
good.
right past it. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
We got there. Track was a little wet. They dried it off. It dried off. The sun came out, dried the track off in like maybe 30 minutes. Spectator drags are pretty good. Then they did the enduro races. Mark III VR won one of the finals, which
Hell
was pretty
yeah.
sick.
That was a VR.
Yeah, yeah.
That little GTI.
yeah, with
that kind of
the
makes me
shark
sad,
teeth on
to
it.
be honest.
Yeah, it's a VR. What do you want it to be, a 2.0?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd rather see a VR survive. Just life.
That means it's a
I-
driver's edition.
Yeah, but I mean,
Oh.
not all of them.
Oh, that makes me more
If
mad.
it's a 2-door VR GTI Mark III, they only came with driver's edition.
it might have been a 4-door.
Mine wasn't a driver's edition. It was a VR.
Really?
That makes me more upset about my buddy's Lemons car. My buddy Jet will know him.
Yeah, but a Lemons
got a-
car, you're using it more than once.
Oh no, he chopped it up and it now has the VR mid-mounted, and it looks like
Yeah,
it looks like a Mark III truck.
Nice.
And they
Oh,
painted
yeah, that was
they
a-
painted it like a mail truck, and it's called his team name is Priority Fail Racing.
There was an
That's
E46 painted like the Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Oh yeah,
But it was a
That's
truck. It
sick.
was a truck. No, it's pretty good. Truck race. Guy got T-boned, and safety crew took a little while to get there.
Yeah, there was some really upset people on the internet.
Oh
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
safety
I
crew, I
mean,
guess,
it was
Listen, it's
slow
not
to
the safety
respond.
safari.
like he actually got taken away in the ambulance, which is usually doesn't happen there.
Yeah, we saw that.
Um,
Me and Dan witnessed that up close.
Yeah.
and then Honda Fit
Fucking sick.
got nailed in the figure 8 in like 720 all the way around. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
no.
the Seekonk Death Machine is the figure 8 with the humps in the middle.
Yeah,
Completely
the
okay with
jumps,
that.
yeah,
The
it's
VR's in the back.
absolutely insane.
That's sick.
So the figure 8 at Seekonk actually has
Yeah, it's got jumps. I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah, it's got
going to
jumps.
Dust Off there, and was it was either Grimwater or one of the clubs used to park their cars on the jumps.
Yeah.
All the DTM guys did one year. I remember that.
Yeah,
There was a vendor spot.
it was
Yeah.
that was where club parking was too, and one of the clubs you'd always see something parked on
Yeah.
the jumps.
Yeah.
But awesome.
The good
And
old
then-
days of Seekonk Dust Off when everyone all the Mark IVs had to bring a brick because they parked
Yeah.
them
Oh, yeah.
up high on the
And
banking.
nobody had an e-brake.
Nobody had working e-brakes. I remember I think they had the Mark IVs or the 3s across from the Rs one year. And that was like Mark 4Rs were still relatively new, and the 5 and 6Rs
Just
had
come
like
out.
just come out. And I remember walking over there, and the Rs are in the apron, and there's like Mark 3s and 4s double stacked in
Mark
front of
6
them.
R's never came out when it was still at Seacon. Kid had already moved.
Mark 6s were out at Seacon because I brought Steph's Mark 6. Oh, you're right. The Rs might not have come
No,
out
ours
yet.
weren't.
Because
No.
Steph.
Fives were.
Because
Fives were new.
Yeah. So I remember
Woof.
looking at the R
Yeah,
class.
gross.
The R class is like looking up the banking at 3s and 4s, and I'm just like, this could go very wrong
Yeah.
quickly.
Sunday, I just watched all the races pretty much.
Yep.
Did house shit, just cleaned, did the house stuff, watched the races. And then Monday I got to work, which was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Oh, you
That was-
worked Monday? Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Your
Yeah.
boss is
I mean, I left
communist.
I left at 2:30. I mean, it is what it is.
And you got a free Celsius
Yeah.
delivery, so that's,
Yeah,
that's
Kyle
not
felt-
too bad.
pretty
Kyle felt bad that I
anti-American,
found. Kyle felt bad that I found out about recording.
I didn't feel bad at all.
He didn't feel bad at all. Racing wise, yeah, I did. I watched some of the F1 race while we were golfing. I had it on my phone. Not that there was much to watch, but it's just cool because it's Monaco. And
It's a nice parade.
it's the thing with that
Yeah.
race. You don't watch that for the racing. You watch it for like, holy fuck, that place is cool as hell.
Yeah, you
And,
watch
like.
you watch Monaco by watching qualifying. And then
He's so
you're good.
mad. He's been so salty about F1. Like all of his story
I
posts.
I just love picking on it
I
because
know.
people get so excited.
I know. I love it.
I mean, it was boring.
Yeah, I actually watched most of it, but I just like doing this.
Yeah, I know. It's a terrible race, but like
Churning butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you don't churn butter that direct. Anyway.
But I watched it while we were playing
You got to
golf.
get it off the
and then-
sides, and then you.
What the fuck was that? You
What was it?
want to do that one more time?
So I cut that.
Like that? No, you do it between the legs. You got to hold it, keep it steady.
And then I
Wait, one more time. Nice. Nice.
get that one last one in there just to get it all out.
I'm done.
I'm done. Woo! Timed my Indy 500 viewing very poorly.
We should start this episode
No.
before
Timed
we get all the dick jokes out of the
timed
way.
the old Indy 500 terribly because we were packing to go to the lake while it was on. I was trying to watch it, and then we get in the truck, and I had it on my phone while we're driving. I've realized that my gauge cluster is the perfect place to put my phone to watch races while driving.
You did it to yourself by going golfing in the morning.
No, that's fine. I didn't
you- were
mind
you
that.
in
I
your
only missed
truck?
Monaco
Oh.
In your truck or your GTI?
with the truck.
I got to get a new truck then.
The LCD screen, perfect for just putting your phone
There's
there.
no
I
good
put-
place to put my phone
Yep.
in my truck.
I put my phone right there on the dash.
Oh, I got one of those wireless
Cup phone?
things that you can stream from your phone.
Oh,
right to it.
yeah.
So our ride
My
down to
old
Pocono
my
was
old
nice.
work van, when I was on lunch, I could tilt the steering wheel all the way forward because it was a van, so the thing went to the freaking moon.
Yeah,
And my phone sat perfectly in the bottom of the steering wheel, and I would just sit there and eat my lunch.
So
yeah. I'm
watch
excited
the,
to be able to use the full monitor down to Pocono.
yeah,
which will be
just
cool.
timed it poorly. Watched most of the 500 on the ride to camp, which we lost service with 6 laps to go.
Nice.
And then I got it back.
Good,
with,
nothing happened after
Thankfully, I
that.
got it back with 2 to go. I was like, oh, thank God. I'm like, I didn't miss anything. So, but I had that moment of like, God damn it, I'm gonna miss the end. So,
Yep.
yeah, just
Cool.
a great day of racing.
yeah,
I love it.
Cool. Let's speaking of great day racing, shall we just pop this show off and see?
Sure.
All right, let's do this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of the Loose is Fast podcast, your podcast home for all things NASCAR and some things not. I'm your host, Kyle Belcher, joined as always by Daniel Walker,
Oh, sorry.
Norm Pelletier,
America.
Fuck yeah.
and Mr. Scumbag Steve.
Ayo.
On today's episode, we'll talk some NASCAR.
Wait, he doesn't have a title this week?
No title.
Damn, dude. Sorry about the demotion, bud.
That's all right.
Brother.
Good news is your pay isn't changing.
I'm just happy. I'm just happy to be here.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
You'll get a new title when my truck stops shaking.
Oh.
Hey, we don't road force. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
man.
shouldn't have bought
shit
those
job
ling longs,
balance.
bud.
Yeah, also bought shitty tires off
Shouldn't
of
have bought the
Timo.
Mucho Machos,
Yeah.
Chief.
On today's episode, we will talk some NASCAR news, look back to the weekend at Charlotte and Indy and Monaco, maybe.
Racing Christmas.
Answer some questions, have some fun along the way. But before we get into everything that is this fantastic show, Dan, pay the bills.
Hi, Weston. We get to see each other in like 4 days.
Yeah, we do. It's
Yeah.
less than that.
Apparently,
It's Friday.
He's lucky he's watching us right now because we don't have internet in New England.
We don't know.
According to the NHRA, we still
What
use
year is
letters. We use letters and pigeons.
Yeah, homing pigeons only.
We
Snowman.
are brought to you this week by the Revival Motoring Podcast, or the Revival Motoring Network, excuse me, not just the podcast, and us, the Loose is Fast Podcast. Head on over to loosesfastpodcast.com. There you can find yourself. I'm just waiting for Kyle to hit buttons at this point.
No, I'm just changing.
Okay. There you can buy yourself some merch. I think I saw a couple other people get some merch this week. I know
Yep,
Kyle got himself some merch.
Sure did.
I think I fucking keep forgetting to do that. We got a couple
Yeah,
weeks.
I
got time.
Order some stuff.
Yeah, I got time to get an order into you.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a couple months.
I told you we just talked.
You know, we only have like 3 weeks left, right?
Plenty of time. We just talked about this like 20 minutes ago that I'm good under deadlines.
Yeah, you should. I would highly recommend you
Okay,
put it in soon.
10-4.
It still gets made, so it doesn't like ship instantly.
I know it doesn't, but
Yeah.
they'll be fine. We got the other stuff you got the other stuff pretty quick.
8-9 days.
Yeah, that's nothing. I'll wait till 8-9 days before Pocono. It's fine. I'm kidding. I won't
Just
do
get
that.
it shipped to Cohan's house.
And
Nick,
we'll-
I'm going to need you to bring this all
Nick,
to
I'm
the
gonna need you
track.
to do a thing.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what Ronan does. There's
This-
3 packages for Ronan now. One from Cletus, one from me.
Oh my God, we get to see Ronan in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
So excited. Yeah, head on over there, get yourself some merch.
Yeah.
Do that. Rep us at the track. I know Weston, who's in the chat right now, had the hard koozie at Charlotte this weekend.
Yeah, it was a sweet.
Bro, that thing is sick.
I saw Mike is Vegan had his shirt on Saturday during the Xfinity race. They hung out together, which, by the way, still blows my mind that we started something that now people across the country are meeting up to go to races together because of us.
But I
That's
don't
awesome.
think those are the two local guys.
I'm just
But-
saying, Weston and
Yeah.
Mike know each other because of us and went and had a day on Saturday.
It's
Like
awesome.
that
Love it.
kind of blows my mind. I love you all. That's just cool as
looks
hell.
like-
Our wonderful
also-
little community. Join the Discord.
Yes.
Looks like Mike might have had a little bit more fun than he had last year with us. Because last year, I think he was coming off of like a 12-hour night shift
Yep.
when he showed up at the race last year.
Oh, the
with
Roval.
us at
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Oval.
certain.
So
He's certain.
hopefully he was a little well rested to hang
Yep.
out with old W this weekend.
Yep. W did the double. He
Yeah.
did the Xfinity race and the Cup race. That's
Attaboy.
that's a long, and he raw dogged it too. No seat cushion for the 600.
Did you see the seats they had though? They were under the cover.
Yeah, they had a nice.
Yeah.
They had a 6 spot.
They had those freaking you got to know a guy seats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So head on
Called
over
it
there, get
famous.
yourself some merch, rep us at the track, tell everyone about us because God, we need more listeners and we need to maybe make money so we can all quit. Well, Kyle can't quit; he makes too much
Yeah,
money.
we have absolutely flatlined at 12 listeners, so you guys got to step this up.
Yeah.
Other ways you can help us out non-monetarily is one way is to leave us fun reviews on Apple. Obviously, we want them fun, so we read them, but any review helps get us up in the old algorithm. I think we got another one, but it's not a text one. We're up to 117. I think we were at 116 last week, but there's no new text review on Apple. So someone just hit the old 5 stars button,
Hey,
which
we'll
I
take that.
appreciate just as much.
We thank you for that.
Any comments on last week's
Yeah,
episode?
there was like 2, I think, at most. Hold on, let me find it. All right, last week we had. Oh wow, there's more now. There was 2 when I looked the other day.
Yep. Mike says he was a lot more rejuvenated this year around.
Oh, is that Mike?
Yep.
Nice. I didn't realize that was him. All right, Stevie. As a fan of Penske this weekend or as a fan of Penske this weekend / week was fun. Logano just keeps stepping on his deck and just needs to sit in his car and cool off before talking to the media in response to last week at North Wilkes-Barre. And then how
Yeah.
he came out the next day and was like, I'm a piece
Yeah.
of shit.
Not looking forward to his comment on this week's
Yeah.
episode because
the-
as a Penske fan, not going to
Yeah,
be a good
the
one.
IndyCar shit show and scandal definitely wasn't a good look with the Tim Cindric being fired. Fans calling for Austin's head now, despite him being 13th in points and winning. If you feel like Austin should be fired, then so should Elliott, Blaney, and the Dillons and any other Nepo drivers with less than 2 wins this season. Rough week for the Penske
I'm
fans.
sure we'll get
Yeah,
deeper
that
into
was-
that in a minute. But
Was that a comment about the show or just we talking about Penske
I think
here?
he was just fuming.
I think he was just venting about Penske.
yeah.
Somebody
That has
tell him we have a
nothing to do with the show.
Go on the Discord because we there's a lot more.
Hey,
Lot
we,
more
we
characters you
appreciate
can
your
use to vent
comments,
there.
even if it's not very relevant.
All right, we got one from Hated Daily B5. I feel like we got to know that person.
Read
I
the
don't
name
know if
again?
anybody actually hates a daily B5. It's
Yes,
more
you
like
do.
applauding somebody to actually being able to daily,
Daily
a
a
B5.
B5, yeah.
That's like, you don't hate
Oh,
that.
that's an Audi thing. Or maybe
Yeah.
a Passat. He might have
He
a
could have a
Passat.
Passat, but that's still not good. Actually, Doug's B5 was sick.
It's
That
still
thing was-
impressive to daily a B5 of any kind.
He said hi from the top of Pikes Peak.
Don't jump.
Do we
It's
know
not that
anybody at
bad.
Pikes
We
Peak?
can get you something other than a B5.
Did your B5 make it up there?
No way.
No way. It's Mr. DJ from Turkeys to Racing.
Yes.
After last week's conversation.
Yep.
And Steven, as a Blaney fan, does anyone have a spare toaster and a spare bathtub because I can't deal with baths anymore?
Yeah.
Brother.
Yeah.
Someone in our Discord after the Blaney wreck AI'd a Blaney, or no, that was on Twitter, and then someone shared it in our Discord. The Menard's toaster looked like Blaney's car, but it was just a toaster.
Yep.
Sometimes AI can be
Do you
used for
see
good.
somebody brought one to the fan days?
Yes.
I think DBC was talking about it and had
Yeah.
a bunch of people sign it.
So that's it for the old comments on there. Other things you can do: go subscribe to our YouTube, The Lucis Fast Podcast. I think we gained 1 subscriber last week, so you know we'll get there. We might actually be able to take donations in the YouTube.
We
chat
got one today, too.
by like 2040 if we keep up this pace.
Yeah, we are cranking.
Cranking it in 2025 or all the time.
Cool.
That's about all you got.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Let's hit this one. This one's fun. And that one, because I feel like it.
Things I didn't think about.
Right,
today.
heading into callbacks. If you like the off-track stuff, it's on the YouTubes in our pre-show.
Yeah,
So
go
check that out. All right, calling back to the race picks as we do every week. Flip. There we go. All right, calling back to our choices for Charlotte. Norm chose Mr. Austin Dillon.
Went good till it didn't.
I chose Mr. Chase Elliott. And Dan chose Mr. Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski was
A lap down.
not at all in the conversation until he was.
He was in the 30s, a lap down in like stage 2, maybe even
Yep.
3.
Yep. So
I thought that was stage 4, to be honest. I thought he was out of it.
I got points in every stage. And
I got no points in any stage. Neither did Norm.
Yep.
Austin Dillon was like top 5 at the end of the race. I was like, let's go. And then they short pitted the last green flag pit and just dropped anchor.
Yep.
And then I think they pitted with like 5 laps
They
to go,
did,
like
yeah.
Denny. And he ended up 20th. I
Yeah.
was like, you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Brad K came out of fucking nowhere.
Brad comes out of absolutely nowhere, finishes
Yeah.
1 spot ahead of Chase Elliott, and with Dan beating us, gets an extra 5 points. So Dan and I get the exact same amount of points
So
on
you
the day.
gained nothing.
I gained 0 on you. I separated myself from Norm at least, but gained
I lost
absolutely
20
nothing
points on this
you.
deal.
Can we talk about how I realized about halfway through the race, I texted you guys that I realized I still had Byron, and I was so mad that I didn't pick him. Because if I
Yeah.
had put, what did he get, like 60 something points?
61, I think.
Yeah. If I had put another 61
more than
points
that.
on you guys.
Because he got 60 points from just the stages, I feel like.
No, he won 3 stages, so that's 30. And then I think he finished second, or he finished third. No, second.
Second.
65.
So yeah, imagine if I hung another 65 on you guys.
That would have been 70.
Yeah.
That would have been 70.
Yeah, that would have been insane. So that brings the totals to Dan in the lead still with 454.
Good number. Big block, baby.
I am. You can just stop right there. It's perfectly fine. I am in second with 367. Norm is in last with 353.
I have almost 100 points on you, almost.
You have 100 on me, 101.
Dan, I can't wait for you to crumble. I just can't because I'm so sick of you.
I didn't
I'm
mean that as
so
I
sick.
did not mean
Oh,
that as
look
cocky.
at me. Oh, am I that far ahead? Oh, I didn't know. Oh,
I-
is this how this works? Oh, what do I do with this trophy?
I
Fuck yourself.
I did not mean that to come off as cocky. I meant
You've been cocky about this for like a month.
Let me have
But
my
you've been-
moment because I didn't
yeah,
have.
let me
I didn't
have my moment for a month.
You pricks were so goddamn cocky last year while I had like 2 wins. So I don't want to hear it.
I wasn't cocky at all. He was.
yeah. So I'm going to be him now.
Well, last
Dude,
year
I
was
hate you both.
Last year was more fun because it was the opposite. It was me and Kyle were week to week just swapping,
And
Yeah.
I'm just
and Dan was in
hi.
the backyard.
Dan didn't want to play anymore.
I didn't want to. I'm having
but
fun
this
now.
year, it's me and Kyle are in the back just swapping, and Dan is just
Gone.
smelling daisies
Dan-
in
Driving
front,
away.
dude.
Dan's won the last 4 points races.
Have I?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Norm won the All Star, which doesn't mean shit because
Yeah.
we're not closing on you at all. It's ridiculous. You put on a goddamn show.
I've won 5 of the last 7.
Yeah, I won Bristol.
No, you haven't.
Yeah. 5 of the last 7 points races.
1, 2. Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's right. Woof. with 2 wins as well.
Yes.
Hamlin win and a Larson win.
Yes.
Good Lord. All right, so we got to choose for Nashville. Norm starting in the back. You get to choose first. Where are we going? Norm.
I don't think you marked off last week, by the way.
I did not.
Okay, just make sure.
Because I don't have the laptop or the
Oh, true.
iPad. It's such a pain in the ass. to
This
do
is
on
a
my
tough
phone.
one.
This is hard.
Nashville stuff. I don't think he's going to go 2 weeks in a row, but this is his best track, and he won it 2 years ago, and he almost won it last year. Ross Chastain.
I thought about that for a second.
I did too, but the 2 in a row
Back to
thing, I was
back
like,
is,
no
yeah,
way.
that's what turned me off to it.
And they haven't shown a lot of short speed.
Nope.
This year at all.
Well, that was last year. I totally forgot. He was waxing the field last year before all those restarts.
Yeah.
And then that's when Cindric stole.
Denny was actually at the end. He was
Yeah.
talking about on his show today that he was like, we were running away with it, and then Cindric spun and caused that caution that created the 18 restarts.
Yeah. Yep. Speaking of 18 restarts, I'm going with Mr. Joey Logano.
Probably a smart move.
And Daniel, where are you going for Smashville?
I'm with Norm. This is just hard because I feel like we haven't had a good sample size.
We
to
don't
know
have a ton on
who's
this at all.
Good.
Nope.
I'm just gonna go with. I'm kind of following you on this one. I feel like Penske's gonna have a rebound. I'm going with Cindric.
Cindric's not a bad pick.
What's next week? Are we going back to Atlanta already?
After Nashville, no, we're
No,
going
Michigan.
to Michigan.
Michigan.
It's Michigan, Mexico. No,
Atlanta again is at the end of June,
what am I missing?
right after Pocono.
Oh yeah, so after this is Michigan, Mexico, and then Pocono because
Okay.
that's the 5 Amazon races.
Yep. Cool. So we will see how things shake out after
Yeah, Joe
Nashville.
Spinelli's right. Ross did not dominate last year. Last year was when Larson wiped him out, like midway through the race.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right. Yep.
You're thinking of 2 years ago when
Well,
he
2 years
won.
ago, he won. And then last year, he finished like 30th, but I thought he was doing good before
No,
that.
I mean he was doing good, but Larson wiped him out.
All right. Well, we'll see how that shakes out for next week at Nashville.
Yeah,
Wait, hold
do
on.
we
Do we get a points reset with
No.
race picks? No, we just get a picks
No, we get a
reset.
driver's reset.
We just
Yeah.
get a picks
Would that be
reset.
funny if we just did playoff points?
Fuck you
like
guys.
Dan just starts with 15 for winning the regular
no.
season.
Yeah, it just wipes
And
out.
me and Kyle each have 5 or 10.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
I like that.
Get fucked in.
Too late.
And then
Too late.
I just win like the first race. Like I advance to the next round.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh man! All right, the last part of callbacks. Some people's favorites, some people's not, but we call it Norm's
Game of the week.
What are the honorable
This
mentions?
is going to be a long
Bro,
one
there's
because
too many of them. Pretty much every red, white, and blue car slapped.
which
Uh,
they all
Ross-
were.
This
Ross's
is
car-
like low key the second best paint scheme.
Outside of
I think-
throwback
I
weekend.
think this is the best Memorial Day week we've had in
It
a couple
is.
years.
100%.
I think so too.
I agree
There was
with
a
you.
lot more participation than I expected.
Yep.
Ross's car looked great. This is one
Especially
of the
on the
few
19.
that I think the chrome number looked good on because the red stripes had kind of a gradient to them. So I think the chrome number looked good. The jockey logo kind of looks misplaced on this scheme.
I think it looks awesome.
Super good scheme though. Love white race cars. 2
Didn't
cars sucked
participate.
butts. 3 looked
Phenomenal.
all right.
I
Yeah.
just love the detail in the flag. Like it doesn't just look like they took a stock like American flag logo.
Right,
Like it
but
looks
it's
like
like-
a picture of an American
That's-
flag.
That's what I didn't love
Oh, you
about
don't
it.
like
Is
that,
it's
okay.
like an actual photo.
I like
I
the
think the scheme
shadows.
looks great, and it was super funny. I don't know, beginning of the 4th stage, him and the 19 were going blows at each other, swapping positions left and right, and I couldn't tell who was who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm watching it, paying
Yep.
attention for Austin because I picked him, and I couldn't tell who was who. Noah's car looks super cool.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yep,
The
just
little
the rear quarter of it was American flag. I don't mind that. I don't-
I missed that.
Rush Truck Center, you want to stand out and be yellow? I think it'll look fine. I hated this year's H1100 scheme.
Oh, good thing you didn't have to watch it the whole time.
I'd have to look at them side by side because I don't remember what they
Last
looked
year's, I think, executed with. The problem is, and this is a Blackbeard issue I've been talking
like.
about
We've
for
talked
years,
about this, yeah.
is I used to love his work, but it's like his stuff always, and this was Blackbeard designed this, his stuff always looks amazing in renders. And somehow just gets completely distorted when it gets put on the
Or they
real car.
change it, or
His renders for this scheme looked nothing like this.
yeah.
Like the blue and the black, how they kind of just come to a random point, those were in line with the number. And the shape on the door was completely different.
Like what is that little outcropping behind the front wheel? Like,
yeah,
what
that
the
is
fuck
supposed
that?
to, that looks like the Indy car because the Indy car is black and the inside wheel well.
Oh, I see now.
So he kind of kept that same design, but they also like the orange stripes. They made them freaking minusculely thin. On his renders, the orange was like thick and like pronounced, so you could actually see them rather than it look like pencil stripes.
Sick.
I just think the execution on the realization of this paint scheme was done very poorly. The renders, I'll post them on the Discord to remind everybody, the original Blackbeard renders looked like a completely different race car. And this just completely let me down, in my opinion. Also, it's Memorial Day weekend. Let's fucking do some red, white, and blue on this thing.
Well, it's red, white, and blue every other week, so.
Yep. 6, look great.
That's a beautiful car.
Yep.
Didn't like it.
Really?
No.
I like that one. I like the, I don't know.
I don't like the straight stripe of stars.
I
It's
like
kind of
that.
too busy,
I
but
like the
not really
RFK
busy
stripes.
It looks
with the
like
flag.
it looks like a cheesy wood trim above someone's garage.
Okay, I see what
I
you're
don't
saying
mind
there.
it. I think it looks fine because the Build Submarine logo is super long.
It almost
So you kind
carries
of
that.
need
Yeah.
that. I don't mind it. Just run of the mill. The 7, I think, look fine. The yellow outline of the numbers kind of killed it for me.
Oh, I didn't even.
I actually liked it, minus the yellow.
Yeah, the
which
yellow.
ruined it.
Zone, they have 5 million different flavors. I don't know why you couldn't find a red, white, and blue one. The 9, super lazy. Look
Yeah.
cool, but lazy. 10,
Man,
Man.
Trump would love that car because it's white and gold. The 11, we've seen that scheme for 5 years straight.
Yeah, that's nothing special.
it's classy, but it's
Well,
meh.
It's nothing special.
We'll skip this one. This one's not even worth mentioning. Just kidding. Go back to the 12. This is my scheme of the week.
Yeah.
The body armor
Wow.
freaking
Whoa.
blitz
Snuck
scheme
up
or
on
whatever they
us.
called it.
What's it called? Body armor. What is it like?
Icebreaker or something.
Ice.
Body armor ice, something
Ice
like that.
or cold? Go-
So good looking.
Chill.
Go down, Steve. I want to see if it says it in the caption. Body armor, chill Ford.
Yeah. Dude,
He's just a chill guy.
it's such a good scheme though. The body armor logo on the door, I think, could be like a touch bigger.
Yep.
But otherwise, like the scheme, the colors, his hat. Did you see his hat he was wearing? His
Yeah.
fire suit.
Keep scrolling though. I
sick.
want to see what else.
I
we
love
got.
the colors of it. 16 looked super cool.
That was the leaf filter car was
yeah,
awesome.
that one looked bitchin'. 17 looked super cool as well.
I
I,
like
love the camo and orange.
Yep.
19 looked all right. Kind of traditional.
Hate the 20.
20, I think it's a fine scheme. It's just the typical ream where the quarter panel is just dead empty.
Yep.
Like you can't find anything to put there, ream.com or something to fill that in. 21 Eero car. Cool
Never
looking
even saw
scheme.
that.
Yep.
Boring.
22. It's
Actually, that's
it's
cool.
a
It's just the yellow
throwback
submarine.
to their Indy car.
Well, the Indy car
For
in that
the-
match.
Yep. For what is it? The what is it? The Flying Deuces or whatever they're
No,
called.
that's the yellow submarine. That's what that car is.
That's what that one's called.
Yeah.
23 Chumba Casino. I fucking hate this company.
Same. They've taken
They-
over every
dude,
podcast.
every commercial and everything is Chumba Casino. Annoys the hell out of me. This is a stolen paint scheme from Kyle Williams' Toyota genuine parts paint scheme he
I
made like
remember
2
that.
years ago. And it's absolutely fucking hideous. And I hate it. 24. Oh my God. Shout
I-
out to the cameraman
I wasn't.
who got the neon yellow in
Yeah,
that photo.
I wasn't sure about this scheme in the renders, and then on track under the lights, it looked awesome.
It looked so good. 34, shame.
Monster.
35, shame.
38.
38,
shame.
shame. 41, has camo in it. I don't know if
What
that
they
is
were going
for
there
this
for?
weekend. It's a cool looking scheme, but the 42 looks sick.
Yep.
Also, shout out.
43 looked cool.
They don't have the gold outline around the numbers. 43 is like my runner up for scheme of the week.
I like that.
I love pretty much every Advent Health scheme that I've seen so far, even back to Chip Ganassi. But this one looks so good, and the red, white, and blue looks super good on it. The blue almost looks metallic. Super good looking paint scheme. 44, suck butts.
In the way.
45, shame. 47.
That was a lot.
It's red, white, and blue, I guess.
That was
but
on track. That was an assault on the census.
Yeah.
This looks like a freaking Costco, Sam's Club. I mean, this fits the sponsor.
Yep. Fun Pops.
It looks like the most obscure, just generic frozen ice you've ever seen.
Those are the Freezy Pops you get in the net,
Yeah.
and they're like $5 for 100.
48
I loved this.
looked really cool. I would have liked to
I
have
liked it a
seen
lot.
the colors. I think like the blue fading to white. I would have liked to see maybe a little bit different blue usage on this game, but it looked really good. 48 this year has been looking great.
Yeah.
51 looks good, Jacob. I always like those games. 54, shame. 60, at first I was giving them guff for not being patriotic, but they snuck a little camouflage in there.
I think
But they're being patriotic to the wrong goddamn country.
I think
all right?
that car any other week, I love it.
But it's so good, dude.
It is.
Irish Springs with the green camo looks super good. The gold numbers matching the gold RFK
I think it
stripes.
was super sharp.
Super good looking paint scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Dan
any other week.
Any other week, that's a banging paint scheme.
Yep.
66.
I'm sure that'll be back.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
66 actually looked really good. I like this. This is just your traditional American flag paint scheme.
Yeah.
They
I
actually,
wish the blue was a little darker.
they actually did a good job wrapping it, which is I warned on Discord. I was like, this is a great paint scheme unless they just butcher it in the wrap,
Which they have.
which they've done very bad in the past. This one looks great. I think it's a very good looking paint scheme. Josh Balicki, we like him. 71, super cool. Another generic kind of red, white, and blue paint scheme. 77, Ride the Dente.
Technically
not
red,
patriotic.
white, and blue.
84, not patriotic, but goddamn was it bright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a half.
What a picture for Zillich.
Hey, look, Jimmy Johnson's in another picture. This they're gonna get framed. Cole Custer's gonna be like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zillich, Red Bull. Love to
Zillich
see
is
it.
going to crop that, and that's going to be in his house forever.
Oh, yeah.
88.
Subtle.
Yeah, super subtle American flag on the hood, subtle stars on the side.
When
Cool
they
looking paint
first
scheme.
released it, I was like, that's it. And then somebody pointed out all the ghost stars and flag, and I was
99
like,
looks great, except for the freeway logo, the giant green circle on the side kind of
Yeah.
annoys me.
yo.
Yeah.
Super good looking paint scheme. So,
Nice.
paint scheme of the week is the 12 body armor chill scheme.
Good.
And
pick.
honorable mention
Good.
as well to the Xfinity series. They had a bunch of good schemes.
Like
but-
the Lance car?
I hate that fucking paint scheme. But the winner of the Xfinity series paint scheme of the week is the goddamn 26 Dean Thompson with goddamn American turkey. I mean, bald eagle on the
best
side
was
of that
they
thing.
released that, and somebody posted it in Discord. It might have been you,
Yeah.
and they tagged Pepper. They're like, would this look good with a turkey on the side of it?
Yeah, I did it immediately, dude.
I thought the 7 was hot
Did you,
as
like,
fuck.
did you like my rendering with a turkey?
I think I saw that, yeah.
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 I thought the 7 was hot as hell,
The 7
too.
looked good. Big PBR vibes
Yep.
on the 7. I just thought it's kind of just your traditional red, white, and blue scheme, much like the 6 or the 1966.
Yeah.
But that 26 SHR, Sam Hunt Racing,
He was running
always
up front,
has
too.
super good paint schemes. Kyle Williams designs their paint schemes. He said he hand drew that American bald eagle on the side of that thing.
That's sick.
So that it looks super cool. I think it looked great on track.
Holy shit,
So-
somebody brought a cone to have Priest sign at Charlotte this weekend.
Nice. So the scheme of the week going to Ryan Blaney's body armor. Ford
Chill.
Mustang.
Well deserved.
And honestly, was that last year or 2 years ago when he had that green abomination? That was 2 years ago.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
So,
bad.
much better.
Yeah, way better. All right, cool. Let's keep digging. All right, we got a couple bits of news to talk about that happened over the course of the week. Some bigger, some smaller. We'll start with some smaller news. No surprise, Hendrick locks up Mr. William Byron with a contract through 2029, meaning all Hendrick drivers are locked in for at least next season.
Yeah, we have everybody's through at least 26, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean Rick can't let his illegitimate son get away.
Yeah, I mean that's a long contract, and usually you see quote unquote multi-year
Exactly.
deals.
Yeah.
This was we're keeping them.
Yeah, like
4 years.
That's a
Normally,
long.
normally
deal.
your multi-year deals are 3 tops.
2.
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. Usually multi is 2
Yeah.
with an option.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 is a long contract.
That shows their confidence in him, and with this car and sponsors
and given
that he
this
brings,
was
so-
adding 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, adding 4 because 26, 27, 28.
Yeah.
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 So
4
through
full
29,
seasons.
So yeah,
so
4 full seasons.
that's a big deal in today's day and age. So yeah, good for him.
I would love for them to just like accidentally announce how much he's getting paid though.
I know. Yep, none of that is public information.
I wish it
anymore.
was.
How
Like
many
other
Legos
sports.
that little son bitch is buying, dude?
Right? He can buy any Lego that he wants. All right, we'll just keep going. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of silly season. That's kind of one of the topics that I wanted to bring up at some point.
Jordan said it on the teardown
Right.
yesterday. He was basically said, Blake, what you're saying. He goes, there's not much of a silly season this year, but next year, he's like, hold on, because there's a lot of drivers that are only
whose
signed,
contracts running out.
whose contracts are
It
running out at
doesn't
the end of
mean
next year.
there's going to be a bunch of silly season moves.
But
it
there
just means
could
there's going to
be.
be a lot of extension or
I think
announcements.
the thing is with a lot of people running out in 26, there could be a lot of movement.
Yeah, could be. Doesn't mean there will be.
But this year, we don't even have that
I
option.
mean, for the last like 3 or 4 seasons, we've been kind of, I don't want to say spoiled, but yeah, spoiled with tons of news,
Big
tons
names,
of movements.
Brad Kay moving and owning a team.
manufacturer changes.
Kyle Busch going to RCR. Like, you think about the things that have happened in the 4 years we've been doing this.
Right.
We've had some big moves. The whole Kyle Busch saga a couple summers
Legacy.
ago. Legacy.
well,
Like
just
all
think
that.
of what 4 or 5 new teams.
Yep.
Yeah. New teams, moving manufacturers, drivers, big sponsors leaving. Like, we've had a lot of big news. I think at this point we are going to be pretty status quo for the next 2 to 3.
I think
realistically.
I don't know. I think we could have some movement next year, especially with contracts running out. There's the opportunity. This year, you look at it on paper, and there is no opportunity. Everyone's like locked up.
There's a handful of people in contract years, but nothing that I expect to be
I just think
moving.
with this new
At
car,
most, we see some movements with Trackhouse.
I think with the new car, with the new kind of way the sport is running, I think it's kind of just stick with what you know, not with what could be kind of thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of these owners aren't going to get rid of these maybe guys for, like, I have Justin Haley. He's a good average all around dude, but am I going to take a chance and take somebody up from the Xfinity series that may just be absolutely abysmal? in the
Yeah,
next
people
gen car?
are hedging their risks,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
think one of the
why-
most egregious ones in recent history was getting rid of Matty D for Harrison Burton.
Yeah.
That was the
Harrison,
risk
we
on
do
the,
forget
the
though
name
because
and
he
the hot
was
shot.
Harrison was good in Xfinity
yeah
series.
he was
though.
absolutely terrible.
But Matty D
And-
was never bad
He wasn't winning.
No.
Like Harrison was at least winning races
No,
in the Xfinity
Matty D,
series.
I think in his
in Cup.
21 years, I think he did 2 years in the 21 and 1 year in the 95. He was great in both those
Yeah.
cars.
He was.
He ran. I mean, the problem is you're basing it off of pretty much Blaney before him, who Blaney
Yeah.
was obviously a potential future champion.
Yeah.
And then Paul Menard ran in them, and you don't really expect much from Paul and Matty D. Harrison, I think he was a big prospect before Xfinity. Xfinity, he was all right. He was winning in Joe
Yeah.
Gibbs equipment.
I don't think they paid
a little
attention
bit.
to him in Xfinity. They
Yeah.
treated it as a stepping stone. Like, oh, he's
Yeah.
ready for Cup.
Yeah.
We're just doing this because we kind of have
Yeah, he's
to.
a Burton dude. Look at
Yeah.
their bloodline.
Oh, he's got to be a
guaranteed
Cup
to be
driver.
good.
Yeah.
They went from Blaney, and then they're like, Matt D's not quite Blaney, so we got to move on to the next best thing, and then they got an even worse thing.
Yeah.
So
The problem is these days is the guys that are constantly getting talked about, Bowman, Suarez, Justin Haley, Carson Hocevar, these guys that you expect to be moved around. It's like I don't think teams are really going to be taking chances.
yeah, exactly.
Like you're going to
Yeah.
get rid of Daniel Suarez, huge fan base, great with sponsors, obviously international talent. He's going to be great when we go down to Mexico. Like he has a bunch of positives. Could win pretty much anywhere if you put him in the right situation. Much like Ross, he doesn't take advantage of it as often, but he is just like, get me in the right stuff at the right time and I could win it.
Yeah.
He's proven it. He's won on road courses. He's won on ovals. And won Xfinity Series championship head-to-head with
He's-
Kyle Busch, I
yeah.
think, that year. So obviously he's talented, but it's like, all right, we get rid of him, and then we obviously take up Zilich. He's the next guy. And then who knows, Zilich could be a flop.
Right.
Or Zilich could run out of motivation or like, I want to go to open wheel.
Right.
Like, who knows? Like, it's teams are just like get rid of Alex Bowman for what? Justin Haley, for Carson Hocevar, guys that potentially could be great, but it's like, you have a sure thing in your
Yeah.
holster right
Right.
now.
Yeah.
It's teams don't need to take the risk like they used to.
So I don't. With all that being said, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's been a big conversation. Like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, I don't think you're going to be seeing much.
Yeah.
So, with that, also, we found out RCR that does pick up Kyle Busch's extension.
2 years,
One.
1 year, just
1
1
year extension, and they also kind of piggybacked on that Dylan will be back in the car next year as well. So lineup is staying the same at RCR.
Dude, Austin
No
Hill
surprise.
has to be fucking fuming.
Yeah,
Like, what does he need to do to get a ride? You know what I mean? Like, he wants to stay at RCR. You can tell he wants to stay at RCR. He shut down Colleague last year for a full-time Cup ride.
I think he's going to stay until
and
it's
and
time
they're like,
for
you-
Dylan to step into the office and run the show.
you keep re-signing these 40-something-year-old guys. Give me a shot.
Well, I mean, Austin Dillon just took over their the PBR stuff, the
Yep.
bull riding stuff. So he's like kind of running the show on that.
Yeah, they're
at this
molding him.
point. So yeah, I think he's got like 2 driving seasons left.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
Austin Hill is better. Austin
Yeah.
Hill should be in that car. I don't think the numbers should be on the side of it. That's a different conversation. I think they should keep the. They can't do the 20.
No, 33.
3-3.
Yeah, I was thinking like keep his number, keep his identity. Nope, can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 33.
Yeah, it would
I mean,
likely be a
he's
33.
better. We know he's better.
Yeah.
He's ready to. I think
And you
he's
got
ready.
you got Jesse Love too.
33-31 is now open, right?
Ooh. Yeah. So
Go
we'll
back to
see.
the old Mike Skinner days.
But yeah, I can imagine so. All right, we'll keep moving. We got the 2026 Hall of Fame was announced this past week.
Oh, yes. Actually, I forgot all about that.
We found out Kurt Busch, Harry Gant, Ray Hendrick, and Humpy Wheeler getting the Landmark Award will be our 2026 class.
Yep,
Solid fame.
Very
Solid.
deserving for Kurt. Like I've said before, my cutoff for the Hall of Fame is either a championship in the Cup Series
Mm-hmm.
or 20-plus wins. Kurt has both.
Yep.
So Kurt is obviously first ballot Hall of Famer. Totally deserving.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was a couple kind of staple guys that got pushed off. I don't think drivers. I think he was kind of the marked guy for the drivers.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
the voting's tough. It's cool. I think we got more of an inside look onto voting this year than we ever have.
Mm-hmm.
There were pictures going up, obviously.
Yeah. I saw like the group photo of all the people there voting.
Tommy Baldwin's on DBC now. He's part of the panel.
Yeah.
So he got to talk
It's a
about that
large
a little
panel.
bit.
It is.
It's super cool, though. They all took the picture and posted on
Yep.
social media. It's super cool to see all those guys in one room.
Yeah, it's awesome. So that's cool. Couple other smaller bits, and then we'll get kind of the bigger one that's not necessarily NASCAR related. Hint, hint. We'll start with JRM. They revealed or unveiled the baseball car
Love it.
theme
Hyped.
throwback.
We got the
late model that
Red
Junior will be
Bud
running
8.
at Anderson Motor Speedway in August.
Yeah, we got the Red Bud 8 and the Bud baseball car in 1 year. I don't even
And
care.
it's a meaningful car because it's for the
baseball
Bristol game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the baseball game that they're
So
playing at
it's
Bristol.
like it has a purpose. Like
Yeah.
the baseball
Just like
car
the-
has a purpose.
just like the OG one was for the All-Star game
Yep.
that year. Yep.
Yeah, smart move, very smart move. Good
It
cross
was a little
promo.
worrying when they unveiled it because they had their late model guy pull the cover off with Dale Jr.
Yeah,
So it's like, hold up. This
Is he not driving it? Yeah.
This is reserved for the greatest race car driver of all time, Dale Earnhardt Jr., or the worst, Sammy Smith. Nobody in between. All right. So
My,
So
my
it was
favorite
a-
was the unveiled video when they're rolling it off and some guy in the crowd, it's a baseball car.
Thanks, Bud.
Just spoils it
Yeah.
as they're half rolled off. I was like, good job, buddy.
Way to go, pal.
Good job. But that was super cool to see.
Yeah.
The,
So we'll
the
see
Earnhardt
that.
family is just, by the Earnhardt family, I mean Junior and Kelly. They are just a money printing machine because you know that the top 2 diecast, when we get to December at the end of this year, when Lionel puts out the top selling diecast list, I can guarantee you it's going to be that Red Bud 8 late model and the baseball 8
And
late
then the
model.
40.
And then the 40. Those 3 cars are guaranteed to be your top 3 in any given
it can
order.
only be dethroned if Chase somehow wins a race.
True.
Yep.
And if
In a-
Chase
in a
somehow
good
wins
car.
a race in a backup car,
Oh, yep.
oh, baby. Lionel is going to need to be terrifying
Honestly-
14 different countries
Honestly,
to make those
I bet
things.
you,
Yeah.
I bet you the host of our Chili's car is on that list because remember how Corey was last year because
Yeah.
Chili's bought like 10,000 of them to give away.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
But I guarantee you the top 3 on that list are going to be the 2 Bud 8 late models and the 40 car. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, you can write, I guarantee you can write that in stone.
Speaking of Earnhardt's printing money, the Earnhardt documentary did half drop this past Friday.
I hate it.
We're not going to talk about it yet. We're going
We're
to
not?
wait for the other 2.
All right, I'm fine with that.
If you want to talk about spoilers, you can join the spoiler chat in our Discord.
Yes, we made a chat that literally says
No,
spoilers
not
on
we.
it.
You, after complaining about having too many channels.
No, that was a
Well,
request. No, that was actually a good idea because people were talking about it and someone was
that was
like,
smart. I'm giving you a hard
no
time.
spoilers. I was like, how about we just make a channel
That was actually a
that
good call.
we'll leave it up for like a week after the doc comes out and then we'll just get rid of it.
The real problem is we had 6 different channels talking about the documentary
Yeah.
at the same time.
And
in
that's
Discord.
exactly what
Yeah.
we were talking about it in news, in
That
race
being
day
said-
chat, in off topic, in music and movies.
Spoilers, really? This is covering stuff from 50 years ago.
Yeah, it's really not a spoiler.
Honestly,
I mean,
the-
there's a lot of like footage.
Spoiler,
that I've
Dale
never
Earnhardt was
seen.
Rookie of the Year in 1979.
Spoiler alert, he was a shitty dad.
Yeah,
I think I was telling people earlier, like, the first 2 episodes go from basically his start in 79 to 1994. The last 2 episodes are going to be where it really gets us because that's when we all started to become. It's going to be stuff that we remember watching. Maybe we'll learn something about an event that we didn't know about.
Yeah,
that, like we
especially-
knew.
especially for us because we are now going to be alive and
Yes.
and know that we
Cognizant.
are alive.
It
you
was
know?
cool. Like
This happened
seeing-
when I was 2 years old. You don't remember that.
Yeah, the old
At all.
stuff, like the stuff from 1982, while it was really cool to watch, it didn't hit me like I still haven't had that good emotional moment. I
Yeah.
think the next 2 episodes is
I
where
think
that's
we're in
going to
trouble,
happen.
yeah.
We are fucked.
So
Even
we
just,
will.
even just the teaser at the end of the second episode,
Oh, yeah.
like this is what's coming in the next 2. That was the closest I came to like losing it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
I will say-
no.
We'll see.
They only dropped 2 episodes. And like you said, they blasted through 25 years, 15 years. They should have done an episode a year, like
That
Dale
would've
Jr.
been
did
too
with this podcast. Like, bro, like I want to know every detail about these years because they were blasting through them, and I was like,
This could
is
be
such interesting stuff. Yeah.
episodes.
I will say Carteropoli has a very valid gripe. The sound design on some of them, like when they're showing a car from 1980 go by, you can tell it's boom tubes from Gen 4.
Yeah.
There was one where cars are going by, and it was definitely like someone just searched race car noises, and it was like Indy cars, like meow, meow, meow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, what is that?
But you
outside
also,
of that, like the footage they have, some of that shit from the early 80s, it's all on YouTube. Like I saw somebody, I think NASCAR Man on Twitter was talking about it. A lot of that is on YouTube. It's readily available. But I think they spun that through some filters and shit because
they
it
cleaned
looked
up.
unbelievable.
But we're going to talk about it when it's all done. We'll
I
do
know.
a deep dive into all of it.
Okay.
And it's killer so far. If
Yeah,
you haven't watched the first
super
two,
well done. Totally worth
Go
it.
watch
yeah.
the first two, and then on Thursday, the other two will come out.
that was tomorrow.
Nope,
It's
it's the
Thursday?
29th.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Super cool.
Somebody else said,
Watch it before next Monday because we're going to spoil everything. You have until next Monday, and then we're going to spoil it for you.
Yeah,
and
Prime
I don't feel
did,
bad.
Prime did a whole premiere.
Yes,
A
I
bunch
saw
of
that.
drivers and stuff were out. Super cool. that
while
they do
we're on
that.
the subject, though, I wanted to touch on the other little tidbit of Earnhardt news. That article that came out, the Washington Post article with the interview with Dale.
Chasing Ghosts.
Yeah, the interview with Dale Jr. That was a tough read.
Couldn't read it.
You didn't just enter your email?
No.
No, I bit the bullet. I haven't gotten a single email from him, so I don't care.
Oh,
They're
that's
waiting
good.
They're going to get me. But
till the opportunity is best.
Unreal article. Like, I know you wanted me to screenshot it, but it literally, if you clicked on the little thing that said, like, read this to me, it was a 51-minute audiobook.
Jesus.
It's a long article, but the one thing that everybody blew up about was the fact that Kelly and Dale are not allowed to see Dale Earnhardt's grave because it's on the property of DEI / where he lived, his farm, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
That is bananas to me.
Yeah.
Apparently they were allowed to see it shortly after it was completed, so we're probably talking 02.
Yeah, well, Junior was still racing for the team. They were still
Yeah.
kind of close at that
And
time.
then Junior
Will
said,
you open that?
yeah, I'm dying. Junior did hint in the article that he may have snuck back there once with some liquid courage.
Is it cooler in there?
So, and then Kelly basically also said that she's pretty sure that if they tried to go there, Teresa would have them arrested.
Yeah.
Which
yeah,
is
how old was that article? Was that fresh?
new. Like that guy interviewed him pretty recently.
Because wasn't Dale just saying that there's a chance he could go to the deer head shop?
I don't think so.
Isn't he? Wasn't he saying that there
Not
was?
that I
I
heard.
think he
I
was
didn't read the
saying that
article,
they
so.
were doing that. He might not be able to bring cameras, but he thinks they're getting close to being able to go
Oh,
there.
well, that'd be cool. But
And obviously, that's on the same property.
yeah, it's just
So-
wild to me. Like that, there's one line in the article. I think they said it was like 26 when he was still racing. They were flying back. It was him and Mike Davis in his plane, and they flew over the property. And he said he looked out the window and he said, "Oh, that's where Daddy is." And I was just like, "Fuck!" Like,
Oy.
imagine just not being able to go see where your father
horrible.
was.
Absolutely horrible.
Speaking of the deer head shop, that's another thing in the documentary. We got footage of the deer head shop from the 80s. I don't know if you caught that in the doc. That was sick. We always talk about like
Well,
Still
there was
trying to
that
talk
scene-
about it next week.
Yeah, there
I
was
know,
that
I'm just
scene
saying
with
it's
him
cool.
and Neil Bonnet, the interview in there. We've seen interviews from inside the deer head shop before.
we've talked about how cool. Like I want to see what it looks like in there now. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Like please,
That was my tweet.
It
Oh, I
looks,
didn't even
it
see
looks
that.
exactly the same.
guarantee you, it looks like a time
untouched,
capsule.
Yeah.
Well, they literally closed the doors in 01. I don't think it's been opened.
Yeah.
No, allegedly, we don't know.
Yeah.
So we may never see. We'll find
Yeah,
out.
who knows?
We'll find
she's
out in
gonna,
the next
she's,
episode.
she's gonna turn it into a fucking. What's she turning that property into? A friggin' strip mall,
Yeah,
storage units or
industrial,
industrial park.
property. Yeah.
Ugh.
All right, a couple driver bits of news. JGR announced that Jack Perkins, Australian supercar driver, will be driving the 19 Xfinity car in Portland, which is in August. And we
missed
also
that.
saw today, colleague announced that Will Brown will be coming over to drive the 13 car at the Chicago Street Race.
They're resurrecting the 13.
They are bringing it back.
Yep.
Spreading themselves even thinner. And
Right before that, a little bit of padded room. Supposedly Jordan Bianchi, which he's been pretty right recently.
He's usually pretty right.
Yeah.
AJ Allmendinger supposedly returning to Cup next year.
Oh yes, I did hear that too.
So homie gets one top 5 finish, and he is right back to Cup.
I guess he talked to AJ, and
Staying in
AJ was
yeah.
like, I don't know. And then he went and talked to Chris Rice, and Chris Rice was like, he's coming back. Like, you know how that goes. I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna. AJ's just
so
does
they have
whatever.
enough sponsors to pay for
Yeah,
it.
AJ just does whatever they tell him.
Yeah, it's whatever they can get money for, and they want to put the best driver in it. Who the best driver they have a shot
Right.
at
Well, they're
is
forced
AJ.
to have Ty Dillon in the other one, so they want to at least have somebody they like in the 16.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Well, according to Weston,
either him or
the
Daniel
Deerhead
Dye.
shop has been opened. His boss was in there a few years ago.
Oh, sweet.
It's still a time capsule, but people have been in and out.
Nice.
I wish his boss was coming next weekend. I want to just talk to him.
Yeah.
Like he gets slugged by Slugger.
Last but not least, some kind of non-NASCAR news.
It'll-
Talked a bit
it'll
about
trickle into
Penske.
NASCAR.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we talked a bit about Penske last week because things started to come out about the Indy cheating issues.
Yep.
Shenanigans, we'll call 'em.
Shenaniganry.
Roger Penske reacted,
Responded.
reacted in tow, and Tim Cindric, the Indy president, Ron and Kyle as well in the Indy team, managing director and the GM, Ron Rozowski and Kyle Moyer, I believe is how you say
Yep.
their names,
Close enough.
all promptly departed.
Fired.
Yeah.
Like this. So
They didn't say fired. They said
let go or
have been separated or
Yeah.
something along those
So
lines.
all
But
this-
they were fired.
I mean, all this started coming out Sunday. We talked about it last Monday.
Yep.
And I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I
something.
mean, the hammer dropped and
Yeah.
they just got, and that shows you, I mean, it feels a lot of damage control by the man who just got caught cheating, who owns the track or owns the team, owns the track,
Owns the series.
and owns the series. Like that feels like a lot of damage control. Like I'm going to lop these 3 heads off to show you that I care.
Have to.
He had to do something. There's
Well, this is his biggest weekend
100%.
every year, obviously,
And now it's just
for very
shadowed
obvious
in
reasons.
controversy.
He
And they
had
were
to
terrible.
do something to even remotely try to save face in that situation.
100%. And I think he did exactly what he had to do, is clean house at the top.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I'm
cut the head off.
Yeah.
cheating aside, I'm surprised he didn't just start firing people because they didn't get the pole.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Like they just normally lock down the whole front
Well,
row,
then
and the
they-
fact that they didn't do that,
So
I'm
well,
surprised
they
Pence
didn't
roll.
because the whole reason was the cheating. So they didn't.
Right.
They weren't allowed to participate in both. He had 2 cars in the Fast 12. One of them flipped, so he wasn't in. I forget. It's now the part of the season where I forget IndyCar exists. One of the cars flipped. The other 2 were in the Fast 12, but they weren't allowed to go. So they were supposed to start 11th and 12th. With the firing before that, IndyCar announced that the 2 cars, the 2 Penske cars were, so it was McLaughlin, it was Scotty Mack and Newgarden, lost their starting positions and had to start from the rear.
Right.
So that happened, I think, Tuesday. And then
One
Wednesday.
of those didn't even make it to the race. Rough.
Heart wrenching.
Rough
That
week.
was
It is a tough week to be
anything
A
involving
Penske
Penske.
employee.
Yeah, no shit.
tough.
Don't worry, it
Did you see
carried
the-
over to
did you see
Sunday
the-
night as well.
Did you see the Penske box truck that blew up?
No.
It had a leaking.
That wasn't a Penske truck. It
They
was,
said it
it
was.
was plain white.
They said it was a Penske
They have white
rental.
ones.
Oh,
Just there was a ring camera of a Penske box truck driving by a house, and then poof, it's gone. There was a leaking propane tank in it, and it just kaboom. The driver was fine, apparently. Walked away. They found him walking around the area when they got there, and there was just
Wow.
nothing left of the truck.
Jesus.
Yeah, the video is insane. It looks
Bad
like an
week for
airstrike
Penske.
hits it.
Yeah, that's really all I have
Yeah,
for
obviously-
news bits.
a lot of speculation going on with Tim Cindric getting fired, what the future holds for Austin Cindric. Obviously, he's kind of aging into his cup role.
Yeah.
He's starting to get more consistent. Obviously, he's doing decent in points. He already has a win this year.
I think
Right?
Austin
He
is
won this year already.
Yeah, I think Austin is perfectly safe, but I think his leash is gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think if he continues doing what he's doing, he's perfectly fine.
Right.
He trips and falls and starts performing like 2 years ago, Austin Cindric.
Yeah.
That leash is a whole hell of a lot
He-
shorter now.
Thankfully for him, he's having the best season of his career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In terms of consistency. I mean, he's already setting career bests this far through the season. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. I have nothing else to add. That's spot on.
Yeah.
That he's fine as long as he stays at least this good.
He slips a little bit. It's no longer, because how many, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
we're like, he's only there because his dad's
It's
a part
fine
of
to be the
Penske.
third best on the team. There's always going to be a third best. But if there is a large gap to the third best, you're gone.
Yeah, the leash
Similar
is.
conversation to Hendrick. Oh, you're the 4th Hendrick car. Yeah. I'd rather be the 4th Hendrick car than the best car on 7 of the other teams.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
But I would say my one addition to that is Austin, solely based on performance, I'd say he's good. But if there is any bad blood between Roger Penske and Tim Cindric, I don't know if he keeps Austin around.
No, I don't think
Like
he
you're
would.
going to keep the puppy of the dog that just shit all over your house kind
yeah,
of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there
Great,
might
great
be,
analogy.
he might be driving well,
That was
but he You
Too
just
good.
fired
Every now
his
and then he
dad.
gets it.
You're now pissed at his dad professionally and
Right.
probably
Personally.
like emotionally, personally.
Yeah.
And you're gonna keep his son around.
Feels
I
very.
mean,
It feels very mobbish.
could
Like
see-
you disrespected my family, and he.
Yeah.
That's exactly how
I
it
could
feels.
see
I mean, this whole
a-
thing is a family business.
You
Look at how
disrespected my
many-
businesses.
How many different family members are related to this person and that person?
Yeah,
I
I
will
mean,
say-
Our
Ricky,
sport is like a
Ricky
giant
Harden
group of
has pulled out
carnies,
a
let's be real.
list of all the nepo babies in NASCAR,
And everybody is.
75%
Yeah.
of them, if not
Yeah.
more.
I think Bianchi said
The
it
whole
perfectly.
field.
Bianchi said it perfectly, though. If you are a Penske NASCAR team in the next month and a half, do
Perfection.
not try anything. Do not even. Those cars better be within a fucking 100th
Yeah.
of perfect. Because if they get busted for any little baby thing, it is going to blow the
Penske
fuck
perfect
up.
has never been more important.
Yep.
I will say, though, a clean fix for this, if there is family bad blood and they want to keep the performance there, is Barry and Austin just switch.
I could see that.
And you're like, hey, listen, Austin, you're a decent driver, possibly a good driver, maybe a great driver, who knows? But in our socioeconomic climate in our race team right now,
Yeah.
your name's kind of cursed. So we're going to put you in the building next door. Still enjoy our pit crew, still enjoy our performance, still enjoy our cars. I just don't want to look at you.
Yeah.
And guess what? Josh Berry is having the exact same season you are over there. So
Yeah.
switch them and then kind of like, hey, we're not completely kicking you out, but kind of don't want to look at you for a little while.
Like they did to Skip.
You look like your dad, and I hate that guy right now.
It's
so,
like they
Yeah.
did to Skip. You're not doing too well. You're still in the system, but you're going over there.
yeah.
That was, I don't know. Skips was a demotion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Skips was a kick in the dick.
Well, if you look at it certain ways, though, because now he's helping he's the veteran on a young team, being the coach for the young team.
Oh, I think it's going to pan out for Skip long term.
Yeah.
Very, very well. I think this will position him
Yeah, I
very
think
well
he's looking
to,
at TV
to
long
become
term.
like something in TV or a coach for
Yeah.
one of the bigger teams, stuff like that. Like he could parlay this into a big step up.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a demotion big time. But I
Oh,
think,
yeah,
I think that's a
100%.
good approach, and that might not be too far
Too
fetched.
far
Yeah.
off.
But yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. Any other news bits you guys want to add or get into some race
don't
weekends?
think so. Hold
Let's
on,
just
there
talk
was-
about freaking Prime. Can we skip all the other races and just freaking feast our eyes on that beauty?
NASCAR
Oh, yeah, we can
NASCAR
get
has
there.
added 2 extra starting positions to the Mexico Xfinity race.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of going through.
Yeah, Xfinity. Suarez is going to race Mexico City in,
In
the
the
9,
9.
not SVG apparently.
Yeah,
'Cause
don't,
SVG was signed for the night. I mean, it makes sense. It
yeah,
totally
the
makes
Suarez
sense. But like,
thing,
oh.
I feel like I've been seeing that for weeks on Twitter, X, whatever, and I never really connected the dots that was an SVG signed race
it was
because I just assumed that
because it was
obviously
SVG and Chastain were the only
Yeah,
two that announced
Suarez,
that they were going to do the 9.
you want them on track any chance you get in Mexico because that's going to
100%.
draw the
Okay.
fans in.
So I didn't even read this until right now. So the extra starting spots for the Xfinity race are much like the thing that Elio used at Daytona. They are called international provisionals. A team utilizing the 39th or 40th starting position, if necessary, will not be eligible for prize money, receive driver or team owner points for race or stage finishing position. All vehicles will be elevated and receive points accordingly. So those cars are basically ghost cars.
Yeah.
Receive credit for the win or any playoff benefits, blah, 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 blah. Playoff points, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So
if,
I
if a
didn't-
local team wants to fire something up,
Well,
a Mexico
yeah.
team wants to fire a car. up.
Interesting. So there will be 2
Yeah, or,
provisional spots added.
Another team like Junior Motorsports or JGR wants to add a 5th car
Yep.
Yeah,
for a Mexico driver.
that'd be sick.
The other little bit
Completely
of news
okay with
that
that. I
popped
feel
up.
bad for the announcers.
Yeah. The other news that popped up today a little bit, I think it was on Sirius. NASCAR exec claims that a horsepower boost is on the table and being spoken
Oh yeah,
about
Elton Sawyer
daily.
was on the
Was
morning
it so-
drive.
was it Elton?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Elton Sawyer
Oh,
morning
I
drive
also-
this morning.
Just heard that
Those
Elton
Tuesdays.
Sawyer was on the morning drive.
I heard that Elton Sawyer was on the morning drive.
Yeah,
It got
right.
posted like 17 times in
Yeah.
news, so we're just kind of rolling
Oh,
with it.
gotcha.
We're making fun of those degenerates.
So
on
we'll
Discord.
see if that happens at all. I mean, apparently they're talking about it daily.
Well, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. It was nice to hear that they just at least acknowledged it,
Just
and
tell
now
us.
they're directly addressing it. So
yes.
what
I
else?
mean,
We
it's-
can't ask for anything else other than do it.
Yeah, it's been
But-
the number one talking point since they introduced the 550 package.
Good.
Is more horsepower means better racing, or theoretically, we have no idea with the next gen car what makes good racing at this point. But it's
Yep.
been asked for years, and NASCAR's answer was always impossible,
Yeah.
inconceivable,
So this is a direct.
unequivocally
This is a.
imputable. Like they
direct-
just refuse to do it.
This is a. He just took everything away he did a couple minutes ago.
No, I thought that was actually pretty
Okay. This is a direct quote.
It's good
This is a direct quote from Elton Sawyer in the interview. I know John Probst has had a conversation with our engine builders to see what we could do, how that would look, and what changes would need to be made. It is on the forefront. It is on the table, and something that we're discussing daily. This is the most we've heard about this in like 5 years.
Yep. And I think it's wonderful, and I'm not going to ask for any more. I'm not going to criticize it. Thank you. They admit it. They acknowledge it. They're talking about it.
Let us know
That's
when
all
you
we can
figure it
ask.
out. Let us know. And it doesn't need, like I've said 100 times, it doesn't need to be everywhere because I don't think they need more power. What we watched this weekend, it looked fine. Just the damn short tracks and the road courses.
All we've ever wanted for them to bring the idea to the table and
Yep.
talk about it.
Facts.
Right. It's
I
just
Now they're going
annoying.
to talk to the teams. They're going to talk to the engine builders. The engine builders have been outspoken saying that, yeah, we could do it.
Yep.
Who's
But
the first
NASCAR
person they're going to ask? The engine builders.
Engine
Yeah,
builders.
but NASCAR has said for years now, oh no, the engine builder said we can't do it. And then
The engine builders are
Robert
like,
Yates will come out and be like, yeah,
What?
we can do that.
Though at this point, that Yates, Doug Yates, was Doug.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yates
Yeah,
engines
Doug.
came out and
Doug,
said
yeah,
they could
Robert
do it.
was the dad.
He came out and said we could do it. Chevy came out and said that they could do it. The only ones that haven't really said anything, I think, is Toyota. So they're going to go out with egg on their face if they say, "Oh, yep, engine
Yeah,
builders
W,
said
talk
they
to your
can't."
boys, dude.
Yeah.
But like, nope, we said that we could. So
Yeah.
they don't have a leg to stand on at this
Yep.
point. So it's good that they're at least considering it. So we'll see where it goes. Cool. We'll get into the race weekend.
Yes.
Let's hit some buttons.
Oh, not that button.
All right. We had quite a bit of motorsport stuff to talk about this weekend. Obviously, we had Larson doing the double, which went very poorly.
Very poorly. He had a bad,
Just a bad
I
week.
mean, he wrecked the IndyCar 3 damn times.
Yep.
Wrecked it in testing,
Twice.
wrecked it in practice,
Practice, yeah.
wrecked it in the race.
Yep. It just, I think it was Harvick's podcast. I heard it.
Harvick's.
Harvick's.
Yeah.
It's the Ronan.
Just it felt off.
We talked about, he brought this up, I think, last week, that it just didn't feel the same as last year.
Everybody, it was like an overarching like cloud, like that many cars being upside down leading up to the race.
Yeah, the new
that
hybrid.
many cars wrecking.
The new hybrid system, I think they said it added like 150 pounds to the back of the car, and it was just making them, I mean, how
Tail
many cars
happy.
did we see last week in all the practice sessions just be fine, be fine. Well, I'm backwards. I'm upside down.
Yeah, quickly. So yeah, I don't know. It felt weird. And
The
there was
whole thing, and then you get the
McLaughlin before the race.
yeah. Well, then you get the whole thing before the race of Larson has about a 45-minute window. He has
Yep.
45 minutes of extra time because he had a set time. He had to be in a vehicle going to the airport to get on the jet to make it to Charlotte for driver intros.
Right.
That was 45 minutes of buffer time. They said about. There is no rain all day. Gluck was there. He was talking about it, that there was weather in the forecast, but everybody said it's going to go south. He said all morning it was like there'd be a light mist, but not even enough to get anything wet. Like it wasn't a big deal. He said the last note of taps played, and all of a sudden there was like bigger drizzle.
Yep.
He says it wasn't even rain, but he said it was definitely more of a soaking mist the second the last note of taps gets played in the pre-race.
Yeah.
And then we get, what, a 45-minute?
They burn every inch of that window they have.
I mean, the rain delay was like 43 minutes. They finally get the cars going. We're not even underway yet. And Scotty Mack, I mean, I feel for the guy. Warming the tires up. Now, it was cold as hell. I mean, not cold as hell, but it was cold. The track was cold. The tires are cold. He's doing the normal zigzag back and forth and gooses the throttle to get some heat in the tires and just buries the pit wall before the green flag even goes.
And it sucks, too, because it was like the last 10 feet of pit wall, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that look, when he got out of the car and he just head in his hands in the grass, like you've worked. I mean, they've been doing this for a month. You're working all month. That was like, I equate that to back in the day when we had speed weeks and you were actually in Daytona for like 3 weeks and then
Yeah.
you crash on lap 1. It's like all this for nothing, you know?
yeah, it felt terrible.
Felt
for the guy.
terrible for him.
It's just a weird race.
And then you had Marco crashed half a lap in with, there was wrecks all over the place and you're watching every
pit
caution
road
flag.
issues, people losing brakes, people running over their own pit
Yeah,
crew.
Schwartzman
Yeah,
ran over
fire.
his pit crew.
People
That,
catching on fire.
that fire was that was scary. That
Yep.
was like, holy
Just
shit.
Penske nowhere to be seen all day. I don't think I
Yeah.
heard a Penske guy get named once, except for when Joseph Newgarden's car stopped running at the end of the race.
Yes.
Yep.
We didn't hear about Scott Dixon. We didn't.
Well, Dixon was on fire.
McLaughlin already.
Dixon's brakes
Was that-
were on fire.
Dixon
the
was the
start
one that caught on
No,
fire.
at the start of the race. Remember, while Scotty Mack was spinning and hitting the wall, they showed Scott Dixon and his left rear brake was on fire,
Oh,
like
Jesus.
before the race even started. It was a weird 500. Like
It
it just felt weird. Everything felt weird. And then there was
It
that
took
cloud.
all the fun out of it because you just knew you're watching this, and a lot of us are watching as NASCAR fans, just pulling for Larson out of NASCAR love.
He stalls the car early. It's
We
like,
want to have him show up for NASCAR, and we just from the drop of the green after everything that happened, even before the race started, we knew mathematically he could not finish this race.
Right.
At 4 o'clock, he needs to be out of the car running to the helicopter.
Yep.
And we're 50 laps into the race, and there's no way we finish before 4:30.
yeah.
Nope.
I
And
think
then this
Bianchi
caution.
said-
Okay,
Bianchi
now it's
said-
4:40, and then this caution.
Before Larson wrecked, I think Bianchi said he was in line. If the timing worked out, he was going to have to get out with like 40 to go.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even
More than likely,
It wasn't even close.
yeah.
Like it wasn't even like, oh, he's going to be, there's going to be 2 laps to go at his hard deadline. Maybe we could make it up
Push
somehow.
it,
No,
yeah.
it's not.
No.
There was no way in hell.
Yeah, and it's too bad. I mean, obviously this always brings up is he better than Max Verstappen? No, this is Max Verstappen. He's the best
So
driver in the
fucking
world. And he
sick of this
wrecked
conversation.
I just don't
that's so
understand how
annoying.
you can make the comparison because neither of them have ever driven anything close to the other guy.
Right.
Like Max
So,
Verstappen isn't
just-
getting in stock cars or dirt cars every other week. Kyle Larson isn't getting in
Open wheel.
open
things.
wheel, I guess, Indy 500, but that's nothing like they do in
Yeah.
F1.
Or
but
even
he's not getting in go-karts or
GT cars.
GT cars
Max
and
has
shit.
been doing GT stuff at the Nürburgring under a fake name, which is hilarious.
So I just don't see how we could ever compare the two. Larson's better, but it's impossible to compare the two.
I
of them.
just
That being said, the one thing I want to talk about this race is the Larson drama when Scotty Mack
oh my
wrecked.
god, it's such a non-issue.
First of all, we have no idea who said what because the radio was like kind of rough. It probably was Larson, and if it was Larson, and the thumbs up and all that, I 100% understand what he was saying
He's
and what he
sweating
was doing.
He's so frustrated right
None
now.
of that was personally at Scotty Mack.
No.
Scotty Mack took it personally. That's too bad, unfortunately. But that's Larson just being frustrated with the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the
100%.
race has been postponed 43 minutes.
I have 45
You
to
have
spare.
I'm
2
already in
minutes
trouble,
now.
and this moron just wrecks
Yeah,
under.
and now we're not
under
even
caution.
to green, and there's a car wrecked. It's going to take them 3 laps to tow the car.
Yep.
We haven't even gone green yet. Larson's frustrated. He gave him a thumbs up. I don't think that was hey, you're good, buddy, or whatever Corey LaJoy kind of interpreted this.
saw that,
I
yeah.
think that was legitimately like, nice job, dumbass, like what he said or what he supposedly said.
Yeah.
That is,
And
hey,
that's-
dude, like really like,
I 100% stand behind it.
And
If
it's
he was
just
like,
frustrating.
good job, you fucking
It's
moron.
literally put yourself in like it would be like if you have to get to the airport by 6 and you're sitting in traffic and you're watching the minutes go down. You know what? You're getting frustrated. You're like, come on, and then somebody cuts you off or cuts in front of you and slows you down even more. You're like, what, fucking idiot?
Yeah, that's like you get stuck behind an accident in traffic. Like, we're in traffic. We're going 5 miles an hour. How did you just crash into each other? You're an
or
idiot.
a guy blows by you on the highway in a snowstorm, and then 5 minutes later you see him spun out or
I've
stuck in the
played that game before.
stuck off the side of the road. Like, yep, you fucking earned that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah.
I said, I don't think there was any ill will or anything personal about it. It's Larson's mad at the situation,
Of course.
and whoever
And
is in that car,
it-
whether it's Scotty Mack, Scott Dixon, freaking Alex Pillow, and that's all the other only IndyCar drivers I
It
know.
could have been anybody.
No matter who, that could have been the pace car that crashed. Larson's going to be equally as pissed with whoever caused the caution because that just sealed the fate of him not being able to run the extent of the
100%.
race. He
So-
knew he was no longer making 1,100 miles at that moment.
Yeah. And I just
Um,
hate that it opens up between this and what happened in the Cup race. I saw a lot of it yesterday and today of I wish that stupid him versus Max Verstappen thing never happened because now you scroll social media and all you get are the F1 fans that are like, you guys think this guy's better than Max? The people that love Max. I saw so many reels of both of Kyle's wrecks and they're like, oh, this guy can't even turn left right. You think he's better than Max? I saw one that's like, oh, cool. He beats a bunch of plumbers during the week at dirt races. It's like, bro, he beats them at high limit. Like, these are the best dirt racers in the world. Like,
Yeah.
he's
I don't
not going to Seekonk and running the enduros. Like,
I don't think F1 fans are motorsports fans, so I don't give them the time of day.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll
It's
just
none
keep
of them
moving.
knew racing cars in circles existed before 3 years ago when Drive to Survive premiered on Netflix. And then
Yeah.
they're like, F1's the coolest thing in the world. I'm going to designate my entire life to this. Everything else is dumb.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
I saw a lot of comments that were much like us, people saying there was one guy that was just going off about how racing in an oval is stupid, and there was a bunch of people commenting like, "Listen, I watch everything. Like, I'll watch endurance racing, NASCAR, F1, motorcycles. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you just got to have an appreciation." And the guy would respond, "No, that fucking just takes no skill to drive in a circle." And it's just like you're banging your head against the
Now
wall.
you see why I put my stories up.
No, I get
I
it.
have the perfect analogy.
All right, last one, then we're moving on.
F1, IPA.
Yep.
NASCAR, Busch Lights.
I mean, you're not wrong.
The IPA people think they're just, I spent more money and I'm drinking out of a different glass, so I'm better than you. Meanwhile, Busch Lights like didn't even know you existed, bud.
Yeah, pretty
We're
much.
drunk and we're having fun.
That's not a bad analogy.
So ultimately, Alex Pillow takes the checkered flag for his first oval win.
I hated that we had those 2 lap cars out in front at the end because Denny brought it
was
up.
hoping for a dogfight.
Well, Denny brought it up on his show that there was so much passing in Indy because the car out front has so much drag on it. So that's when you see that slingshot. Well, when you got 2 cars in front of him, there's no drag
you
anymore.
can't pass 3.
You can't pass if he's going just as fast as you are because you have his toe and he has their toe. So, like, if those 2 lap cars weren't there, I think it would have been an awesome finish. It just kind of took the wind out of the sails having the 2 lap cars there.
Yeah.
Also,
His move for the lead though
Was
was
sick.
Super
really
smart.
clean.
Surprise, motherfucker, I'm here.
it's
Yeah.
because he knew that, hey,
All I need is that one.
there's no longer a disadvantage to being the leader.
Yeah.
So if
Because
I get a shot,
he was trying to save fuel too.
Who was in second? Erickson.
Erickson, yeah.
was
ended up
like he was
DQ'd
playing
anyway.
it safe. He was keeping his distance, and Pillow just took advantage of it
Yeah.
because he's like, you don't need to play it safe. Just ride in the draft. You're good.
Yeah, I can get up there and lead the race and do exactly what I'm doing now, fuel savings, because I got 2 cars in front of me. And honestly, IndyCar needs to like slide Pillow a check because he saved them from a major PR issue if they had to DQ the winner of the Indy 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After not catching the one that should have been DQ'd the
Last
year
Also,
prior.
Alex Pillow, super cool dude. He was on Dale Jr. Download like 2 or 3 years
I
ago.
remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
Super solid dude. Also, Indy, welcome to Fox.
Oh
For some
my
reason,
God.
they didn't show the leader crossing the start finish line, which is kind of a big fucking
Kind of
deal
the
at
iconic.
Indianapolis.
It's the iconic shot of the car going by, and then they zoom in on the dual checkers. Like they've done it for the Brickyard 400, the Indy 500, every race there. And Fox
crossing the bricks. That's a big deal.
Fox missed it. I read an article that was all the pulled tweets from the internet, and it just felt like I was reading a story about NASCAR. We're 5 laps in. You're already going to commercial. There's been so many commercials. I'm sad that they interrupted my commercials by showing this race. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it felt like the exact same complaints that
My
we
father
had.
texted me during it and complaining about the broadcast.
It's just Fox. It makes me realize that it's not just NASCAR. They just don't know how to do it right.
Oh, also, did you see the funny tweet by Fox after the
Oh,
Cup
yeah.
race?
Yep.
Just so you guys know, the quality of Fox you saw this year doesn't mean that's the same quality we're gonna have next year. We're always looking to improve.
They damage controlled the shit. This was like yesterday morning. They had a tweet
because
from some,
Prime the
As soon as
uproar
Fox is over, I
over
just
how good
unfollowed them.
Prime was. Fox is like, oh shit! Now we have to step
They
up our
damage
stuff.
controlled the shit out of that with that tweet yesterday.
All right, let's get into some other racing. We had a lot going on at Charlotte as well. We had ARCA, Truck, Xfinity, and Cup.
Jesus Christ.
Norm's boy, Mr. Cletus McFarland, came back and ran another race in the ARCA race.
He done muffed up.
Ended up with a good finish, but not before taking out
Half the
not,
field.
not an
4
uneventful
cars.
race.
No.
Half the field. It was about 4 cars it took out.
2. It took out 2 cars.
Well, he took out 2, then everybody else took themselves out into the wreck.
Yeah, but I think only 2 cars got towed away.
Oh, okay. So the rest finished.
Yeah, it was only 2.
Yeah, spun the tires on a restart. Rookie mistake. Absolutely owned it. The first thing he said in his interview, which I thought was a very classy move.
I'm with what Norm said. His crew left him out there to be eaten alive on old
Yeah,
ass tires.
That was not a good
the
move.
You've
problem
never
is-
started on the front row at a track without a
You've
restrictor
never-
When they're
plate.
lining up, I was like, this is a bad
said the
idea.
same thing.
I don't care if it's the front row or the third row. He's never restarted on an oval without a restrictor plate.
Yep.
Ever. He's started one time on brand new tires at the start of that race. In the back. Starting in the 5th or 6th row. Everyone's putzing into gear, going, it's the start of the race. You're restarting on 30 lap old tires on the front row in the high lane. And I don't want to like shame his entire crew. He had obviously Greg Zipadelli in the box, who is world renowned, world class, multi-time champion. Obviously Tony Stewart's right-hand man for many years in the Cup Series. Very, very experienced crew chief. Kevin Hamlin on top of the roof as his spotter. Who I watched Cletus's video. Kevin is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love Kevin Hamlin. He's obviously, you see a bunch of behind the scenes stuff with him and Bowman. They're very good friends. Kevin Hamlin, super cool dude. But dude, him on the radio is so good.
Yeah.
That being said, I didn't hear Greg Zipadelli's voice once on Cletus's video. Whether maybe they weren't getting communication on that channel for his video, or if Greg Zipadelli was just kind of not talking that much. But I didn't hear him talk once. And so I only ever heard Greg Biffle a few times and Kevin Hamlin. So I don't know if Greg Zipadelli wasn't really in it. I don't know if he was kind of just there because they're paying him.
Yeah.
Because the owner normally crew chiefs, but he had to leave for his son's graduation. But I think the team left him out to dry there. I think they gave him not enough information.
Yeah.
Frankly, I think they saw him getting a shot at the front and like wanted the publicity maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe
I just
wanted a
think-
shot at the front.
I think they
and they just made a mistake.
overestimated his ability, or they forgot, because like I said, you got Greg Biffle, Kevin Hamlin, Greg Zipadelli. You got three guys that aren't used to talking to people that have never done this before.
Yeah.
Right.
Kevin Hamlin spots for Alex Bowman,
They
Harrison
have so
Burton.
much experience, and Cletus
You're-
has
Yeah,
nothing.
you're talking to guys that have been racing cars since they were 10 years old.
Right.
Cletus McFarland is talk to me like I'm a 2-year-old because he is so green. He's obviously a very experienced race car driver in other forms of racing, a extremely talented just driver in general.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen him drive, you know he can wheel a car, but he has no experience on oval stuff. He has 2 restrictor plate starts.
Yep.
So I just think they weren't talking to him enough like he didn't know. Because obviously they can tell him as much as they can. Hey, warm the tires up here, shake the tires off, practice a couple starts. But he doesn't know, because he's so inexperienced, how bad the top is. He got out of the car and goes, I didn't even know I was on old tires. Obviously, he knew he had 30 laps on his tires because he hasn't pit.
He didn't realize
But
that meant
he
they
doesn't
were.
realize that means the tires are going to behave completely different than new
Yep,
tires.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
So-
just that I just
Rookie mistake.
think they overestimated his, not necessarily ability, but knowledge.
They could have literally broken it down.
Ability is a good way to put it.
They
He's a
could have.
rookie.
They
Yeah.
could have just broken it down into something he understands. Hey, this restart's going to be like trying to launch at the drag strip without doing a burnout.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
There's no prep on this
no
restart.
prep on this restart.
Yeah,
And,
well,
like,
we don't know. So
but I'm
So-
just saying that would have you. That's
Lot
how
of
you
what ifs.
could have talked to
That
it.
being said,
you know what I
people
mean?
are crucifying him on
Oh my
Twitter,
God, it
even
was
in our
so
Discord.
bad.
This is why YouTubers shouldn't race. I guarantee that dude has more seat time than that entire field almost put together.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
But he has
that's
less
not
seat
why
time
you
at an
don't let a
oval.
YouTuber drive. That's why you don't let a rookie start out front and hang him out to dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could have happened to anybody.
Absolutely.
And he saved the car. Unfortunately, Isabella Robusto
the-
was kind of moving up the same time and clipped him.
Isabella saved him.
Because he was he was
Yeah.
going to save it. He pedaled it. He got stuffed from behind. He got hit on the left front. It sucks. He spun the tires, but I mean, he had Carson Hocevar standing right there. Carson's like, I did the exact same thing and lost a truck race here 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Everyone's done it. They were saying over the radio, hey, warm your tires up. Hey, top's going to be a little dirty. But that
You have
Cletus doesn't speak NASCAR. He's new. So they needed to be
He
more
doesn't have-
concrete with the instructions.
when
I
you
think.
tell him the top's going to be dirty, he doesn't have a like control. He doesn't have a control line to know, okay, it's going to be worse than this or worse than I felt at
Yeah,
this
because he
track.
said
Yeah.
he tested a couple launches going down the back stretch, and he's like, all right, it's gripping fine, all right. And he gets to the front stretch, and obviously you're now in the outside lane. That's not where you normally race, so it's dirty. On the back stretch, he's on the top, spinning his tires. And it's good. It's still gripping good because Greg Biffle's on the radio. Hey, practice starting. See how the rear tires spin. And he's getting it, but he's in. That's the lane you race. So there's
Yeah.
rubber there. It's
Yeah.
clean.
But ultimately, he owns it. So had a great interview at the end. Owned his mistakes.
Yep.
He's learning from it. Still comes home with the best finish of
Yeah,
his very
P9.
short
He'll
career.
be back
so.
at Bristol.
Yeah,
I don't think this
planning
is
on
gonna
Bristol,
scare him
so we'll
away.
see.
No.
no, not at all.
He
So
did.
We'll
he,
keep moving.
he did get in trouble for hitting the pace car. They made
Yeah,
him come
that
to the
was
hauler
dumb.
after the race, say not to hit the pace car.
Yeah,
don't do that.
that's
It's-
trying to make content.
It's against the rules in ARCA, apparently.
Well, it's against
That's
the
the
rules
rules
They
and
everywhere.
said specifically ARCA. I'm like, that's against the rules. In
Yeah, pretty sure
every
Kyle Busch
series.
got a PP
Yeah.
whack when he did it at
Well,
Loudon.
Kyle did it a bit egregiously.
Yeah,
like
Kyle,
Martin
like-
Truex did it a couple years ago when
Junior was in the
no
Junior was-
who was this? Sherry Pollux was driving the
oh,
pace car.
didn't somebody hit it when Junior was driving it too? Wasn't it Kyle Busch? I
Yeah, it was
think.
Kyle Busch.
Kyle
yeah.
Busch
Yeah,
walked
Kyle
up
Busch
and
also
bump
hit it
drafted
when
him.
his wife and Brexton were in there.
Yeah.
Samantha
But,
and Brexton were in it.
Truex
The loud,
hit it
the
when
loud
Sherry
one when he
was
popped
driving
the
it.
bumper off the Camry was hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that
good.
he got in trouble for. He had to pay for that to get fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll keep moving here. We'll move on to the top three series. We got Truck, Xfinity, and obviously Cup. The North Carolina Education Lottery 200 for the truck race.
I had this on, but I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, decent name though.
Yeah.
Decent.
North Carolina Education / lottery. Like, weird.
No,
Weird combo.
Hey man, that's just
Well, no,
public
that's-
schools in America,
yeah,
man.
it's
It's a
like
lottery
every-
if you get an
Yeah,
education.
the lottery funds the public schools, so it's
I hope nobody wins but the kids.
Buy these scratch offs so we can get some pencils for your
dude.
kids.
That's literally how I know New Hampshire state lotteries like that. It benefits the schools.
Gamble away your alimony so these
Buy
kids
some
can get some notebooks.
Brother,
Buy
the
some
guys,
scratchers and we might turn the lights on this
brother, the
week,
guys
all
I
right?
work with, I'm surprised all the schools don't have jacuzzis in every room. The amount of fucking scratchies I have to pull out of our work trucks every week,
Xfinity had the BetMGM 300 and obviously the Coca-Cola 600.
which is the mother of all names.
Yeah.
Although I still think, did you see Dale's tweet today?
Yes.
World 600.
Talking about, he does it every time.
Yeah. One of these days that's going to shatter.
Yep.
Good. I hope it fucking does. That's good content.
He Junior said today he was very excited to hear how many times the World 600 was mentioned during the Coke 600, and he was like, "Why can't we just do like World 600 presented by Coke or Coca-Cola presents the World 600?"
We do that with everything else, and it's 10 times longer, so I
Yeah.
don't see why not. Truck race. Heim put on an absolute clinic, as
whipping.
always. Led 98 of 134. Runner-up was Ross Chastain, behind by like 6.5
Yeah, he was
seconds.
gone.
So, yeah, not a whole lot to talk about there.
I am kind of bored with the Heim time. Like,
Heim's, well, I got a couple stats that were kind of fun. Heim's first victory at Charlotte,
Yeah.
4th of the season, 15th of his Truck Series career, tying him with Matt Crafton for 10th all time. I thought Crafton had more than that.
I thought he had more than that too.
Yeah. At age 22, he is the youngest to reach the 15-win milestone.
Did you see during the
So,
broadcast
I pulled up the list.
Did you see the broadcast? The little comparison with him and Kyle Busch at this many starts.
No.
It was a mirror. Like top 10, top 5 wins, average finish. They were all like right in lock stock. Almost exactly the same numbers over and over again. You all right over there?
Everybody in here just kick shit, drop shit.
I'm good.
I was just in my head. They just kind of fell back a little bit. I caught him.
Yeah, I heard it.
I'm good. I haven't done anything yet. So
I
I'm
pulled up
due.
the whole list here. Heim being 15th, obviously tied with Matt Crafton. Looking at the people that are ahead of him, he will catch Ted Musgrave next with 2 more wins, which is also a tie with Greg Biffle. So both
the
of
next-
them he was going to pass this season.
So probably before we get to Pocono. How many
Yeah.
races do we have before Pocono?
I think 2. Then Setzer, and then he's got Bodine, Sauter, Sprague, Skinner, Hornaday Jr., and Kyle Busch to catch.
Yep.
Obviously, Kyle Busch and Hornaday Jr. are a very long, long ways
Yeah.
away.
I don't think anyone will ever catch the way it's set up now. No one will ever catch Kyle Busch because no one stays in the Truck Series that long. And once you move up, you're only getting 5 races a year. It's not like the old days when Kyle Busch ran every fucking truck race.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's no one stays in trucks long enough.
Found the refill.
Yeah, I could not find it.
Did Steph tell you where it was?
No, I eventually tripped over it.
He just scooped it out of the dog bowl.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like looking at the fridge. I was like, where the fuck is this thing?
Yeah, right there. Fresh bottle in there for you. So yeah, that does it for the truck race. Didn't have a whole lot else.
There
to
wasn't
talk
much happened in that race.
Yeah.
I guess Lane Riggs made a pretty sick ass save.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I don't remember it.
Yep. His win is the largest margin of victory ever at a Charlotte.
What was it? Give me a
like
number.
6.5 seconds.
Yeah,
It's pretty
Actually, I wrote
average.
it down 6.2. Way above average.
that's way above average.
Yeah. All right. Xfinity has the BetMGM on Saturday. I was listening to a lot of this on the Sirius XM. Absolutely horrendous call to the checkered flag. Horrible.
Really?
Yeah, it was so bad.
It's kind of a horrendous ending, to be honest.
I had no idea how the pass happened. They just like said it, and they're like, William Byron, the checkered flag. I'm like, wait, no one said white. I didn't hear white.
Yeah.
I didn't hear how the pass. I didn't hear if it was high, if it was low. He said a little bit of contact, and Byron's winning. Like,
Huh?
what?
Yeah. I
Horrible call.
I DVR'd this and watched it late. I mean,
I was outside in the garage doing a bunch of work in the shop side, like organizing shit, whatever. So I literally walked inside to watch the last.
I'm gonna get you a TV for out there.
I have a TV out there.
Oh, okay.
I was just listening.
Yeah.
I had the TV going
Oh, okay.
earlier, but then I went inside and put it on the actual big TV and like rewind it. I'm like, what happened? I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Horrible call. But yeah,
I loved those cars were all over the place.
Yeah.
I know we're going to talk about it in the Cup race, but Charlotte is finally aging to perfection.
Yeah.
It took a long time. They did that repave friggin' 10, 15 years ago, and they tried some new style of pavement and paving, and it was awful. I think I read somewhere that back then it was actually kind of like how sports fields are. There's like rubber in
that's
the
what I've
asphalt.
always compared it to, is like a track and field track behind your school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like chewed up tires and stuff.
It was when it was they were trying to basically save money because they didn't want to have to repave it in 10 more years. This was supposed to be a long lasting, ages slowly, and that was before Dale Jr. had his podcast and told everyone how good aged racetracks are. And now they're paving Atlanta with something that aged as they were putting it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's finally starting to age. The bumps in 3 and 4 are unbelievable to watch. Any of the cars, next gen, Xfinity, trucks, when they got in those bumps, it was like, oh boy,
All three of
I
them
think
put on really good
the
shows.
bumps are amazing for watching the race.
probably sucked to drive.
I do feel bad for the drivers.
They look
Like,
like they're getting
obviously-
tossed around in there, especially in the Cup car.
Denny was
There was
saying he
a
had to change his headrest after practice because of how much he was jostling around in the headrest. They said they actually, because what happened was he had it too tight, so it was hitting, and then it was recoiling back, and then it was just he was stuck in that perpetual motion.
Right.
So they said they actually made it a little bit bigger so he could have a little more room and it wouldn't spring back into the other side. And he said it helped a little bit, but he said he still felt it. Like every time you got into the
Yeah.
bumps, it was like being on an old, like one of the original roller coasters that went upside down and your head would just back and forth
Right.
between the. So I just think this track, watching all 3 races, even the next gens, which are normally slot, I thought you say somebody slot cars,
Mm-hmm.
even they were all over the place.
Yeah.
And the Xfinity cars were, it was so good to watch those things.
really
It was
was.
an awesome race.
Xfinity race, really good race. Not a whole lot to like specifically write home about.
No, it's
aside
kind of the
from
William Byron
Allgaier's-
500
It
thing.
was.
Allgaier blowing it. I mean, just a bad call to not come in for tires at what, like 20 to go?
Yeah, 20
something
to
like
go?
that. Yeah, he had like 30 laps on his tires, 20
Minus
to go.
OT, so it would have been like, 20 laps.
Yeah, 20 to
Yeah,
go.
I think there was a little bit more, but they got some quick yellows.
Yeah, so there was miscommunication. There was a caution with like 20, 25 to go, and everybody comes in. And,
Lap 180.
Okay, out of what, 200?
Okay, so I
So-
thought there was more. Dude.
Well, they ended up with 205. 'cause
Yeah.
the OT.
So they're coming around under caution, and I think he had been having radio troubles. I think if I remember correctly.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So I think the crew chief, when they played it back, the crew chief was like, "Tell him to pit up to the spotter," and the spotter was like, "Pit, pit, pit," and then he just drove right by.
Got it.
And-
Okay, that makes sense.
I heard multiple things that I heard something today that he made that call. It's not that he didn't hear it; he just drove by, saying, "No, I'll be fine." If
Yeah.
that's the case, he fucked up. If he didn't hear them, okay, then that's a whole different story. I don't really
I
know
think-
what happened.
that was veteran Justin Allgaier being like, "I'll take ownership of it.
Yeah,
I don't want to
throw everybody
dog
else on
crap
it.
my
Yep.
team here."
Yep.
They played the radio over and over again, and I think you heard like the second half of "Tell him to pit," because on the radio you just hear like "to pit," so it almost sounded like "don't pit."
Well,
which
then the
I
spotter
think
goes
was
pit,
kind of
pit,
the
pit.
if, because they said "pit, pit, pit" as he's passing it. I think he was probably distracted watching the cars behind him.
Seeing
The
who,
two or
yeah,
three cars right behind him didn't have any tires left.
Creed and somebody else.
Yeah,
had
so
already
they
eaten
weren't
up all
pitting
of
no
it.
matter what. So I think he saw them and went, "All right, I'm going to stay out because they're staying out. That must be the call." I think Justin just made a mistake. I don't know if it was intentional. I'm not going to pit now. Fuck whatever you guys say, or if it was just a mistake or he misheard them. But I think just Justin being the professional team player that he is, I think he was just going to take ownership of it.
Yeah.
Rather than throw his crew chief or spotter or somebody under the bus for maybe breaking up over the radio or misunderstanding them. I
Yeah.
think he was just like, "Hey, listen, at the end of the day,
Crap.
it's
Now
my
you're
job to
dropping
turn the
stuff.
steering wheel." So I think he just took ownership of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Despite kind of blowing it there, ends up bringing it home 4th and still maintains a 72-point lead over 2nd place.
Yep.
So he's doing just fine. Also, after the race, the number 8 of Sammy Smith disqualified for failing to meet minimum weight requirements.
DQ'd.
Race. So a DQ for the 8 car.
And he didn't jump over the chicane on the front stretch.
Did not launch.
Jesus.
Didn't lose any weight. Anything else you want to touch on for the Xfinity race, or just go to the Cup?
No, they were perfect.
Yeah, great races. I think the Cup race was absolutely fantastic as well.
It
Very
was-
good race. I think all 4 of the JRM guys, 5 if you count Byron, because I don't care what anyone says, it's a JRM car. They were all fantastic all throughout the day. They were
Yeah.
definitely the strongest team. I think Carson Quapple was kind of getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yep.
But the other three, I mean, Zilich was up there all day. Sammy Smith wasn't far behind.
Yeah, Zilish brought home
So,
second.
yeah, it's a good day for them. Very good day for Zilich. Another good day on Sunday for him as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was
Getting into
a great
Sunday,
weekend.
Byron put on an absolute clinic for the vast
Hated it.
majority of the race.
Yeah. I mean, he won both stages on Saturday, won
All
all
three
three
stages.
stages on Sunday.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like
Oh, sorry.
I was saying, his dominance, it was
Sorry.
like, holy
Yeah,
shit.
he didn't lose a stage he went for.
Ultimately,
No, you're
didn't
true. Very true.
didn't get it done though. Towards the end, I thought it was just a badass race in general.
Kyle?
Like, see what?
Did you hit record?
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't see the time. I only see.
Oh no, that's not good.
I just looked over to see how far we've gone, and I see the clock, not the.
Something happened.
Can we pull the YouTube audio?
Yeah, maybe.
We've done that before with Josh, haven't we?
Yeah, that's probably the case. That's unfortunate.
All right, take it from the top.
I just happened to look over because I wanted to see how far we've gone. I'm like, that's the current time, not the run time.
Yeah, I didn't touch anything. That's weird. Ran out of space. That's why.
Oh,
We'll have to pull it from the YouTubes.
I think we've done that before.
That'll be messy
Yeah, it's not going to be fun. But
because
we'll have to do
YouTube
it
has
anyway.
the off track on it as well.
Yeah, it does. But we'll figure it out. Just have to find out where. Then we can patch them together.
Maybe.
Anyway, we'll just keep digging.
I apologize. I just looked over and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not right.
No, it's not. But we're live, so
Yeah,
we can get it.
it's
from
fine.
there.
We'll figure it out.
All right. So cup race.
Yeah, I mean, Byron dominated, but
The Briscoe Blaney Suarez one, taking out Larson for his attempt at least finishing one of the races.
Well,
I think that didn't that finished him off.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was already. I mean, I think they had finally, because he spun early in the race, stepped on his own dick when he was leading the race, spun off a 4, slides down through the grass, well, turf, whatever. They spend, I mean, every caution or every pit stop from there on out, they're under the hood. They got the tow bars out.
Yeah,
They're,
before that, he bounced off the wall pretty bad in 3 and 4.
I forgot about that.
In like the middle, he got over the bumps, kind of bounced him up in the wall. He hit it good, and then he spun out a couple laps later. I think the toe was probably dinked,
Yeah.
or he might have spun out after that, but it wasn't from the contact. It was he got out of the turn and kind of like Carson Hocevar in qualifying, just looped it out of the corner.
Yep.
No harm, no foul
But they
there,
had
but the
been-
contact with the wall, I think, bent something.
Yeah, they had been working on that thing the whole race, and he was finally I mean, he was down in the 30s fighting. I mean, he was on the he was the first car in the lead lap. He got the lucky dog at one point, and I think he was finally starting to come back through the field. I don't think he had winning speed, but he could have had a respectable day.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't even really remember what happened. I know Suarez got out of it. Wasn't it too many cars going for one spot? And
Yeah, it was 3 wide out of the corner.
Yep.
Blaney was up high on the wall. Briscoe was middle, and Suarez was low. I think Suarez was kind of coming up like he cleared the 19.
Yeah,
pinched
he
him a-
faded up.
And
enough.
he didn't make contact. He didn't slam in the wall or anything, but he came up enough that the 19 reacted.
Yeah.
And kind of went up into Blaney, and that pinched all 3 of them together. Unfortunate. Obviously, Suarez needed to have a good day. Briscoe qualified on the pole, so kudos to him for that. Was kind of in the process of recovering from a couple issues he had early. I think he had a penalty at the beginning of the race. Blaney just was dog slow all day.
All
But I
3
think they
Penske
were
cars
all-
were.
They were all like low teens at the time when that happened. I don't think they
Maybe.
were buried in the pack. I think they were kind of
Yeah.
all making a comeback.
And then Suarez just spun. I mean, he hit Haley. And
yeah,
then
it just shot him across the
it
track.
shot him across track. He caught Haley. That spun him around even more into a spin cycle. Larson went
No,
down.
it didn't. He didn't turn at all.
No,
he's
just
coming down the
missiled.
track.
Yeah.
Takes out Haley.
No, I'm saying
still
when he took Haley, I thought it sent him spinning, and then he hit Larson.
Oh no! Like Suarez kept coming down the track, took out 2 cars in the same direction.
Yeah.
He barely turned at all.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It destroyed the back of Larson's car, like ripped that whole rear suspension out. He was done at that
Yeah,
point.
the rear wheel was. He
Hanging on
hit
for
it
dear
square
life.
in the
Oh,
wheel.
yeah.
Just like we saw that. What was it, the Blaney hit that was square in the wheel too when he tried to sneak through?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A couple. That was earlier this year or last year. Yeah.
That was
I
this
remember that. Yep. That was
How
messy.
about Hocevar, huh?
Dude.
Good run.
I
for
mean,
him.
there's a lot of guys worth mentioning in the front. To
Yeah.
be honest,
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
week.
but I thought Hocevar, I mean, there was times where he would power past. He'd go up to 3rd place, 2nd place. He would, off a restart, at that point, Denny and Byron were just battling back and forth. And then all of a sudden, here comes Hocevar out of nowhere, and then you just feel for him on a restart. Obviously, everyone instantly thinks money shift or he screwed up, but then you listen
Which
to
is hard to do on these. We haven't seen that since the first year.
Not
with,
even
Denny
money shift.
Hamlin coming out.
And
of
it's
the
usually coming off a pit road.
Yeah.
and not even money shift, but like maybe just hit the chip too long and
Yeah,
something
or
breaks,
you
but then,
you go up instead of coming down.
But then you watch the in car, it was fine. Didn't even hit the chip.
Yeah,
and
it
it
just
just
blew
that
up.
motor
Yeah,
just
just
blew
grenaded.
up, and his in car audio was phenomenal.
Is that the first Hendrick motor we've seen go? Because we've seen a
no,
Ford
Bowman
go.
blew up.
Bowman
at
blew up?
Bristol.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Yep. Bowman was popping in it or smoking at Bristol and then blew up.
Yep. Okay.
Hi, Lindsay.
What's
she
up?
went to Islands of Adventure. Hell yeah.
I think
Nice.
Yo,
Bowman.
for an 8th grade field trip, you guys went to Universal? Damn. Kids, you gotta go move to Florida.
I think we went to DC.
I mean, I went to
don't think
DC
I
too.
went.
I went to
Everybody
But,
went to DC except us.
DC. No, and Ryan Hathaway's daughter, who all her school trips have been to like Japan and Europe. That's why she wasn't at Dust Off. She was in Europe for a school trip.
Yeah. Well,
Pardon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt so bad for him. And then the in-car audio was great. I don't know if you went back and watched it. His spotter thought he had a tire rub. So he goes off in the corner, smoke starts pouring out of the car. Spotter's like, we got a tire rub, be ready. And then you hear Carson, it blew up, it blew up, it blew, and then he gets hit, so it cuts off.
yeah.
Busher hits him, they pancake in the wall, he spins down, his spotter's like, all right, just get it rolling here if you can. That's when you get it fucking blew up.
Yeah.
Like,
Which I listened to DJD a little bit of it anyway, and Junior was pumped about that. He goes, "We even had a couple of F-bombs."
Yeah.
And he goes, "We didn't even have to apologize for it."
Yeah.
Because that was one of the first things we said was Prime streaming. Can they swear?
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to intentionally swear, but it's kind of like we don't really have to apologize if one comes out naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, tough for Carson. Obviously, Spire is just getting better and better this year. All three of the cars qualified well.
Yep.
They're running up front. Obviously, McDowell had the pole at Texas or something, right?
Sounds right.
Something
it was
like
a
that, I
mile
don't
and a
know.
half. It wasn't like a plate race.
Maybe Vegas.
Yeah, something like that. So they've had a little bit more speed. Carson, they've been giving him props. I mean, he's buried in the points, but he's been getting a lot of stage points and stuff.
They just got to
His finishes
they
are
just
not
put it all together.
Yeah, they just have to finish the damn race.
I think the best way to describe him, and it's not an uncommon way, is like he's a dart without feathers, and every once in a while he'll get a couple to stick on there, and they don't
But even
stay
then-
forever. But he's got speed. It's
Vegas.
just putting a full race together.
But even then,
was
Hocevar,
Vegas.
some of the
It was Vegas.
it's the thing with Carson is obviously everyone wants to call him, like you said, a dart without feathers, and he's wrecking equipment and all this stuff. But there's been a lot this year that hasn't been his fault.
Yeah.
Motor blows up, he gets caught up in somebody else's crap.
Yeah.
There has been other stuff as well, not just him screwing it. But
unfortunately, somebody like him, Ross Chastain, it's like you keep doing it,
Yeah.
and then once you stop, you're gonna kind of still get blamed for doing it.
younger Larson,
Yeah, John Hunter, he needs to dig himself out of the kind of hole he put himself in, being in the middle of a bunch of crashes last year and the year before.
He's
And,
doing a pretty good job of it so
and
far.
this year, it's like just stay clean, and that way, when something happens, we don't immediately blame you.
what is going on at Legacy?
right.
That
Yeah.
42 car,
Yeah.
this is now 2 weeks in a row. The All-Star race last week.
Yeah, the 43 snuck into the top 10 for
Yeah.
a little bit. It has a lot. Corey LaJoy talked about it a lot. He talked about it a bit this week on the broadcast, which he was great. The metric. You all of
Yep.
a sudden you start finishing well, and that puts you in a little better position qualifying.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it just
Snowballs.
We
just
talked about
builds up and builds up and builds up.
We talked about it last year when Corey was going through all that shit, that he was on the opposite end of it.
Yeah.
Denny's talked about it on his show with the last couple weeks of him
Well,
having.
he's worried right now he might not potentially make the or he's going to get screwed when they start that March Madness bracket.
Oh, true.
Is if he keeps getting bad finishes, it's going to put him on the bottom of the bracket, so he's going to week 1 go up against Byron
Yeah.
and shit like that because it's going to put him on the opposite end.
Yeah. But he talked about it, I think, last week after the All-Star race that he's like, our main focus now is to just get a good finish to get us out of, we had like 3 weeks in a row where he's had to qualify early because of the metric, because he was, he blew up and then
Yeah.
had a bet, all that stuff.
He's still great in points, but it's
Didn't have a great finish.
Yeah.
Because what's the metric? Points, finishing position, fastest lap.
Yeah.
And something else. If
Yeah.
there's another
Well,
one,
Denny
too.
did get the fastest lap.
I noticed
did.
that, yes.
and he still salvaged a decent finish. Obviously, he was top 2 speed all day.
Yeah.
Right.
It was him and
I just,
Byron.
He got a lot of
were
points on
toss
the day
up,
too. So.
Yeah.
but he finished 16th overall.
but I mean,
so.
getting down to the end, that last like 100 laps between Byron and Hamlin was unreal because
Yeah.
it wasn't like we've seen it before with the next gen car. Usually the first car will break away. The second car will stay kind of close, but not like within striking distance. Then they usually have like 8 seconds on everybody else. Hamlin was in his back bumper. Was in the entire last run. They were swapping the lead back and forth. Denny was basically saying that how the air was with the car here, that once you got out front, it made the car super loose. So you could see it. He said, I saw Byron fighting it when I was behind him, and I'd get in front of him, and all of a sudden my car's loose as hell, and he'd get back around me, and we're doing it back and forth.
Not to mention, it's almost working as it should. Is you're heating your stuff up to get past him.
Yep.
And now that you're in front, you need to wait for your stuff to cool down, and by the time you do, he cools his stuff down. He gets by you. So, I mean, it was fantastic racing, start to finish in this race.
I thought it was awesome.
The broadcast, let's just say,
Yeah,
real
let's
quick,
get to it. I mean,
Ross
obviously,
Chastain won the race overall. Good for him.
Chastain came out of nowhere.
first
at the end.
person to go from back to front without a penalty in like
Since
40
since
years.
1969.
Backup car, I think, is worth mentioning. 100%.
Oh, yeah. He wrecked in practice.
That crew, this is the best part about them being in Charlotte. They were able to haul the primary off to the shop, take all the good parts, put it on the backup car, and they were able to tune the backup car at home base and bring it back to the track for the next morning to start the race. So huge shout out to his road crew and his shop crew. They stayed up until 2:30 in the morning.
They said
we're
some
back
of them were
at the shop at 5:30 to get ready to go to the track. Then the race didn't end until almost midnight, or the post race.
He was what in that last run? He came from like 9 seconds back.
Yeah.
Just ran the two of them down.
Denny and Byron got stalled up by the 45, having an incident in front of them.
Or the 45.
The 22.
Speaking of home, before we go off of that, how was that not a caution?
That was nuts.
I thought that's a NASCAR caution all day when Reddick gets sideways.
You want to know why it wasn't a NASCAR caution?
Clobbered the fucking wall.
I called it. Want to know why it wasn't a NASCAR caution? Because it would have benefited Denny Hamlin.
True.
Because he was about to run out of gas, and NASCAR's like, isn't that bitch suing us?
I honestly will give NASCAR credit for not throwing the caution. I'm not saying I wanted one there, but when they showed the replay, I was like,
I'm surprised.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
We've thrown the caution for a hot dog wrapper on the track, and you just had a car.
Yeah, fantastic finish.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a massive Ross Chastain fan. I am a big Justin Marks fan. I think he's a cool-ass dude. I like the whole organization, and Ross is not a boring winner.
No.
Yeah.
You're going to get, hate him or love him, you're going to get a very happy, very
excited.
What's the word I'm looking for? Like, he acknowledges the importance of it.
Real. He's not a robot.
Not quite AJ, but pretty close.
Yeah, he's a thankful winner.
The killer burnout. The
he
watermelon
makes you feel
smash
it.
is a good time. He's great at promoting his brands.
Yes.
All of them.
He got his
He's
hat
so
stolen.
good at it.
He needs a media girl out front with a towel. Whoever brings them the drinks and stuff after the race, they always show up with a bag. Somebody needs to be on the start-finish line with him. Whoever brings the watermelon, bring a towel.
Because
every time he ends up with a seed in the weirdest spot. And he does his entire post-race interview with a goddamn seed stuck to his face.
But he runs into
hand him the watermelon, hand him a towel.
He runs into the crowd. He's handing people the watermelon. They're taking bites out of it.
He puts on such a good show.
I'm not a massive Ross Chastain fan.
Chastain.
What do we want that waste?
Oh, I hate it when he does. I hate it when he does that.
But he is an
voice.
exciting guy to see.
Did you see this?
Let's get to it.
Hold on. Did you see the somebody stole his hat video?
Yes, I did.
Dude, what the? How does that happen? We've been on pit road. We know we've seen the security people. How does that guy get that close?
I can tell you, that guy's never going to do it again.
He's never going to do it again. That's for damn sure.
He was caught by security, and they're going to
that VIP,
revoke any access he ever has
that
again.
name is on the blackest of blacklists.
For
the
sure.
deepest, darkest, blackest list.
Let's just get to it. Amazon Prime.
100 out of 10.
So good.
One race. Everybody knows the rules. 10 out of 10 stars.
I miss
my only complaint, and I think they're going to clean this up right away, is pre-race.
I missed all the pre-race.
They had, the booth, sitting there right in the grass, and it was Carl Edwards, Corey LaJoy, Daniel Trotta, and the crowd was really close to them, and it was really loud, and it was coming through the mics. And they brought Blaney up at one point, and Blaney can't even think. He's like, I'm going to let them finish first.
Another one.
And then Corey's pumping them up, and it's getting worse.
Yeah.
So that's like my only gripe.
The other one
I think it's the excitement of it being their very first race and stuff like that.
They didn't have someone behind them going, all right, guys, relax.
The other gripe I
there
had
were people
was
taking their shirts off.
They got to figure out how to interview drivers with their helmets on.
Oh,
they stuck that mic in Larson, and all you could hear was the blower fan. No, you could hear. You hear your computer right now?
Yeah.
That's all you could hear was a.
I know. I watched the whole pre-race,
and I was like, "What is he saying?" Like, we've done this for years. It's not that hard.
I will say, there wasn't a misplaced person on the entire broadcast.
No, I think everybody.
Danielle Trotta, she did a fantastic job, kind of wrangling in Corey and Carl, who are both new at this. She has a lot more experience with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's good friends with Corey. They did the podcast together.
Yep.
They've known each other for a long time. Carl is completely green at this.
You could have
Him
fooled
and
me.
Corey, I don't know who had the tighter shirt. They're going to have to fight that out amongst themselves.
Corey looks like he was wearing paint.
Bro, those two
Yeah.
were both getting a pump on before getting on that stage.
Yeah, they were both doing push-ups
Yeah. I think it's a challenge. Like, if
in
you,
the trailer.
I'm going to quote a movie here. It's kind of a stretch. Anyone seen the first Transformers with Shia LaBeouf?
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Or no, maybe the second one. When he goes to college, he's like, sorry, I'm going to find your friend a tighter shirt.
Yeah.
They don't have one. We checked.
I remember that line.
That
I
was
do
Corey
remember
and
that
Carl.
line.
Yeah.
The shirt, Corey's pants looked like they were
Yeah.
painted on too. Homeboy was.
They
it-
were both.
It winked at me at one point.
They were
Stop
both
looking down there.
so into
Sorry, I
it.
can't.
I think Danielle or somebody shared a picture from inside. They watched it from inside somebody's bus during the race. It might have been Corey's bus. Who knows? But they watched the race from inside the bus because obviously they're just doing end to end on the broadcast.
They popped in a couple
They
times
were-
during the.
Pumped up watching the race. They're both super into it. I cannot get enough of Carl Edwards. I love Carl Edwards.
Yep.
I was a fan of him throughout the years. The fact that he's back, even if we only have him for 5 weeks,
Enough. I'm
it's,
fine.
it's a little teaser.
It's the most Carl we've had since 2017.
I'm hyped he's back.
But-
He is super into it. It's every single guy that gets on stage, William Byron, Ross Chastain, it's like, oh, nice to finally meet you.
Yeah.
Like, they're all so excited to meet him. Him and Corey are having a blast. Danielle's great. Latart Jr., Adam Alexander, the trifecta we didn't
It's-
know we needed.
Perfect.
Kimmy Kuhn in the pits. She's amazing.
Trevor.
We got, Trevor Bain. Surprise. I was joking with my dad. My dad bought a Trevor Bain Xfinity car a couple years ago. He goes, Trevor Bain's back. This thing's going to be worth something when he came into a couple races in the 20
Oh,
car.
yeah.
He goes, this thing's going to be worth something. So during the race, I was talking to my dad. We were watching the pre-race together, and I was like, he's broadcasting now. Your diecast ain't worth shit.
Gotta put that diecast on top of the TV.
I just thought the graphics package was so clean, so clear, so easy to read.
Dude, I love the visuals.
The visuals were unbelievable. I
The
want to.
fact that they had a real stage
Yep.
that wasn't just some bullshit green screen.
Oh, dude.
That was
Yeah.
a real stage.
That you posted on our story, I think this morning. That intro,
yeah.
that wasn't just an intro for Charlotte. If you watch it, they're at the Pocono Inn. There's the sign that says like "Welcome to the Pocono Mountains." They're in Michigan. They had the that old Cadillac with the Michigan plates on it, and the two guys sitting there like they had they looked like a bachelorette party at Nashville, but all the while they're showing old clips, new clips, current day NASCAR stuff from the 70s, the 80s. It was. I could watch that, just inject that into my veins. That like minute and a half little intro package they did there with Eric Church and was it Fogarty?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. The graphics package during the race, awesome. The
Super
camera,
clean,
the-
easy to read.
the camera work. We didn't have any unnecessary zooming. They were showing, I mean, there was one point during the race, they were zoomed in on, they were showing the battle for like 19th for like 7 laps.
Yeah.
Because nothing else was going on. So they didn't just show us the leader farting around. They were showing us, I don't remember who it was, but it was like 3 cars fighting for like 19th and 18th, and it was awesome.
Yeah, the ticker on the side, super clean and professional looking. The little pop up images when they were focusing on it, Brad Keselowski or something like that had all his stats on
Yep.
it. There wasn't really any wasted information on the screen.
Nope.
The lap counter at the top, they did it like CW.
I love the stage.
Total
Ugh.
laps in the race, and then lap stages, and caution comes out, giant caution thing. The Jimmy Johnson Phantom Arms, they kept showing that. It was a little weird. They kept showing something with all Jimmy Johnson's stats, and it's him standing up, but the stats end at his shoulders, and his arms were just kind of semi-transparent, sticking out the side.
I didn't
kinda-
see that.
I missed
Kind of
that.
weird looking. Every time they showed Jimmy Johnson, it was the same image. I didn't notice if it was on anybody else, but he just had phantom glowing arms.
But it's funny you brought up the lap counter thing. That is something I didn't know I needed until CW started doing it. It is
Yeah.
so nice to just see total.
I feel like I've complained about it multiple times because it's like lap 2 out of 48. Okay, how many laps are to go in the race?
Yeah.
This is just the stage.
Oh, I had something and I lost it. Christ. Oh, commercials. There were 9 minutes of full screen commercial in
Yeah.
the longest race
It
of
was
the year.
what, less than 3% or something like
that.
that.
Pancakes.
We were getting side by side commercials when nothing was happening. Like before the race, they did the anthem and everything, and they went to commercial. We got side by side. They were just showing cars on pit lane. I'm like,
One of
what?
my favorite things was like, it was, I don't know, it was 15 minutes or 10 minutes or so before coverage was supposed to start. I was like, all right,
And it's just
I'll just
random
flip
track
on.
cams.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? I missed that.
I
with
just
a
turned
countdown
on.
to broadcast.
Yeah. It was
That's
just
cool.
blank. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
Junior was talking about that. He goes, he loves that. He goes, obviously, we're on a streamer, so there's no bookends.
bandwidth
Yeah.
issue.
So it's just, who knows? That could be
The
up an
fact-
hour before the race. We don't know. I turned it on 8 minutes before.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fact that after that
I
race
think it was like
over,
12 for me.
Yeah.
after that race was over, everybody I was with went to bed. I was hanging out downstairs. I look down, it's an hour and 15 minutes later, and I'm still watching. We got a real, I forgot how nice, we've had post race, but normally it's we interview a couple drivers and say, hey, see you next week. We got an hour and a half of analysis.
Yeah.
What happened?
Dude,
What-
only one person did not like what they were doing, and it was
William
William
Byron.
Byron.
Because they dragged his ass up there.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
like,
bud, you just lost one of the biggest races of your life. You got to be on stage for 15
they brought
minutes.
up, we got an interview with the winner of the race, the winning owner of the race, a winning crew chief of the race, the guy
The-
that finished second.
the family of the soldier who he represented.
Yep.
We saw them in victory
We
lane.
got an hour and a half of just straight, this is what you just witnessed. Let's talk about it. What does it mean going forward? Which that's what we used to have. We used to have that with remember
it
on
felt
Speed
like
Channel,
03.
the Victory Lane in Speed Channel. Remember they
Yeah.
had stage right next to Victory Lane? Like that's what I didn't realize how much I missed that until I watched it. And I went, oh my God, this feels
Dude, it
like
got honestly to be too much.
this. I was like,
I
this
was like, all right, this is overwhelming. I need to turn this off.
it's the NASCAR I grew up with. We've always said, and I've been saying this about Fox for years and even NBC to a point, we don't need 2 hours of pre-race for 15 minutes of post-race. I don't care about you telling me what's going to happen. I want to hear what you talk about what happened. Give me less pre-race, more post-race. We got both here.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how much I missed having an actual stage show post-race on pit road, in victory lane, whatever.
Yeah.
Put it in the fucking campground for all I care.
Everybody was awesome.
When we were talking about moving to streaming and we were worried about it, the first thing I said was there's no bandwidth issues. They
Yeah.
can put as much content as they possibly can
I
handle.
have-
The common
And they did a
consensus
very
I
good
was
job.
seeing was like Taylor Kitchen, I think that's her name.
Yeah. Yep.
Above the yellow line.
Yeah, she's awesome.
The podcaster. She goes, I was worried. I think it was her. It might have been somebody else. Like, I was worried about NASCAR going to streamers, but after one race, I'm willing to say that 90% of our fan base is willing to pay for a streamer just for NASCAR if it's this quality every week.
As the
100%.
guy on this show that was 100% against streaming 2 years ago, a year ago even, that was unbelievable. That was
Are you admitting you're wrong?
100%.
Yeah.
I would pay for that for every race if it's going to be that good, that type of content before and after the race, during the race, less commercials.
Yep.
I did see there were a lot of griping, but it was definitely a lot of name lots of numbers Twitter accounts that are like, I don't even have internet at my house. I can't watch NASCAR.
Well,
like,
sucks to suck.
Like
No,
Get
the
into
problem
the
with
21st
that is
century or
you're
or get
complaining
lost.
on the internet that you don't have internet.
that's what I said. That's my
The
thought.
one thing I saw, which is a legitimate problem, I'd say, is like people in old folks' homes. I guess they're not allowed to have subscriptions to anything because it taking advantage of the elderly. I think there's workarounds to that. Like
Also-
your kids could come in with a laptop and you could watch it on their
I'm just
Amazon.
saying we need to attract younger people anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think if we're gonna
If
go
we're worried about the old folks home, we're heading the wrong
like
in
we
the
direction.
wrong
talked about
direction.
last week, my worry with a streamer was we're gonna be on some obscure one and it's not gonna be worth it, or they won't be able to keep up with
We're
it.
going to be on Fubo.
Yeah,
or
or
some
even
shit.
Flow. If they went full time to Flow, it's like, will they be able to handle this?
Well,
Obviously,
I
Prime is the premier streamer.
100%.
I think we're starting to see a shift in popular culture's eyes of what NASCAR is. I mean, we've never really had a small fan base. It's
No.
like we got really, really affected by the market crash of 08.
Yeah.
That really hurt NASCAR, probably more than every other sport, period, because it was so heavily reliant upon advertising, and advertising went from here to here.
It was
like
just
in the
it
toilet.
was just a
So-
perfect storm of Jimmy dominating everything, the
Right.
crash. It just
And I think a lot of brands looked the other way, and it was almost behind the scenes, but still huge.
Yeah.
I think a lot of brands and companies and streamers and whatever are actually understanding how big of a market the NASCAR world really is. 8 million people watch the Daytona 500 and 2.5 million people on average every weekend watch the Cup race. That's a lot of people.
It's down from the heyday still.
Yeah, but it's still like
it's still a lot of people.
P1 or P2 on every freaking sport every single weekend. How often did we say that last year when we did TV ratings every single time? Oh, the most watched sport this weekend, the most watched event this weekend, second most to the Masters. Ooh, we lost to one. That sucks.
Exactly.
It's still so big that people like Prime want in on that action.
I just think the problem with NASCAR right now, as we talked about it before, is this is now the 5th different, possibly 6th different way we've had to watch racing this year. Between Cup, Xfinity, ARCA, Trucks, Fox, FS1, FS2, Max, CW. So now it's on Prime. Next, in 5 weeks, it's going to be on TNT. Then it's going to be on NBC, USA.
Yeah.
So there's way too much.
Yeah, but there's nothing we could do about it.
If we can get it all in one place, it'd be best. And also, the last thing I want to say about the broadcast is we said last week or the week before, the only thing and the best thing they could do is put Junior, kind of give him free reign. They 100% did. If you listen to Dale Jr. Download, they pretty much said, all right, Junior, camera's going to be on you. Do whatever you want.
Yep.
The pre-race, he said, they gave me no direction. They said, hey, we're going to be up here, if that's okay with you. We want to film the intro up here, and you kind of open it how you want to open it. And Junior's like, okay. He went back. He said he based his entire introduction monologue, and he said he got to speak first, which is a big deal to him. Being the first one to introduce NASCAR to Prime was a big deal to him. And he based it all on, I think, the 1986 World 600. Ken Squire called it.
Yep.
And he goes, he almost did word for word Ken Squire's intro.
It's awesome.
He goes, that's what I grew up listening to. That's what I want the new NASCAR fan to hear, is the announcers being the play-by-play guys, but making every race seem like a spectacle.
Well,
the driver introductions, how they named every single driver in the field, and they didn't just go starting second, Kyle Larson, starting third, William Byron, boom, 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 boom. They went starting on the pole, Chase Briscoe from Indiana. He's won a championship in this, Or starting second, Kyle Larson. He just got back from doing the Indy 500. He's
they did a
2021.
nice
They did a
promo.
fantastic.
The thing is,
and that was 100% in Junior's hands.
This is what we've been missing, and I didn't. Again, much like the post-race show, I didn't realize it, and we realized it last year when NBC took over. I remember us talking about it. Fox does not make the race feel big. It doesn't make it feel special, important. NBC did it last year. Remember the first race they had? You had it was Burton. Maybe it was 2 years ago.
It was Burton and Junior on pit
It was
road,
2 years
and
ago.
they were calling it like it was the Kentucky Derby.
Yes,
I remember that.
It was 2 years ago because Junior was there.
They did the whole pit road walk.
Yep.
And they were calling it like it had the prestige and the importance of the Kentucky Derby.
And it was
the
like
Indy
and
500.
it was Nashville. Like it wasn't even a big race. Amazon made it feel important. Everything felt big. Everything felt like it was a spectacle that you needed to watch. We've talked about it on here for years that Fox even the Daytona 500, they just don't make it feel.
Yeah, they mail it in each week.
They don't make it feel like it's this big important thing that you can't miss out on. Prime, if you were a temporary fan that was just like, oh, I hear there's a bunch of racing on today, I'm going to flip this on. By the end of that intro pre-race, you were like, I cannot miss a second of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what we've been missing. And that's what we need. That's literally, I think the broadcast is hurting this sport more than we realized.
100%.
When Fox has it, it hurts the product so much. When you have, and we talked about it last week, when Harvick was calling the Cars Tour race, that was a different person. Fox is just, they're mailing it the fuck in. And it's sad.
Yeah, we talk about it every single week.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about at the beginning of the year with CW, when CW was like, this is our official launch
Same
into
thing
the
with them.
Xfinity series. And honestly, now, CW, sorry, bros, you guys kind of suck now. Like, Prime raised the bar, I think, so much that CW, it's now like, you guys need to step up your game.
Yeah, I think so.
'Cause
I mean,
you were-
CW is a close second.
Yes,
to mine.
Yeah, they're
CW
doing
was
fine.
the bar, and I think Prime just shot so far ahead that I think it's going to make all
Let's
four
I am
also
very
make
interested.
sure that it's going to continue.
No,
You
that's
know,
what I was
like,
going to say.
And Junior
like
sounds
week one
like-
being the World 600 being the biggest one they have, we'll make sure they put the same level of
The
production
big thing,
into the
the
second
big
one.
questions are going to be, and I even think that they're going into another big one with this next race being Nashville. They're going to be able to be like, we're in Nashville. What do you do for Michigan and Pocono? That's what I want to see.
Call us. You need some help.
But that's what I'm saying is you've got the Coke 600, which is the second biggest race of the year, probably. I mean, I guess Daytona,
third.
probably Daytona Championship, Coke 600, probably your third biggest race of the year. So that you're going to go big on that one. You've got Nashville. The race may not be the big deal, but where you are is a big deal. Mexico City, first international race ever. That's going to be a fucking spectacle, no matter what they do. I want to see what they do with Pocono and Michigan, because those are races that they're in the middle of nowhere. You're not in a big glitzy city. It's not a big giant event.
Michigan, they could have fun. Motor City.
But you know what I'm
Pocono's
saying?
a stretch, but Pocono, everyone knows, Michigan the same, that the fan experience is huge there.
So how about you guys come visit us in the infield? We'll be in turn 1 on the road course.
Yeah, you have like probably second and third biggest infield fan experiences. I'd say Talladega is probably the first one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
For like
Michigan and Pocono are definitely
everyone
top
knows
5.
like Michigan is that secret track. Like not everybody knows, but Michigan's actually freaking insane on the infield.
That's what we've heard.
Pocono is now getting that attention now that they've gone to one date. It fills the hell up.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to be able to build off of that. Pocono, I mean, there's plenty of room for them to do that prime stage.
Oh, yeah.
To be in the middle of that fan zone.
Yeah.
So I think they set a high bar, but I think they're going
All
to try
good
to
signs.
keep going
Yeah.
higher.
For sure. 10 out of 10 for their first one, for sure.
Yeah. Like I
So we'll
said,
see how it
every
shakes out.
single person involved did a masterful job.
Yeah.
Junior talked about,
100%.
listen to Dale Jr. download this week. If you don't always listen, it's him and Jordan Bianchi. Jordan is actually enjoyable because he's not just intentionally contradicting everything his co-host is saying. He's kind of kissing Dale Jr.'s ass a little bit, but Dale Jr. goes into pretty much everybody in the broadcast and how it came to be, and it's a really good listen.
Yeah. All right. Let's answer some questions. Unless you guys have any other final thoughts.
No, I thought it was a great weekend all around.
Yeah.
And it was just so refreshing. And you know what made the truck race even worse because we had to do Fox again. I was like, no.
All right, let's answer some questions because this is going to be a giant pain for me later. All right, we'll start with the Instagram. Jet Daily, yay, crying about Ryan Blaney. Moving on. Nathan Danforth, if you could be on any game/competition show, which would it be?
Ooh.
Supermarket Sweep.
Yeah, no, that would be too stressful.
Supermarket Sweep is my top 3, and also Legends of the Hidden Temple.
I've always
Oh,
that
That's
yes,
a key game.
but then you'd have to get the puzzle right
What
at the
team
end
would you be?
because we would all
Okay.
you'd have
Just let
to
me
get
in.
that you'd have to get that puzzle right though because our whole childhood was how hard is it? It's 3 pieces.
Oh yeah.
Um,
The monkey that
The
had
mon-
like the
yep.
pin through it.
Yeah.
There's a monkey, right?
it's something like that. Yeah. As a child, Double Dare.
Oh, Double Dare was good too.
I did the Double Dare at like Nickelodeon Studios. They had a little show, and I got picked out of the crowd. Thankfully, did not get slimed. Somebody else did. But I have pictures of me in like doing it. I was like this tall.
No, the
That's
best thing
cool.
about getting slimed, I happened to, I think it was a cousin of mine, family friend, somebody like that. They
I think
give
I've
you like
seen
a
this video
whole,
before.
they give you a whole like new outfit, and you get
Oh,
all
really?
the Nickelodeon
Sick.
merch in the world. They leave you with a giant swag bag,
oh, nice.
But like
and they
now,
clean your clothes,
I've always thought
or they did.
just because we have traveled so much, I would love to do the Amazing Race with Steph.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
I've always thought like if you have a good teammate that like you communicate well with and travel, like,
You guys would murder each other within 15
Nope.
minutes.
dude, you have no idea the shit that we've done traveling. Like
My sample size is you guys trying to kill each other parking a camper.
one time, you weren't even there.
Yeah, I was hiding, crying.
Okay. We legitimately never fought back in the camper up. It was that one time that you weren't even there when we were trying to put it in a different spot, and I had 7 people going, put it here, put it over there. And I was like, everybody get the fuck away.
Yeah,
Everybody go away. We got this.
too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, that was the year you didn't show up, and we tried to put the camper where, what's his name with the truck camper? I'm terrible with names. But we had the
DeBarro's brother-in-law.
No, the
DeBarro's
big guy.
brother-in-law and the big guy. Remember how they were parked there last year?
Freaking
Yeah.
Pitbull.
At the front, we tried to put ours there, but it slopes off too much.
Yeah, I
and
was there for that.
I thought that was the year you wrecked.
No, I was
No.
here. You guys were yelling at each other.
Yeah, and I had
Then you moved.
I had a bunch of people like, "Oh, try this." And I was like, "I'm going to put it
No,
in the
that was
spot."
that was 2 years ago because I brought my truck that year.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
But
No,
either
but
way,
I've always-
where,
Your,
where they
game
go
shows.
on their amazing race is called a caravan. That's what they would fight over.
Yeah.
that's
Caravan. Got it.
that's what they call it overseas.
What would be your choices?
I think I unconfidently, I'd like to do like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but I feel like I would just tank it.
Oh, 100%.
I would embarrass myself.
embarrass-
If
I
it
would
was
love
like Who Wants to
Jeopardy,
Be a-
but don't put me
Who
on.
Wants to Be a Millionaire like TV trivia or movie trivia? I'm in my zone, but it's gonna be like who was the leader of the Sumerian army that took over Spain in 1804? And I'd be like, Steve.
I'll sit there and watch Jeopardy and answer the questions. You put me on that stage, I'm going to freeze up.
Freeze, yeah.
Same thing with
It would
like
have
you
to be
said,
Celebrity Jeopardy because they're like
What's the one that
dumbed-down
you
questions.
fill in the name of things?
Wheel of
Family
Fortune?
Feud.
Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of
Oh,
Fortune.
Wheel of
I
Fortune.
am so bad at that.
I am awful at that. I
So bad.
cannot. The only one I got was I saw a meme the other day that was, "Can you get this?" It was 80s song. I got it in the first one because it was Rickroll.
Oh,
It was the lyrics to.
Yeah.
It was the whole lyrics, but Family Feud would be fun too
I
because
think
you could just
Family
say
Feud-
unhinged questions.
Yeah.
But it's just like I just hate how they like Steve tries to like make everything sexual.
Yeah.
Like, what's something you can do to your dog but you can't do to your wife? And it's like, Jesus Christ, bud, what do you want us to say?
he doesn't know any of the questions beforehand.
Yeah,
My
it's-
favorite-
he just like it. They just intentionally make it weird. It's
My
like,
favorite
if this
clip was, did you
just
see his
wholesome-
wife?
Yeah,
She answered the pool boy, and he's just like,
Yeah, I saw
the
that
what? He
one.
like pushes the mic away. He's like, the what?
The what now?
I like
Scumbag, what do you
Celebrity
got?
Family Feud is fun.
Family Feud probably would be pretty fun. Amazing Race, although me and Tammy would probably murder each other in about 35 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, although when we travel, we're fine.
that's
Like,
how we are.
But
Yeah.
it's like if we're at the house, like we're bickering at each other like over dumb shit. But I don't know. Third, yeah, I don't know.
The amount of times that we've
I
been
honestly-
traveling somewhere,
Dealer
and
Honorable
something
mention to
goes,
Global Guts.
Deal or no deal.
Oh,
I don't think I know that one.
that was an old. That's like Double Dare era. Double
Yeah.
Dare, Legends of the Hidden Temple. I remember that show.
I'm going for the physical challenge games.
Did-
Feel like I'd be
What's the
pretty
one
good
you
at
get
it.
slimed?
I'm not gonna go for
All of
those.
Do you remember? It was so you were a Nickelodeon kid. I always have this vivid memory. It was like not Double Dare, but it was a show where you had to complete like some physical challenges.
What would you do?
Nope. I always
Thought I had
remember
it on
this
the first
one
try.
thing.
I thought I had it.
I always remember this one challenge where they were on a beach and they were driving RC cars and there was mines. Like not big mines, but like they had to navigate this course with RC cars.
I'm
and
pretty
the
sure that's
sand
what
would
we
blow
do.
up.
Oh, I know one third one.
Maybe it was.
The other Mark, whatever his name is,
Yeah,
hosted
maybe it
one. I'm
was.
pretty sure it was what we do.
Maybe it was.
Wipeout.
No, fuck that show.
Oh,
I
jeez.
never recover.
Oh, I'm not getting my
MXC.
It'd just be hilarious to watch me do
Spinal.
it.
Spinal.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Celebrity
get,
Deathmatch.
I'm gonna get folded
All
up
right.
like a lawn
We
chair.
got a handful more. J. Steven Brooks, SVG is not going to be here for very much longer.
I had a good race this week.
ATK 78, just a watermelon and a smash.
I wonder what that means.
I have no idea.
And he also says Prime coverage is fire. Flino 365, Prime, how bloody good, mate.
He's in the chat right now. He's asking if we have the Who. Did we get the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire that Jeremy Clarkson hosts? No, but I
No,
want it.
No,
He's
that
from,
was before you got fired from the BBC.
he's from Block of Land. So.
Yeah. Sam Valley 95, describe in one word the Amazon presentation.
Terrific.
Porn. I just wanted to get you to laugh because I can tell you're upset. So
Oh, man.
they're phenomenal.
Norm?
Evangelic.
Does he even know what that means?
No, he doesn't.
means like an
I'm
angel
going,
or something,
I'm going
doesn't it?
hyphenated. World class.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. First class.
No, that's not hyphenated.
I can make it hyphenated. I can put a hyphen wherever the fuck I want. Kyle hyphen Belcher.
It's America. I know I only have one name now. What am I, Seal?
Yes.
No, you're definitely Cher. But go on.
You're the artist formerly known as Kyle.
You're definitely not
take that.
Prince.
Oh shit, we're making moves in the chat. The New Zealanders are figuring out where they live.
Oh, man.
We're gonna have worldwide friends hanging out together. Go to Bathurst together.
Who puts on a better pre-race, Indy 500 or Coke 600? Coke 600. Now that it's on Prime.
Yeah. I think the spectacle of
Give
it
me
being,
Carl Edwards over Danica Patrick all day
Oh no, I think
long.
I'm talking like just the ceremony. And I gotta say, that Indy pace lap got me harder than a fucking diamond in an ice storm.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks. Did you see one of our guys
The what?
who was there? The Blackhawk helicopters.
Oh.
I know where you were going with that. I saw your eyes light up
You
when I
said
said
it like a diamond in a nice storm.
Yep.
Oh,
Who
I thought
was
you
there?
said black cocks.
Leave it to Norm. We're getting fucking canceled. Who was at the race in the chat? Fuck. One of our listeners in Discord was at the
Was
race.
it Oso sick?
No, he wasn't there.
Oh,
Somebody was sending videos, and I'm blanking on who it was. But those helicopters were at his eye level, and he was like halfway up the stands. Those fuckers were low.
Yeah, I mean, Indy, I think.
Wild and Crazy Kids. That was the show.
there
Ed's got
you
it.
go.
Thank you, Ed. Saved me. That's why you were in my wedding.
I think Indy is kind of doing too much. Like it feels like they're doing a little too much.
I mean, the
They
that
lead up
was
to
Coke
the lead
600
up is
too.
really long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Coke 600 was too. You got bagpipes, you got taps, you got you got helicopters loading,
Yeah, but the Coke
repelling
600
dudes into the
The
fucking.
Coke 600 had an hour-long pre-race.
True.
Indy had a month.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, if you're
And
going
they
that
make
route,
a
yeah.
big deal about every single day, and I get it.
Hold on, we
It's-
forgot.
It's historic.
Yep.
We forgot to recap a race.
The Weenie
The
500.
Weenie 500.
Oh yeah.
Was that not? I thought it was so
It was
dumb.
scripted. That was bullshit.
It was.
It was definitely scripted, but it was the greatest promo I've ever seen. And I said it on Twitter. Weenie 500 way better than the hot dog eating contest by
By a mile.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to see a not scripted one. Let
Greatest
him
promo
loose.
ever.
Let him loose.
They did let him lose. One of them blew up.
Allegedly.
That one overheated for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the whole finish line thing, all of a sudden the wiener,
The fact that
the wiener in second place, all of a sudden just had like
Oh,
30
yeah.
extra mile an hour
I
coming
that
across
think
the
they were
line.
trying to make it look like the draft that the Indy
Yeah.
cars have.
But the fact
like-
that there was 6 of them, there's only 6 of them.
Yes.
They've never been in the same place at the same time. Is really cool.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
super
realize
cool.
they were
They did a
regional.
great
I
job.
did not realize that they were regional. Like there's one in the southeast, there's one in the
Yeah.
northeast, there's one. I didn't realize
That
that.
makes more sense. I'm gonna pay attention to
Well,
the next,
I saw that.
I
I saw one a
yeah.
month
I was
ago.
the
like,
next
did you
time I
just see
see
one
one.
not that long ago?
I'm gonna look
Yeah,
at the name
in
on the back
Braintree.
of it.
I've seen them.
Yeah.
I've seen one not recently, but I've seen one kicking around before.
Yeah.
We also have the Bootmobile up here. They should just do a race with all the
weird
peanut
cars.
car,
Yeah.
the LL Bean boot truck,
The shock
Yeah.
top Mini Cooper.
the shock top, the Red Bull minis, the Wiener. Oh my god, just marketing race.
The Dunkin' Donuts minis.
Yep,
Oh,
They
I'm
have
and then the
those too.
Domino's cars that just catch on fire when
because
they
they
have
have
the
ovens
pizzas
in the back. Oh my
and
god.
then they all go head to head with the little Domino's little robot things and the Amazon robots.
Yep.
and one of the Uber self-driving cars.
Oh, the Waymos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, that thing would kill everybody.
Yeah, no. All right. Let's go. Where are we at? I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's
Downriver
get on a roll
Diecast.
here. Let's race our buns off or whatever they kept saying.
Dude,
Let's
pun-
relish
Let's
this
relish in the
moment.
the
yeah.
puns.
The
in
slippery
that.
wiener joke.
The
was
slippery
hilarious.
wiener
Dude,
joke.
they needed the puns were great, but I mean, by the third car, we've heard them all
No,
16 times.
The slippery.
The best one was when it overheated and Norm said it was a steamed bun
Yeah.
on Discord.
The-
I was
no,
crying.
the slippery wiener one sent me, and I think it was Hinchcliffe. Not every guy pulls out, but he's gonna have to know when to pull out. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that was good.
Hinch, I know what you did there.
Somebody pulled out too quick and somebody pulled out too late.
I was like, damn it, I know what you did there. And that was there was one
yeah, that
time.
one's gonna have a bun in the oven.
The problem, what I give them credit for is that I heard them break character once. Hinch giggled one time.
They did a really
They-
good job.
We would have been,
and all the drivers did
Oh, yeah.
not break character
but
either.
if we were calling that race, we would have died
I wouldn't
by
have
the
made it 2 minutes.
second pun. We would have
Yeah.
been crying, laughing.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Great promo, and I hope they do it again.
The Borg Wiener trophy.
Yeah, it was super cool. Yeah, the trope board.
Downriver Diecast with the next 2. Should Prime bring back the
Bing bong.
victory lane climb out of the car interviews?
Yes.
No. Oh, I think he's. Are we talking victory lane climb
Yes.
outs or are we talking front stretch?
No,
climb
he's
outs?
saying get rid of the front stretch, have them go to victory lane, climb out of the car, and do
Yes.
the interview. 100% yes.
Yes.
And
Give
I
him a
thought,
second.
I understand the
thought we were
front
getting it.
stretch.
I don't like the front stretch.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I understand it though. It gets the fans into it.
Yeah.
he gets
I-
the flag, hands it to somebody.
sure, but you can do that without the interview.
But
Do
yeah,
the
you-
burnout.
You don't get Dale Senior pulling Junior out of the car on the front
No,
stretch.
I think the front stretch is okay if they give them more time. Like let them do their burnout, let them
think
climb out,
Prime
go
did-
get
Prime
the
did a
flag,
good
come
job.
back. Yeah,
because at one point in Discord, somebody went, "Are we not doing a front stretch interview because it had been so long?" He did
Yeah.
the burnout, he did a lap, he did the burnout.
as long as there's the gap there, I think it's okay.
But I would much rather. I miss the days of pulling into victory lane with your crew there. You get the tap on the shoulder, you get out of the car, your crew's spraying you with beer or whatever.
Yeah, and it gives you time to decompress in the car, kind of collect your thoughts.
Look at all of the most iconic shots are of that.
Yeah.
Dale Jr. getting out in 2001, Dale getting out in 98, all the times Jeff got out at Daytona. You're looking at all those, and now it's like, yeah, the front stretch is cool. Like you do get the same celebration, but it's just the driver by himself. It was different when he got out of the car, his whole crew's behind him, his family, his wife, his kids, the owner, and they're all hosing each other down with beer. Like that was just so much cooler.
I agree with that.
It's a very solitary thing now where the driver's kind of on an island by himself, being like, woo,
Yeah.
I'm excited. It was way cooler when everybody got to be excited.
Agreed. He also asked, what is your all-time favorite driver celebration? Mine is Tony's climbing the fence.
Climbing the fence. My favorite was when Tony won the 400. I forget what year it was, but it was when Tony was getting a little heavier.
Yeah.
And he climbed the fence into the flag stand. And I remember being younger and watching that, going, are we about to watch Tony Stewart plummet 40 feet to his death?
Yeah.
Because he was getting up there, and I'm like, buddy, you
Fence was bending.
like, buddy, you gotta figure
Easy,
something
big
out here.
fella.
Carl Edwards' backflip was
It's the
awesome.
backflip for
The
me.
backflip was cool.
I mean, greatest celebration of all time, 2001 Daytona July.
Well, yeah, but I
Dale
think
and
he's
Mikey.
talking like every time.
Driver's
they do it.
signature thing.
Yeah.
Lar-
Yeah, backflip. Hemrick, we got to see it once.
Larson doing the burnout with the wheel out the window. I always
Yep.
think
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Gregson
Logano-
puking all the time.
Grabs and puking
Greg's
constantly.
fine.
Logano
Yeah.
doing his celebration with the wheel in the victory lane. is cool.
Logano's
I-
burnouts are always top tier. That man can
Wasn't-
burn it the fuck down.
It wasn't a celebration, but Brendan Gaughan pirouetting out of the back of a Tundra at like 55 years old
I don't
when
remember
like
that.
260.
I don't remember that.
Remember that? It was
No.
Nope.
Beard Days. He got out of the back of a Tundra over the side and like pirouetted.
Oh, I
and
do remember
jumped
that.
out of the Tundra.
He did like a handstand.
Oh.
Larson also more recent bias, but his trying to burn out the whole track at the
Yeah.
short tracks, that's sick.
The long rollers are cool.
Long rollers. But yeah, the fence
backflip
climb
for
and the
me.
backflip are just all timers.
L98 Jake has the next two. Man, it feels good to have a good broadcast for the 600,
Yep.
especially since Memorial Day.
Yeah, it
And
felt big.
the next one in all caps. I just realized Sonoma won't be a Fox race. Let's go.
Yep.
That's a good point.
Neither will Pocono.
Nope.
Because Pocono's early enough. If it was last year, it would have been a Fox.
I don't-
actually know it wouldn't have.
I don't really care if Pocono is a Fox broadcast because we're going to be there, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you know what is
Yeah, I'm
cooler?
honestly kind of bummed that it's a prime because we miss it.
Yeah, but you know what's good about it being a prime? That means Dale Jr. and Corey will be on property. And
Yeah,
Carl
that's
and
true.
Carl Edwards.
I
Yeah.
feel like isn't Junior always
Good
there?
point.
No. Why would he be there?
Where did we see Junior? Is that Loudon then?
We saw him at Loudon.
Yeah, it must have been Loudon.
We've seen him at Loudon a couple times. We've seen him at Pocono when he was with NBC those last couple years, but last year he wasn't
Oh,
there.
I guess yeah.
Because remember, 2 years ago was when he was super hyped about our flags during the Xfinity race.
Bro,
All right.
is Corey and Carl going to come into the infield?
We're going to hope
That
so. We're
is
going to try
all
to.
I have for the
Couple
Instagram.
quickies in Discord. Corey Scothen, will anyone ever join Tony Stewart and be able to complete all 1,100? I don't think so.
No.
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 I think it's just
it's too tight.
it's too tight. And now with the new NASCAR rules about the whole waiver thing, no one's going to push the issue.
Nope.
You're not going to see, because I remember, I think when Tony did it, wasn't he like they landed a helicopter and he was like driver suit and had to like run to his car because he was so late.
Yeah.
No one's going to push the issue anymore. I don't think you see it.
I don't think NASCAR wants it to happen.
No.
either.
No.
I think Larson has lost interest in it as well.
I also the look in his eyes at the end of it all.
Just defeated.
He looked done. Like, this
Yeah.
is stupid.
Put himself through a lot for absolutely nothing.
Pepper with a quick one. Larson Verstappen conversation came up yet again because of the failed double. Can we please get Max Verstappen in a truck race? Do you think he finishes top or bottom 15?
Bottom.
Bottom, because that's
He
a
doesn't finish the race.
Scothen again. The double always seems, well, it only has been attempted by NASCAR drivers. Do we see an IndyCar driver attempt it?
No.
I don't think so.
Not now.
No.
I think
I-
it's too expensive. Like we talked about the windows being way too close. You got to find sponsors to sell the whole thing. You got to train for it. I
think
anything goes wrong ever so slightly, you have a 45-minute window. It's just not.
I think
worth
the
the
only
risk.
person we
Connor
would ever
Daly would attempt it.
I think so.
I don't think he would hesitate.
If someone came to him with the
But it's for
opportunity, he would do it.
Indy, it's got to be way easier for those guys to come and do it. Obviously, there's less of a chance of them doing well in the 600 than a Cup driver going to the Indy 500 because they don't get a month to practice for the Coke 600. But Larson is doing double duty the entire month. They would only need to do it for the weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
So if Connor Daly or Scott McLaughlin or somebody like that wanted to come over, it's 3 days out of the month they would need to sacrifice.
Not to mention the fact that their more important race is the first one. If they
Correct.
show up to Charlotte late and maybe have to get in the car 20 laps in, doesn't affect points or anything.
No, aside from them
That
not getting
being
credit
said-
for the finish.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The Penske guys have all been the ones vocal about it.
And Kyle Busch.
But unfortunately, with the year Penske had at the Indy 500, they're definitely not going to let any of them do it next year.
No.
Because next year it's going to all hands on deck, 100% focus. We need to do good at Indy 500 next year.
Yep.
Right.
So that's going to burn that bridge.
Just
for
Bus with-
Penske for a couple years at least.
Just Bus with one for Scumbag. Will the scummiest of bags ever join us at Pocono?
Yeah, actually, so this is in effect. We have planned it. Next year we will be there. We're already looking at campers now.
Attaboy.
So that should definitely be a thing. Even if we're not going to camp like in a camper, we will be there some way, form or another.
You guys were looking at tent spots this year, weren't you?
Yeah, it wouldn't pan out with like Clyde and everything.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
like now we're
yeah,
gonna like
tenting is tough.
yeah. So we'll have like we got a full year. We already have it on the docket for next year. So we will be at Pocono.
Hell
Me,
yeah.
Clyde, and Tammy should all be
Just
there.
be one of the boozy bitches that just pays for the company to bring the camper out and set it up for you.
Yeah, we looked into that too.
And just
in
walk in like,
case,
yeah, I know, we're rich.
So what you do?
I don't pay.
Yeah, you get the service for free. I'm gonna make you pay with your mouth.
I pay with my grilling skills.
Yeah, you pay with your chefing it up all
my,
weekend.
my labor.
I pay for a third of the groceries.
You do.
Do.
I'll give you that.
He's my P1 assistant though on the grill.
This year, I'm gonna be on you.
Okay.
So I want to learn some tricks of the
Ooh.
trade
Whoa.
on the old Blackstone.
Yeah.
On the old BS.
Dave 044 with another double question. We
Attempt
kind of
to
just
bring
talked
mine.
about other people that could do it. Why you want to bring yours?
So we have more.
You want chefing? You want
Space.
dual screens?
Well, because mine comes off the legs, so I can just
Oh,
put mine
yeah.
in the back of my truck and just leave it on the back of my truck.
Bro, am I gonna be able to hold spatulas?
So then we could double.
You could double dip.
Double-
You get
'cause
a-
I'm moving up
Especially
from
when like I
prep
do
right
burgers
into the
for everybody,
line,
I can
dude.
have
Sous
all the
chef
buns
now.
laid out
I'm
on
gonna have to
one of
watch
them,
season
and then
one of
just
the
do the
Bear to
meat
learn
on
all the
the other,
lingo.
and have both going
okay.
at the same time.
Yeah,
just
that could
gives
work.
me more real
We could
estate.
do that.
Like yours is perfect
But
'Cause I
having an
like-
extra.
because mine is like the non-stick, so it's way different than using the cast iron, which I
Mhm.
like the cast iron better for the food itself. But like the buns,
Like other
warming
stuff.
up buns,
Other
or
things, yeah.
doing bacon, like the
You know what I'll never do again is bring the
Basic
smoker
stuff.
because the one time we brought the smoker, you didn't make it.
yeah, I didn't make it.
We had to make your food in your honor.
Yeah.
We didn't even do it. I think Ant did it. Ant was like, I
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Dodger, is Larson no longer in the running to be considered a candidate for most versatile driver of our era? And does the double DNFs this weekend tarnish his legacy or career?
No,
I don't think
no,
so.
it doesn't.
I mean,
Just bad luck.
he still is, and like Dale Jr. keeps saying, it's the fact that he's willing to try it that separates him from a lot of these guys.
100%.
T Huff 4130. At what point did you start crying during the first half of the Dale doc? I haven't yet, surprisingly.
No, not yet.
Not yet,
End of the second episode.
but end of the second episode, I was
got
close.
me a little bit. It obviously we know it ends around 94, so it gets really Neil Bonnet heavy
Yeah,
towards the end of the
that was
second.
tough.
That
Yeah.
stuff was rough.
Yep.
I haven't even watched it yet. I'm waiting for all 4 episodes so I can binge it all.
Honestly,
I was
Smart.
gonna, but I had no willpower.
That's the thing. I had no willpower, and I knew that I would end up getting spoiled.
That was an indie
Yeah,
pun.
and I've been trying to stay off of Discord. Like, all I'm trying to stay on is like news.
Well,
and,
we have a
like,
channel
It's
for it,
just a
so as
channel
long
for
as
it.
you
Just
stay
stay
out of
in that
that
one
channel,
channel.
you're
yeah,
fine.
yeah. I saw that. I saw that was a thing. I was like, dude, don't touch that.
There hasn't been too much spoilers though in there. It's just been if
No.
you don't want to know anything.
Yeah.
Again, like Norm said, it's all shit you knew that happened. It's just
Just not stuff
Yeah.
you knew that was going to be in that. documentary.
100%. Yeah. Fen 2B. What will it take for Roger Penske to let Newgarden attempt to double? Who knows? Anything.
Like we said, it's with how bad Penske did this year overall. I
They're
don't think
not.
they let anyone do it for a while.
Mike is vegan. We talked about this earlier. He said, "Is it too early to talk silly season?" Yes, because there probably isn't going to be. Oh, this is a local question. This is more for Kyle. T Huff 4130 comes back with also
What up?
any spots to check out in the Northampton Springfield area if y'all have been around there. My girl just started with a company located in Mass, and she is heading up there for a week to meet with them. I don't know.
Springfield.
I would just avoid
That's
Springfield
about
at all
2.5
costs.
hours.
2.5 hours west.
That's not my state. You guys figure it the
I've
fuck
been to
out.
Springfield one time in my life.
Yeah, go to the Big E. There's nothing there. Honestly, I
Go
don't
to
know.
Springfield, put wheel locks on your car.
Yeah.
It's not a great area.
I've bought a couple cars in Springfield. You're lucky if you leave. That town sucks butts.
They
dude.
came, they came with titles.
The only
it's
thing
not great.
Springfield is known for is
They
a
have a Six
giant
Flags.
fair and Six
And
Flags.
Six
They got
Flags,
a
yeah.
really nice amusement park called Six Flags.
That's
Well,
actually
Six-
technically an Agawam.
Oh, that isn't
Shut
even in
the fuck up.
Springfield.
It's actually it's not the worst Six Flags I've been to. So
No,
That's
it's
a-
actually. It's
I went to.
actually really
I've
nice.
never actually been to that one. I went to the one in Jersey a couple times. when I
The
was
one
a
in
kid.
Jersey
Springfield's really nice.
is the worst Six
Sorry,
Flags I've been to.
Agawam.
Yeah, the one in
Fucking
Jersey is
huge.
terrible, but we liked it because of the drive-through animal park.
Yeah, Jersey Six Flags was an absolute shithole 25 years
Yeah,
ago.
and I went 25 years
It's
ago.
Jersey, so
Yeah,
Everything's in Jersey.
that
Everything in Jersey is a
entire
shithole,
state is-
especially Spinelli. FM,
didn't they kill like 30 people and shut down the boardwalk this weekend?
maybe
probably.
I missed that.
Yeah, there was like 79 something people arrested, 2 people hospitalized from gunshots, and they shut down sections of the boardwalk.
Sick.
Was that
Dude,
the
Myrtle
boat
Beach,
one?
too.
You
Wasn't
sure
there,
that's
like,
sure that's not Hampton Beach?
No, it was
wasn't there a
Jersey
party
Shore.
boat that like a party boat went out with like 150 people on it, and then people just started shooting each other on a party boat?
I
That was
Probably.
that was Myrtle
the
Beach.
news is wild.
Brother, I
that
gotta
was
start
Myrtle
watching the
Beach?
news.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach is popping off too.
Murder Beach.
Like they were over there. They had some crazy concert. Everyone was getting shot at the concert.
Well, I saw
No shit.
something. It
shooting
was,
on shooting on a boat party. For like
All we had was
150
Boston
people.
Calling this weekend.
there was
Yeah,
a
it went
motorcycle rally that I saw,
Yeah.
and they just started shooting everybody there.
Yep.
On brand.
Sounds
so-
normal.
He keeps
This whole
changing.
thing has shifted.
He keeps changing his name, but I'm just gonna go with his original one. Oh, so slick. FMK Broadcast Edition.
Oh, this is
Kill Fox.
Easy. Prime NBC Fox. Kill Fox. Fuck NBC. Marry Prime.
Yeah,
I'm willing to commit
Yeah.
after one date.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And the last one, Mr. Blocka himself, who is in the chat,
Blocka.
figuring out if him and Mr. Flynn are related,
Yeah.
Possible cousins.
possible cousins. Has Trackhouse turned a corner with the win? They seem to have more speed recently across all 3 cars. I will say SVG's had 2 good weeks in a row.
Yeah, they're heading in the right
Yeah,
direction.
I mean, let's talk about their finishes. Ross Chastain wins. SVG 14th.
13th, 14th, something like that. yeah.
14.
Connor Zillick 23rd.
Yep. In his
Great race, second ever Cup race. And
After getting damaged early.
Suarez, like I said, I believe he was inside the top 20 at least when they wrecked. Unfortunately, he wrecked out.
Yep.
So that's not a true judge of where they were at. But Suarez is kind of the low man on the pole right now on points. But if the whole team is turning it around, I think they all start to do better.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
SVG, this also, I was going to mention this. We talked about last year in the Xfinity Series. Once he starts returning to places, he looks way more comfortable.
Yep.
Guess what? What was one of the few Cup races he raced last year?
The 600.
Coke 600.
That's right.
Guess what has been his best oval to date? This year's Coke 600.
yeah. I mean,
So I
you look
think
at
that
all
shows
their
something.
starting positions were horrible. Chastain, obviously, we talked about being last and then winning.
But Chastain was quick in practice.
SVG qualified 30th, finished 14th. Zillage qualified 33rd, finished 23rd. So, like, up 10 spots, up, 16
Yeah.
spots, and then up 39 spots. Like, heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I think they got
It's a
some.
good
I
sign.
think they're figuring some shit out.
Definitely a good sign. Is that it?
That's it from the old
Yeah,
Discord.
there's not anything really
Nothing in the YouTube.
in the YouTube. It's kind of
Nope.
just two brothers hugging.
All
yeah,
right.
we got the 2 Kiwis trying to
But
figure out
cool
if
to
they're cousins.
see Ben Flynn. He said he started watching NASCAR after the SVG
No,
Chicago
no,
win.
he brought it to us after
Oh,
Chicago.
gotcha.
Ah, nice.
So,
And
cool
then
to have ya.
Blocka apparently found us while looking for the Dale Jr. download. So you found a better one, I think.
no, you didn't.
Our bank account says otherwise. but-
I thought Blanco was a revival watcher or listener.
Yeah, he says, I found these guys trying to find Dale Jr. download.
Yeah, but then it says no because I listened to the revival.
I think he
topics as
listens
well
to them
after
because
that.
of us. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, we referred somebody to them. You're welcome.
Oh.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Royalties, please.
Yeah. All right. Before we sign off, follow us everywhere at
LoosesFast_pod on Instagram and Twitter, and the Loosest Fast Podcast on YouTube, and loosestfastpodcast.com for all your merchandising needs.
Perfect. Well, hopefully hope you're listening to this because hopefully we figure out how to get this off the YouTube.
Yeah, this might be interesting. Next week we will be doing Tuesday as well because we will be ponpooning it up.
Yeah.
We will not be leaving there because we have to leave there at like 1 PM to get back here at our normal time. So
that ain't happening.
that ain't happening. So we'll be doing Tuesday next week as well.
Yes.
We will be recapping Nashville of what we watched of it up there. So
Hey, how far away is your camp?
from my house, like an hour. So from your house, like an hour.
Not bad.
But how far from here?
Just think how cool the old pontoon
maybe-
will look in
maybe
the back
two.
of the
Not bad at
S10.
all.
Maybe
Yeah.
2 at
That's-
most.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's
And
a
it's a
that's a
nice
day drive.
and it's
That's
a
not
nice
bad.
easy drive. It's a nice
Yeah.
back road drive.
Mint.
Cool. Well, I'm Kyle Belcher,
I'm Dan Walker.
Norm Pelletier.
Scumbag Steve.
and we will catch you next week.
Pretty hot in these rhinos.
Let's throw some chairs.
Woo!